think.
We're going up. We're up. You can do some live tuning. All right, I want to see if does it work. Let's see if it works.
It says connection lost.
Oh, my mouse is such a bitch.
Oh man, this is raw. This is unedited, dude. This is
raw. All right, you guys, give it
more wine.
Give it a little mic check. So, Corey, speak into that.
Check, check. What's up?
Maybe give it a little bit more.
Hey, what's up?
Okay,
what's happening?
That sounds good. I hear you.
Is that good? You mean keep talking?
Yeah, no, you're good.
Oh my goodness.
We're live, dude.
We're live.
All right. Nat, check yours. Could you give it like a
testing?
Okay, yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
All right, I'm there.
Okay.
So are people watching us right now? We're live. We're like legit live.
Ben, is that true?
Yeah, we're legit live.
All right.
All right, you guys, headphones.
Oh, I don't have them. Oh, these. Okay. Headphones is.
No.
All right, guys. Well, we also have this.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Cool.
And we all know what that is.
Yeah. Alcohol.
Everybody's heard of this before.
Alcohol. Man.
Everybody's heard of this.
We're gonna bring you guys home with us.
What's
Oh
our
my
key?
God.
What's our key?
Please.
Take the boys home.
I know.
And you can too.
I
F
am
sharp.
so into whatever's happening right now.
Are we live? Are we live? Yeah, Black Keys. Are we live?
We're live. Yeah, we've been live.
Woo! Office hours 1:15. We're live.
Welcome.
Welcome to.
Welcome.
Cool.
Thank you for
Wow.
joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
That was the intro song,
That
in case
was
you were wondering.
beautiful.
Which we have rehearsed a ton of times.
We were
Couldn't tell.
practicing that
Dude,
all
if
morning.
you guys want to do a version of our intro song, we'd be really into
Yes.
that.
Sold.
Sold.
That would be so dope.
That-
Seriously.
yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah,
Super into
that would
it.
be great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Cool.
All right.
You guys. Yeah, welcome. So we ran into the problem every podcast has ran into, which is we wanted to say everything before we got on camera.
We were having such
So
good
let's
conversation.
just pick up where we left off. All right, you guys. We actually like to start off with like a little game, and
Yeah.
it's called You in Two. And the point of the game is to answer with one-word answers. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll do Nat and then Corey first, but all right. Name.
Natalie,
Corey,
All right. Age.
26,
30.
Where are you from?
Granite Bay.
Shout out.
Shout out!
What about you, Corey?
Sioux City, Iowa, representing the Midwest.
Woo.
That was like
okay.
a lot of words.
You got a Cincinnati boy right here.
Cincinnati.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Did you say Iowa?
Iowa, yeah.
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, I know, but
Well, you said
but it's Midwest.
Yeah, you said
Okay, wait.
Midwest.
Where?
vibes.
Where in? I'm missing some information. You said Cincinnati, Iowa.
I said Sioux City, Iowa.
Sioux City, Iowa.
And then
Okay.
so yeah, but Midwest.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
Midwest for sure.
All right. Favorite medium.
Oh, paint.
Such a hard question. Video, maybe.
Favorite female artist.
Oh shit. This is hard.
This is hard.
Oh no, guys. I'm gonna go Sonia Delani because she's on my head.
I'm gonna go Yoko Ono.
Ooh, okay. Favorite male artist.
Ooh.
Anselm Kiefer.
Gottfried Helnwein.
Ooh, okay. Deep cuts.
Those German boys.
Favorite piece of art.
Shit.
It's a bit tricky. It's a bit of a tough question.
Piece of art.
You've got 0 seconds to think about it. Go.
I need more seconds.
All right, we'll save that one. We'll let you guys digress on that question.
Okay, yeah, we'll circle back.
We'll save that one. Yeah, because
that's a big question.
That really shouldn't have made it in this game, honestly.
That's a big question.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received? But like,
don't wait until you're ready. Just
ooh, perfect for this game.
Yep.
It's not advice, but like it kind of is, and it actually comes from a female artist. A quote from Georgia O'Keeffe. I've been absolutely terrified every minute of my life, but I haven't let it stop me from a single thing I wanted to do.
Wow. Yeah, shout out.
And that was a little off. I messed the words up a little bit, but
Paraphrasing is okay.
It was a little paraphrased, but it was pretty close. So yeah, that's...
We'll give it to you. Describe yourself as a teenager in 3 words.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you guys want to take this for me?
Oh yeah, you guys knew that.
You knew me as a teenager.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. After the 2 minutes are up, we'll do a quick you in 3 words.
Okay,
Right.
sounds good. We'll swap.
Answer the question.
Okay. Let's see.
3 words.
Sarcastic, insecure.
That's good. That's deep.
It's true.
Shit. One more. I don't know either. I didn't know you in high school.
Awkward, as you can tell right in this very moment.
Okay, 3 words from high school. I would say, people pleaser. That's 2 words, but like one.
We'll take it.
Yeah,
Put 'em together.
That's one.
Say it
That's
fast.
one. People pleaser.
People pleaser.
Purple people pleaser.
Enthusiastic. And teacher's pet, which is another 2 words, but same idea.
Okay. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Dark.
Milk.
Ooh, dark chocolate shouts out.
Day.
Spirit animal.
Cat. It's boring, but it's true.
Spirit animal. Koala, probably.
Ooh,
okay.
2 good ones.
Superpower. If you could have one.
If I got to choose what
Yeah, if you got to choose it.
Probably mind reading, and then I'd make myself insane.
That was legit exactly what I was gonna say.
Oh no! No way!
I was like gonna say mind reading, but it would be awful.
And when we get to astrology,
how did you know that? How did you know she was gonna say that?
You'll find out when we get to the astrology portion of the show.
Oh.
Ooh, okay.
We have very corresponding
Oh, look at our guest
charts.
giving it away.
No, we're dropping hints why people should stick around.
foreshadowing,
Yeah,
foreshadowing.
exactly.
Exactly.
We're professionals. We know what we're doing.
Oh, the last question on here. Star sign.
Capricorn.
Scorpio.
Oh shit.
Aquarius.
Taurus.
All
right. Earth signs.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out. All right.
We got a good mix in here.
Lonely
Yeah.
air.
Yeah.
I'm technically a cusp
All right,
Okay.
you
between
guys.
Capricorn and Aquarius.
Ooh.
Good job. Good job.
Thanks. We
You
passed.
survived the rapid fire.
Thanks for going easy on us, guys.
Just a short 2 minutes.
Yeah. So how you guys been?
We've been good.
We're great right now.
Yeah.
We're in LA doing dope things with dope people.
Yes.
Awesome.
Shout out.
Shouts out LA with the dope things and people.
Yeah,
Very
right?
cool.
It's been great. We had a really relaxing day.
We did.
Had a nice slow breakfast.
When'd you get in? Last night?
Yeah, around 4:30 yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got over here, or not over here, but where we're staying at like 6:45-ish.
And then we kind of like hit the ground running. We were pretty busy last night, and then we had kind of a slow day today.
Yeah.
Love to hear that. Shouts out.
Doing,
Just gotta stay
Doing
busy.
work.
Gotta stay busy.
um,
All right.
Yeah,
So
my cousin's in town right now, and I pretty much like, yeah, come hang out. I'll be working the whole time.
yep.
It'll be great.
You wanna work with me?
Isn't that kind of the plight of living in a place that people vacation? Is people come to vacation and you're like, no, I'm living
Yeah,
my
and it's
normal
like not.
life.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I found a random weekend to come.
Oh, you
to
mean
LA.
adulthood?
Yeah.
It's not like a holiday for everyone. or
Yeah.
Yeah,
something. It's
exactly.
like, like, I think I'm gonna come out like March 3rd. You cool to host me then, like for like 2 weeks?
Yeah, sounds great. That random March.
You got like a bunch of time to hang out with me.
Exactly. It's like, oh shit, this weekend.
Yeah.
We've been planning this.
And
for
then
months.
I forget about it, and then they're like, see you tomorrow. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
And then they want you to like, take them around places and shit, and you're like, it's great, it's LA, just like,
or
go.
even like having like some recovery or like rest time in front of them is the worst. You know, like you're like, oh yeah, I just spent all day working and I've got like this thing I'm going to later, so I'm just gonna like chill. Like, oh, you're gonna use our time together to chill.
Right.
Oh, I'm here. I came all the way from here to you to just chill and watch some TV. Okay, yeah, I see how it is.
Definitely.
Salty. All right, you guys, I have some questions. So,
Yeah.
why art history?
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's not one we get very often
I
either.
know, but it's a great question.
It is
I mean, I think, do you want to know like how we came to choose art history, or just like why it's?
Yeah, how you came to choose art history.
So I mean, like we all have like different stories, but I guess I found art and art history in like middle school, like in a in my local library, just like searching through books. I found like a Salvador Dali book, and I opened it up and I was like, this shit is bananas. And I was super into it.
Salvador Dali is a good entry point because
For sure.
my dad and uncle had a huge Salvador Dali. You know, like the animals? Like with the crazy legs. They had one of those paintings that had like the horses and the elephants with the crazy long legs. And
Wow.
I have such vivid memories of that as a kid. Of just
Was it swans
looking.
reflecting elephants?
I don't remember which exactly it was. I have no idea.
It's a
And I tried to
classic.
find it and I can't remember. My uncle still might have it somewhere. He's that guy.
Yeah.
But no, Salvador Dali is just fun for kids, which is
Yeah.
a weird thing to say.
But also, I was like a dark kind of weird
Yeah.
kid too at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yo,
So-
quick shout out, quick tangent shout out to the first thing that comes up on the Google search history.
Yeah, there we are.
That's fire.
All right. That's us.
That's us, the art history babes.
I'm just putting this up here so we're
No,
not staring at
appreciate
ourselves.
it.
That's
So
awesome.
we have to just stare at ourselves.
Yeah,
So we'll stare at you
we're
guys.
looking we're looking like a circa 2003 indie rock band.
Yep.
Yeah, fine.
I
When's the
see that.
mixtape dropping?
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Who's the drummer?
No, actually.
who is the drummer?
We've talked about this because we all have our Beatles.
Oh, okay, so
Oh, you all have your Beatles?
we're all Beatles.
I gotta hear this.
I'm John Lennon, and
You assigned them. I think.
yeah,
'cause-
I'm John Lennon.
You assigned them.
But I'm saying I don't know what I am.
Oh,
you know.
you don't really?
No, 'cause
I'm
you-
okay. I'm John Lennon. Nat is George Harrison.
Okay, there we go.
Ginny is Paul, and Jen is Ringo.
Jen's our drummer.
Jen's the drummer.
She's
Yeah.
the drummer.
To
She
be
so
fair, Jen chose Ringo. Like Jen was like, "I am Ringo," and we were like, "Yes."
I can't stop you.
I can't
Yeah.
remember because you guys said that Ginny and I were pretty much transferable. I think it was kind of like a toss of the coin.
No, because you're definitely George. You're
Okay.
definitely George, and
I'm
she's
happy to be George.
She's definitely Paul. Like, and I'm definitely John. Like,
There's really
It
no
all
question
makes
about
sense.
it.
Like it does, and it also throwback to the beginning of this episode. I said my favorite female artist was Yoko Ono. So like,
Oh wow.
Shouts
Okay,
out,
yeah,
shouts out.
yeah, you had that ready.
I had that ready to go. So yeah, those are our Beatles. But what were we? Oh, how we came to art history. That
Yeah.
was the question. Yeah, so I guess that was my first like dip into it, and I was just like, I like this. I like these images, and I just got like interested in art in that way, and like researching art. And it was always an interest of mine. I was into art in high school, took art classes. Like I liked making it, but really I was just more interested in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just always a thing. And then throughout undergrad, my art history classes were my favorite classes, and it just clicked with me. It was just like looking at images and connecting them to like this bigger picture of society and psychology and history was just like, I don't know, it was like a drug to me. It was like very exciting. So that's how...
So you found yourself just going back to the well all the time.
Yeah, because like I changed my major in undergrad like 8 times. So
Eight.
Eight.
Shout out 8 times.
8 times.
Wow.
Yeah, that's real. That's
Okay,
not
for all the kids at home,
let's hear the list.
You don't need
I
to
wanna
know.
what the progression
You don't need
was.
to know.
It's a fun game. No, I love this.
We played this game on an episode of our podcast once. All right, let's
All
do
right.
it.
Recall.
I want it again.
All right, Corey.
Here's the list.
Right, my 8 majors in undergrad. We started as a design major, art education, sociology, anthropology, international studies, social work. I always get tripped up at the end. The last 2, social work, elementary education, and then I graduated with a major in liberal studies, minors in art history and dance.
Wow.
So,
Seriously.
Stick with it, kid.
don't give
So,
up. Don't
what,
give up.
what didn't you learn?
I learned a lot. I learned a lot
Science.
of things. Yeah, science.
Math.
Yeah,
Taxes.
Taxes.
What?
For real.
That's not what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, I definitely dipped my toe in a lot of different worlds, which I think makes me a more interesting art historian because, like, it has allowed me to pull in interesting ideas. From
It makes
elsewhere.
sense why you're hosting a podcast now and not teaching at a university. Like it,
Yeah.
it fits better with just,
The overall, my vibe, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's my story. I don't know.
Yeah, what about you, Nat?
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar, just as far as being interested in art from a pretty young age. And I had a grandma who was like the ultimate hippie grandma and like did like macrame and photography and fed birds and all that stuff. She had a flower
What's
farm.
macrame?
Like the like hemp weaving. You know, like the planters or like bracelets or stuff that people make.
Okay, yeah.
I get the vibe.
Yeah, you know, like you can see it. It's all tan and in like hipster shops.
Or like,
and-
yeah, like the bat, like the flower holder.
Yeah, exactly.
is
It's a
the
style
most-
of knots essentially, but it's like an artistic style of knotting.
Or like hammock. I've laid in a hammock.
You can
before.
make a hammock for sure if you're very skilled, which I am not. I've made a planter.
You gonna make me a hammock someday, Nat? Someday. Better.
Maybe.
You
Still,
can sell them
still
on our
waiting on that
website.
hammock.
Yeah.
You could do handmade hammocks
Don't
and
hold
sell
your
them on the
breath.
website. That'd be good.
I'll make
my
one a
gosh,
year.
okay.
Sell it for
It'll be
$9,000.
like, what's his
Yeah.
name?
AHB
Nick Offerman.
hammocks. I'll get one.
Yeah.
Nick Offerman makes canoes and like tables
does.
and stuff. Yeah, he's a what is it?
Dude,
Woodworker.
We're
We like
joking,
Nick
but
Offerman.
we're gonna make this happen.
Sure.
I like this idea.
You could think of this as a joke.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You can choose to. You'd be wrong.
Well, that's how the podcast started. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
because everyone drunk.
You being like, I'm doing this.
yeah, 'cause, like I brought up the idea. We were like drunk at a bar and like talking about art, and it was awesome. It was like the best ever. And in my head, I was like, if I wasn't at this table, I'd want to be at this table.
Yeah.
And then I was like, dude, we should start a podcast. And I was like, yeah, it'll be dope. It'll be great. But we were all
Yeah.
drunk.
Yeah.
And then like.
If I wasn't at this table, I would want to be at this table. That's
a good
I like
quote.
that. I
It
wanna,
really is.
I wanna
Right when you
point
said
out to
that, I was like,
that's
I was literally like, that's it.
And I don't think you
That's
said that before. That's a new
capturing
one.
it.
That's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
I feel, and that's how I felt in that moment.
It is such a beautiful way of describing it. It's so organic.
Yeah, and that's how it was. It was very much a moment of like, yeah, this should happen. And I brought it up. Everyone was on board. Like everyone was always on board, but we were also drunk. And then like I think everyone kind of just was like, we were in grad
Woke
school.
up hungover as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. We were in grad school. Everyone else just kind of, and then like a week later, it was like, no, guys, like we're starting a podcast.
Drinking with each other,
I mean,
talking
if you
about the
listen-
shit we want to talk about.
Yeah.
The earlier
It's-
episodes,
100%.
we are
It's productive
drunk.
if people are watching.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
productive if people are watching. That's
yeah.
another
Well, and
lesson.
we were also very much inspired by.
Super high.
I know. I thought,
Well, we-
oh, don't
Not those
get it
first
twisted.
episodes. Not the first episode.
We've definitely been high on a few episodes, but no, we were highly influenced by drunk history.
Yes.
And this idea
Okay.
of
I
doing
get that.
good research, but then like bringing it.
having fun with what you figure out.
exactly, and then drinking and like so the research becomes a
'Cause
little goofier, but
Yeah.
it comes like it's real research.
You
Yeah.
feel that
Yeah,
as
yeah,
the
yeah.
audience. Like
Yeah.
when I watch Drunk History, I'm like, I'm gonna learn something.
Yeah,
At-
and you
at least
do.
one little thing from
And
this
you
episode.
do.
But I know I'm gonna be entertained the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No matter what the story is, there's gonna be some level of entertainment, and I'm also gonna get a few tidbits of knowledge from it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's like a
Exactly.
fireplace to sit instead of like I could look up a Hamilton, documentary video, like learn Hamilton in 10 minutes or whatever. But
there's plenty.
I haven't ever.
Yeah.
But I've watched the drunk history one.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was so satisfied with that experience.
Yeah, and that actually very similarly, like, I think that kind of came through when the idea came through, because I remember in undergrad, one of my roommates, just like an awesome dude, really smart, really cool, and like drunk history came out when I was in undergrad, and I loved it, and I watched it all the time because I was like a history nerd, and I remember watching it in the living room. He comes downstairs, sits there, watches it with me, we laugh, we have a great time, and he said out loud, he was like, I wish learning history was always like this. So I think somewhere inside me, that memory, like, because, we were in grad school and we were educators, we were TAs at the time. And so like trying to make our discipline and what we were studying appealing, I think that memory kind of came through, that memory of watching drunk history and being like, this is how we get people that maybe don't know they're interested in art history yet. You know?
100%.
It's like you make it fun, you make it relatable, you make it like what
exactly
people
like
want to experience.
People can like ding you for not being in the deep end, but like you choose the shallows for a reason, you are an introductory experience to water.
It's literally
the ocean.
A reflection.
I love that metaphor. That's great.
Like
we're introducing you to the ocean.
Exactly. Like there's a whole,
and
we don't even know the ocean yet, but
and
I can get you started.
Well, the thing about it is, like,
real.
you love it, and you kind of think to yourself, like, this not just like I love it, like this is objectively good shit.
Yeah.
It's like how do I feed it to these kids who don't want it? It's like it's good nutrients. Just like how do I
or just don't know they don't.
Okay,
want,
great.
Like, want
it's
They
broccoli.
just don't-
How do you give the kid broccoli?
Yeah, exactly. And
we're
then
covering art history and cheese, essentially. That's what we're doing.
Bunch of
Art history is
Asiago.
broccoli, and we're covering it in cheese and presenting it to
Little
people.
pecorino makes it taste good. Yeah.
That's how you do it.
it is how you do it, man.
So okay, another
Shout out
question:
cooking.
why a podcast?
It seemed, at least, especially at the time, so we started in April of 2016. From my perspective, I'd been listening to a lot of podcasts at the time, so I think that just naturally popped into my head.
Yeah.
But also, it seemed accessible. It just, like, I, at the time, knew nothing about sound, nothing about editing. Still don't claim to know that much, but, like, I've gotten pretty good at editing over the years because, like, it was something...
Necessity?
Shouts out learning process.
Yes, exactly. It's been a process, and I've invested a ton of time into it, and now I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff now. So, but at the time, knew nothing. But I don't know, the idea of just like doing it in the super independent, like we don't know what we're doing kind of way didn't seem scary because the podcast world kind of allows for that. I think it allows for that trial and error.
Shouts out trial and error.
Yeah, it allows you to play, and a lot of people are attracted to the more raw, long format.
Okay,
type
interesting. The
thing.
long formats totally allows you some space for error.
Yeah, dude.
Like baseball is the one game where they count errors.
Oh, that's deep.
So
That's good.
Whoa.
so just something to think about.
Sit on that.
Gotta sit on that for a minute. That's good.
But yeah, I think that's so interesting that like weirdly people are just like here to spend time in some form or another. That's like they go to a podcast. Like I've got a road trip to kill. Is maybe the first thing.
Yeah.
For like a noob user of podcasts, like I've got this road trip. Like I'm done. I don't want to listen to the same old songs. Like what can I do? Like I could listen to a book on tape, but like I've heard about these podcasts. Like what's a podcast? And then they're like so able to give up like perfection because they're like all they want to do is spend time with you.
Exactly, and that's why I think people respond to them the way they do, and it's been a common thing I've seen over and over again. Like the response we get, and just in general surrounding podcasts, is people talking about like, I truly feel like I'm hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
And that's all we want. We want people to listen to us to feel like they're in that living room with us talking about art, drinking wine.
Exactly. Like the audience is the sixth man on the court.
Yes.
That's it. They're just another friend to hang out with. And luckily they come in numbers.
Yeah.
Or I guess
that.
hopefully they cover down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Luckily.
True that.
Shouts out fans.
Yeah, exactly.
We love you.
All right, you guys. So let's go back to that question we dodged earlier.
What?
Please remind us.
Of like, and I can phrase it differently this time. I think last time I asked what's your favorite work of art, but for me, I guess what was really happening in my mind when I was thinking about that question was like, do you have any specific memories of like being in just absolute awe of a piece of art, like just looking at it or whatever, listening to it, and having that moment of just going, holy shit, like it's all here.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah.
I can think of some that pop into my head though. So one of those big moments for me was in undergrad, and it was Rembrandt's Lucretia, which is at the Minneapolis Institute of Art. And it's just a really powerful piece of this historical story of it's an image of a woman stabbing
Ben,
herself.
can you pull it up?
Yes, I can. Give me 1 second.
Let's do it. Let's do some visual analysis.
Yeah, no, I'm into it.
It's a cool painting.
It is, and seeing, I don't know why. Like it was a surprise
All right,
finding
what
it.
am I pulling up?
Lucretia, Lucretia by Rembrandt.
Or just
no
Lucretia?
Mott. Yeah, I don't know.
What's the? Do you know the mythology, the story?
Not really, not very well. I've heard it before.
I want to say
there it
okay.
is.
So she. I don't
It's
wanna
that
mess this up.
first one.
Okay.
Full screen.
Might be able to get it bigger. But she just stabbed herself, so it's pretty like. It's pretty.
Wait. The people aren't seeing it yet, so hold on.
Okay.
Although I do love that one piece of.
There's a lot of Lucretias.
She looks so bored by stabbing herself.
She's so over it.
And yeah, Rembrandt did too, actually, but it's this first one. That's the one.
That was the one that you remember.
Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about.
Interesting. Okay. And so what? Yeah, like, give us a sense of why it struck you the way it struck
God,
you.
that's so hard.
So okay, like I can try and help a little bit
Yeah,
because
sure. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Well, like for me, my first reaction with this is like the aesthetic isn't exactly what makes me, strikes me as like the most captivating element of this art. It's like I love the idea that there is like this sits in the artist's lexicon in a certain place, that this you were at maybe a certain museum, or that like it represented for you an insight or something of that nature. Because nice.
There it is.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, so real quick,
bloodstain.
I think it's brandy. I don't know what it is.
This is brandy.
It looks like brandy.
But it's only 18%, so I think it's maybe like.
I think you're supposed to drink it with this Aperol, but I'm not 100%
Should we just
sure.
send it?
I don't know.
Or what do you
man.
think?
I don't know.
I'm a little worried just to add
I know,
Aperol.
man.
Yeah.
What is Aperol?
Okay, so both of these are left from my.
Shouts out,
Fifi on the beat.
Phoebe on the beat.
Woo. He
Where's this photo?
Oh yeah, I know. We literally have it. He was my old roommate, and he left me these like two amazing pieces of alcohol that his like family had gotten him for his birthday.
Oh, so it's
I
like
know.
nice.
It's supposed to be nice.
I'm sure it
And
is.
his family has like incredible taste. Like his mom's like a writer, like I hear on NPR all the time and shit. So it's like
shit.
it's like not
That's
fucking around.
legit.
Yeah.
That's a goal, man.
I know.
If
I
someone's
know.
trying to send the mix, they can't.
I'm curious what will happen.
All right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. All right.
Um,
So while this painting is now on screen for our viewers at home,
Yeah.
give us a little taste.
of just like so I'm going pure on like the experience that you were talking
Yeah.
about, and this is one of them. I definitely had it. I want to say it was 2014. And yeah, we went to the Minneapolis Institute of Art and we got really high beforehand. And like, I literally just put in, I'm good right now. I put in headphones and was just like listening to really some like weird kind of like experimental music and just like went like just went on my own. It was like a very solitary art experience. Even though, like I just like did my own thing. And I remember I knew this painting from a class that I'd taken that year, and I didn't realize it was at the museum I was at. And so it was a surprise.
You turned the corner and it was like the only painting in the room.
And then I was like, shit, there's Lucretia. And I just sat there with it, and yeah, it's, I mean, visually I love the contrast, the dark against the light, like her kind of coming out of the shadows.
Her emotion is so like, it's so specific.
That's
crazy.
what gets me more than anything.
She's so apathetic. Like, she just stabbed herself and she's literally looking like, I don't give a fuck.
You nailed it, dude.
And like what is she holding? Like what it like?
That's the knife.
That's a knife.
No. In the other hand.
Is that? It's a light, right?
Light. Yeah, I think.
Like she stabbed herself and then put
like,
herself on, like turned on the spotlight.
Yeah, or like I was
this is me.
No, I so you totally just like got it. Yeah, like the emotion on her face is very much like I just fucking did that.
Yeah,
and, like,
exactly. Like, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, badass.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's also like it's heartbreaking, but it's badass. And
it's sad.
Nat knows this very well, but I have an affinity for art that deals with the destruction and death. I think it's just something I'm drawn to. It moves me in some way.
Wow.
And this is just such like a badass solitary moment.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she doesn't look scared. She doesn't look hurt even. Like, she's just like, I made
not
this
confused,
decision.
like certain,
Yes.
certain,
And
decisive,
it's,
very decisive.
Exactly, and I don't know.
Apathetic decisiveness is like
She's
an
cool
interesting
as
emotion.
fuck.
She's cool as fuck. Like, it hits me. I'm just like, that is it, man.
Yeah.
And it's like she's like almost like she's just ready. She's ready for death. She's ready for what it's bringing. She's like,
She's not worried about
this
it.
is what I came to do. And it has always really moved me. So that's a huge one. Also, just like general umbrella, pretty much any experience I've ever had with a James Turrell has been like very like this.
We might have to pull it
And
up.
then, of
Explain
course,
Explain the
Yeah,
one that's
James
in San Francisco at the Dion.
Okay.
Or Legion
James
of Honor.
Turrell,
Where's that?
his stuff may be familiar.
You guys would like it a lot.
because
I'm already so in it.
Yeah.
Drake.
Oh, wow.
You may
Holy
recognize it from.
Yeah, Hotline Bling.
Yeah.
Hotline Bling. Okay, I was gonna say like I've seen this in a music video.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
This is the actual artist.
Yeah. So James Turrell didn't do Hotline Bling, but Hotline Bling was 100%.
Hotline Bling
paid James Turrell.
I can't believe he didn't do it. It was like, just pay him for the fucking shit he invented.
Wait, we need to find that thing.
There's a
that...
great quote by James
hold
Turrell. You
on.
look it up.
Yeah.
About the Hotline
Hotline
Bling?
Bling.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah.
Shots fired. I want the diss track where he's like painting a shitty version of Drake.
It's so
No,
good.
it's better than a diss track because James Turrell is just such a fucking G. Like he doesn't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah,
he knows
of
what
course.
he does is badass.
Lou
Like,
Geisha.
so he like. So James Turrell, yeah. So Hotline Bling was not James Turrell, but it was 100% influenced by James Turrell. Like, and Nat's looking up the response quote from James Turrell. But basically, what Turrell does is these really immersive spaces. He considers himself a light artist. He works with light, both like electric light and natural light. He just creates spaces that are really dealing with like how we perceive light and how really it all boils down to perception.
Yeah,
he fucks with perception is what he does.
Minimalism is the idea that you strip away a ton of stuff, right? And so it's really it tells a lot about you what you keep.
Yeah.
And so I think the feeling is like for him, like he kept literally like shapes and light.
Exactly. Oh, you get it, dude.
Like shading.
I feel
Yeah.
you. I love art history.
Shading as a way to show distance is so interesting.
His work's really cool.
Yeah, and I.
Okay, did he do the thing at the LACMA? Have you been to the LACMA?
Yeah.
That's James Turrell.
That's James Turrell. He had one at the LACMA. He also.
Oh, okay. This is not what I'm talking about.
Oh, but
I'm talking
savage.
about. I'll show you what this reminded me of. On a new tab because we're dope.
I'm trying to find this really.
Oh, here it is. Okay, ready?
All right, let's
So
hear
this
it.
was Turrell's
So
response.
it says, last year, Turrell put out a statement on his lawyer's blog responding to Hotline Bling and claims that any connections were accidental. Quote, while I am truly flattered to learn that Drake fucks with me, I nevertheless wish to make clear that neither I nor any of my woes was involved in any way in the making of the Hotline Bling video.
Okay, but
well, I'm truly flattered to learn that Drake fucks with me.
Yeah, exactly.
And he mentions his woes, like
that's hilarious. His woes.
Dialed in, bro. Look at him.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, he's legit.
This bro is too legit.
No, okay. So speaking of dialed
He
in,
doesn't give a fuck.
Him saying woes after listening to Hotline Bling is like,
okay, dude.
too far. I don't even care if it's like his. He doesn't have a social media team, right? Like he's two artists.
Probably
not.
I don't know.
He probably has like the coolest social media team.
Yeah, like someone took this photo.
But speaking of just like
But it's
James
literally only this
Terrell
photo.
being dialed in,
Yeah.
this dude just like last week, Kanye donated $10 million so that to Rodan Crater, which is a Terrell work that is made out of an extinct volcano.
What?
He's been working on it for years, and I've just been like waiting, and like no one, like it's been kind of a, I guess, inside joke in the art world, like, is James Terrell gonna finish Rodan Crater before he dies?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh shit.
He's old.
Ninth
like,
Symphony.
Yeah, and so like it's been like a
Shouts
concern.
out Game of Thrones.
It's been a concern because it's been going for a long time, and people are like, when's this gonna happen? And just like last week, Kanye shows up, $10 million, and now they have an opening date
Finish
for
that shit.
2024.
Holy
and I'm like,
crap.
God damn, that has to do with Kanye helped make that happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
He did.
like, oh God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Rodan Crater.
That's awesome.
It's gonna be so like imagine like trippy lights like messing with your perception of space in an extinct volcano.
Whoa.
Like what is
Yeah,
that?
no, that's insanity. Okay, Nat, what about you? What's a time that you remember where like you kind of just
Okay,
been
wait,
looking at something?
real quick before we go in that, I want to give the what reminded me of. Have you seen the LACMA rock thing? That,
Oh,
like, sits
yeah,
on
this
the-
is this is I know the artist's name. Oh,
like
Heiser?
this is
Heiser?
100% the vibe right here. It's
Who's
like,
the
it
I wish
artist?
it
feels like
was 100% the vibe.
I know, it's only 80% the vibe.
it's only 80%. Who's the artist? Is that Heiser?
Does it say? Let's
I'm sure you can just click on something and it'll. Maybe not this one.
What the heck? How is the artist not the
least-
first
yeah.
thing?
I'll find it.
Is it Banksy?
Oh, Michael Helzer.
Heiser.
Heiser.
Right. Boom, nailed it.
Boom, nailed
Nice.
it. All right, that was like my quick little.
All right.
No,
so
yeah,
much.
All right.
it's
Just
a
playing
great.
with perception. Like,
It's a great word.
these pictures aren't even doing it justice at all. When you see it in person, it looks so sick. Just over, like you don't get any of the subtlety of this little pathway that goes down and goes back up the other side. It's epic.
It's dope.
Yeah.
Heiser does land works like earth art, and he has like some really cool shit like out in the middle of nowhere, basically. That like, deals with space and natural forms and stuff.
I can understand the in the middle of nowhere vibes. That's making art in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have
I
you
resonate
guys
with that experience.
heard? There's right now in the middle of like
Desert
the,
X. Is that what you're talking about?
The playing Toto on repeat. In
Yes.
The desert.
Okay. So that is one exhibit of the Desert X, which is a art gallery in the middle of the desert by Coachella, before Coachella, as like a preemptive.
Is that?
Yeah,
No, because this is in Africa.
It's
Yeah,
in
I know
Africa?
the one.
In
I know the one you're
Okay,
talking
well,
about.
I think they're also doing it in this valley as part of the like.
I mean, that sounds
Desert
dope
X.
too.
No,
But
I know the one you're talking about. I saw the picture.
it's
It's
in-
like
it's in the
like these
desert of
random
Africa.
white speakers, like these sort of cheap looking speakers.
You can
we
say
love
it.
our
We
setup
see.
here.
I was gonna say.
And I know that's what music school will do to you. And yeah. So and then it's like there's one in the center and then there's a few pillars around the sides and they're like all connected. Yeah, and they just play Africa on literally repeat 24/7.
And the
Wha-
idea
okay.
is it's
In
gonna
this
do
middle
that
Sahara.
Does anyone know
forever.
why the song made a
Oh wait,
comeback?
that's the idea?
Yeah.
I was okay. I won't lie. I
Wait.
thought the idea was just a random installation, and my first thought was like, I don't really get it.
Okay, so the idea.
But that's gonna be there forever. Is hilarious.
It's the hope. So it's these white speakers in the middle of the desert in Africa, which the song is Africa
Boom.
by Toto. So it's in the middle of the desert in Africa.
Oh, I
These
get it.
Random white speakers, and it's literally in the middle of nowhere. So imagine you're lost in the fucking desert. You
Yeah.
like come over a hill, like
This is a nightmare. We're joking
You're like
about
so
it, but
thirsty,
it's
like
totally,
you like you need food, like you haven't seen
No.
people in days, and you
Yeah.
just see this like speaker set
you've got
up.
fatal wounds, and
Yeah.
you're just like,
You just
cool.
hear.
I sent it once I heard about it. I sent a link to a friend of
So
mine.
fucked up.
I sent a link to a friend of mine, and I
It
was
is like we're so thirsty. It's like get out of my way. I'm trying to install my art.
Sing along or get out.
yeah, like I saw it and I sent a link to a friend, and my immediate reaction was like, I'm pretty sure this is purgatory. Like, I feel like that's what
For sure.
Like you're in a desert, and yeah, there's these speakers, and they're solar powered. They're powered by the sun.
Oh my
So
god.
the idea is that it
So
will
they're
play
never gonna
on
die.
loop forever. Like that is the like concept.
Wow.
Wow.
Is that
Okay.
trippy?
That like why
It
is
is.
Africa making a comeback right now?
I feel like it's been making a comeback for a
Dude,
decade.
it's been like the random bar hit for like.
A decade. It was my
Yeah.
ring.
Is that true?
It was my
But-
ringback tone for a minute. No
Oh
joke.
shit.
No joke.
Oh shit.
There is
That's
no
right.
essence in the air that like the last 6 months Africa has popped off more than it should have.
Yeah, there's been an acceleration. I'll give you that.
Like I
But
don't.
it's been-
I felt Africa
All
by
right.
Toto a lot more than I have in the last 10 years.
In your whole life.
And your whole life.
No,
yeah.
there's like definitely like a time before this.
Well, okay. This
where it
this
popped,
art
but-
piece is 1 point for you.
Okay.
Definitely. I think like I said, I think it's been making a comeback for like a decade, but I will agree that there's been an acceleration recently where it's just been like the
Yeah.
go-to
Yeah.
throwback kind of goofy song.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And now it's in the middle of the desert forever.
Forever is
Forever.
crazy.
But
There's no way.
Nat never answered the question.
Yeah, that's exactly
Stop.
what I was
We
just
got
about
time.
to say. Let's let the people know.
She's like,
Let the
well,
people know.
she's like, this one time I was just walking through the desert.
I heard this
I
song.
heard Africa play.
I just kept
It's
hearing
so
this
weird.
awesome melody.
That's so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of similar. It's that feeling of walking through a museum and coming across a painting that you know, but you didn't know would be there. So I had that experience in Munich, in Germany.
Wow.
While I was there for Oktoberfest.
Hey.
Yeah, you know, all the art historians flocked to Oktoberfest.
Exactly. Like, I
Yeah.
love the way the orange suds look.
I also just
I had
need-
my reasons.
I need
Yeah.
to throw in that was like the first month of our second year of grad school.
It was
and
one
Nat's
of
like,
my
peace
more
out, y'all.
irresponsible-
I'm going to Oktoberfest.
Like,
I'm like, what the fuck
a
are
month
you doing?
before I bought tickets to go to Oktoberfest. Yeah.
was
Anyway,
so- we were
it
all,
was
like,
a great time.
Super stressed out, and Nat's like, going to Germany.
I was there for like the week before school started, so I was there to be
How
stressed
do
out with
you handle
anyone,
stress?
and then
Yeah.
I just left.
You
And I was taking
fucking
German.
bounced.
I was taking German that quarter, so I had to like write to the professor like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm gonna miss the first few classes, but I'll be
Yeah.
in Germany, so
Yeah,
like,
hey,
Ger-
yeah.
I'll be
Germany-
studying."
German's on my
Exactly.
short
Yeah.
list of next languages to learn.
Oh, it's a good
I'm
one.
like
This is short
at
list.
least a quarter German or something. I haven't
Yeah.
done the DNA test yet,
Yeah.
but
We'll send you our ancestry.com.
Okay, yeah, send us the
discount
link.
link.
Yeah, send us the affiliation
Your new
link.
sponsor.
Yeah.
You might be
That-
related
Sponsorship
to
link.
Nat's cat.
Oh, me and Nat's cat. I guess we go way back.
Perchance. But anyway, so I was there for Oktoberfest and ended up going to this contemporary art museum that I'm not even gonna try and say the name because I will butcher it. It begins with an A.
I know the one.
Yeah, that one, you know.
He knows what's up.
And I found one of my favorite artists. Corey mentioned him earlier. Anselm Kiefer has a work there, and I had written about it in my undergrad thesis.
What's it called? What's it called?
Nero paints.
Neuropaints.
Nero
Let's look up some
paints.
Anselm.
Kiefer.
Yeah.
And seeing that, I was by myself, and I'm not the type to go to museums by myself very often.
Yeah.
It's just not something I've done a lot in my life. So that was cool that I like went.
Am
I was
spelling
there.
Nero right?
Yeah, that's perfect. Paints,
And then
plural.
Anselm, Anselm. Kiefer.
Let's see.
Yeah,
That'll
that
work.
should work.
Yeah, that's it. The first one.
Oh, yeah, so good.
Oh
And
shit!
it's huge.
This is
It's-
heavy.
Yeah.
It's-
all of his work.
It's
is so
probably
heavy.
like 3 feet wider
Oh
than that
my
piece of
God.
fabric back there, and
This-
then like 5 feet taller.
This is what True Detective looks like as a piece of like super.
Oh my
art.
gosh.
This is True
nailed
Detective
it.
season 4 ad right here.
Exactly. I swear it.
So if you guys can see, it's like a palette with paintbrushes sticking out that are all on fire, and then that fire is lighting those towns in the background on fire.
What?
Yeah, not crazy.
Yeah.
And it's huge.
Just a little.
Okay, how big?
Like, okay, so if you're looking at this piece of fabric
wish I
right
could give
here,
the
Yeah.
I'd say
experience of
tack
this.
on like 3 feet in length and probably like 4 feet in height, and it's like that big.
Oh my! So
Yeah.
you're saying like this is
It's
like
a wall.
Wow, it's like a 15-foot wide painting.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's enormous.
That's
Okay,
so
that
good.
explains so much of the visceralness that
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing
Yeah.
from the computer
And
screen.
like texture. Oh yeah, it's
His
not.
work
It
is
looks very
super,
textured.
super visceral.
Like,
Super
it looks so
what
3D.
time? What
I
year?
can tell
What
how
year?
3D
What year
it
are we
is.
working with, Ben? Do you know?
This probably 50.
1974
No.
It's not that one.
is what
74? Yeah, you're right. 74.
74,
Jeez.
yeah. Dang.
Yeah. That would make sense.
I guessed that. I definitely didn't see that in the
yeah,
upper
no,
right
Ben
corner.
knows. He's up on his keepers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this guy was born in Germany the year World War II ended. So just to give you an idea of his
Okay.
upbringing.
Yeah.
If you want to go real
Interesting.
deep, the day after he was born, his neighbors were bombed. He was literally like
He was born into
Look at this.
war-torn Germany.
yeah,
Wow.
in a very literal
This
way.
is like a Harry Potter story.
It's a very nice way to say
Could
it.
you describe the numbers? Like why
Oh.
numbers on this one?
Oh, that's a
know.
good question.
And the
Why-
house
why
in the
numbers?
background.
And there's writing up there in the background that I
What's
can't
this one
quite
called? We
read.
need to know the name.
So that's Zai something with an M. My German is rusty.
Gotta get on
This
Duolingo.
one's
I can
called
bring up more
Web
that I
User.
actually
Oh,
know about.
here we go. This feels
If
like a pretty
you-
cool place to chill.
Oh, that Marguerite.
Oh,
That
Nero
Mar-
paints.
Yeah.
That
No,
your golden
Nick-
Okay,
hair.
but this is the one we were looking at, right?
Yeah, but I don't know anything about this one, so I don't
Okay,
sound
okay,
smart.
that's fine.
Okay, you guys. I have an issue.
Your golden hair,
You guys,
Marguerite.
Nero
though, I know
paints
that one.
1974.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's all right.
No, that is right.
That
Wait,
is
what do you
right.
mean?
I think that's right.
Oh. Didn't we just say that 45?
Oh no,
No,
that's
that's
when he
when
was
he was
born.
He was
Oh.
born in
Yeah,
45. Yeah. But yeah, that's
That
probably right.
makes sense now.
Oh, it looks so
74.
good
Okay.
here.
It's a great. It's a
Yeah,
great
it
painting.
does. It is great. I mean, it's almost like some sort
What do
of
you
weird.
see? What is in the middle?
Well,
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you guys. I
Yeah,
want to hear
oh,
what
okay.
you guys see
You
because
guys.
I
Alright.
actually know what this is about, so I want to know what you guys think.
Okay, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Can I
Okay.
just make something up free ball?
Please
and
do.
Please.
and
Okay.
I have my idea before he says his. So.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
We're
Cool. I'm thinking it's like a field.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like I don't know. I'm obviously feeling like destruction and like death vibes heavy and like red. There's red in the field and stuff. So you almost feel like maybe it's just a super like intense depiction of a field, but it could be like war torn or something like that. And then I feel like what you've got is like basically obviously the town is burning in the back, so maybe this is like post a battle or something like that. And like the artist here, the idea of the artist easel is like, I don't know, some sort of very meta commentary on like the artist like not saving anyone, just like there in the background painting in some sort of like kind of fucked up way.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I, like you said, easel, or at one point I missed that, but I definitely saw a bagpipe. I thought it was a bagpipe in the middle.
Oh.
Was weirdly what I saw.
It
And
looks like
then-
an apple kind of too.
Yeah, there's definitely
Yeah.
some shouts out Steve Jobs in the middle. And
This is the back of a laptop. This is
this
the
is his
MacBook
most-
Pro. This is what happens when you get too many stickers on the back.
this guy
This
saw
is
the
that
future.
year he collaborated with Steve Jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Shouts
This
out.
is the
collabs.
yeah. Kiefer times Cook.
No, okay, definitely I agree. Like war torn, or like I was thinking pillage maybe is like a better word. Like I see pillage happening.
Yeah, I feel
Maybe post war confrontation, there was a winner, and that winner wasn't the person who owned the land. It was someone who came and pillaged.
Yeah, like this is like a Vikings type situation.
Like they didn't save their town.
It's on
They
fire.
demolished the opposing town.
Yeah, they just like the thing.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's
I'm
gone.
so sorry.
And also, I don't know who they is because I don't see a winner here. I see destruction.
Yeah, you just nailed it, dude. You
Boom. Wow.
Real quick, just want to throw that out there.
Stylistically, what do you guys think?
Okay, so it reminds
Heavy.
Yeah,
I see
it's-
heavy.
I think like you said about like texture, it's like for me, like if I'm looking at like impressionism or like a Matisse or like I forget who are some of the other like kind of like heavy paint users who really like
Yeah, Impressionists are good.
Yeah.
Monet.
Yeah.
Manet.
Yeah, just really into those thick
Rembrandt.
yeah who I think there's
Cassatt.
one with a C. I'm thinking
Cassatt? Mary Cassatt?
it could be, but I imagine
we pull it up?
It's like having a 15-foot thing, and then the way this looks is like so. It feels like it would be so physical. It feels like in real life you'd be struck by the physicality of this painting.
You
Like,
totally
You're so
are.
right. And what you were saying about the Impressionists is such a good point because they worked in really small scale, which scale has a pretty big impact on like how you experience it.
Size
so when
matters.
the Impressionists, as we say, when the Impressionists are working on like
Who says?
this size of works, you know, it's just a different feeling that you have experiencing it, and then you come across something like this
yeah.
and it knocks you on your ass, quite frankly. Like it's just
For sure.
powerful.
Even this terribly rendered digital version.
Even
know.
that.
Yeah,
It-
100%.
It gets the
Impact.
point
And I can't imagine this stretched across a whole entire wall,
It's
we
huge.
taking up my experience.
we just did an
In detail.
episode on Anselm Kiefer where we all just like fangirled because we're just huge fans.
Yeah.
And we just released it and like editing it and stuff. I don't know how many times the word weighty came up. Like everything's so heavy and everything's so
Weighty,
weighty,
yeah.
both physically, viscerally, emotionally. Like
Yeah.
weighty.
Yeah,
is just
weighty.
Kind of what.
Because in a
happens.
strange way, I like that you're not using the word heavy. Because for me, it's like, let's say you had like a giant anvil or you had one giant solid object with clear depth and space. Like you all of a sudden start to feel like really heavy vibes. But when it's so like frank and it is so textured and you do literally feel like exactly what it's made of. You feel the canvas, like you feel the stuff. I like weighty.
Yeah, it's definitely weighty.
Heavy.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a good one. So
Okay. Shouts out. I love it.
That's my painting choice.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. I love that, honestly.
Also, as I'm saying this, I realized that the museum I was talking about does not begin with an A. It begins with a P. I still can't
Ooh.
pronounce it, but it begins with a P. It's like Pinot.
Okay, so do you know like what it's really about?
Yeah, I
So,
do. So I
inform
wrote
us.
about this in my undergrad thesis, and that's why I was so excited when I found it.
Yeah.
So again, he's German, was born at the end of World War II, so was very interested in World War II and Germany's, you know, like
Involvement.
role,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
in it. And he,
Impact.
yeah, what they did. And he,
The things that happened.
that we will not
You know.
mention.
You know what they are.
We're talking history.
We're talking genocide, you know, casual,
dark
keeping it
shit.
light, keeping it fun.
And capturing that with art. Hence, art history.
There we are.
With the babes.
Hey.
So yeah, he got interested in these artists that were used as propaganda during the war that weren't necessarily creating propaganda. It was just retroactively used for other purposes. So Wagner was a. Do you guys know him?
Yeah.
You would
He's like
know.
he's like an opera guy.
Yeah. He's a composer, one of those big composer guys. And he was a favorite of Hitler, and Hitler would like use him as like Nazi propaganda
Yeah,
essentially.
damn.
And that really affected Anselm Kiefer so far as like you can create art, but once you put it out there, it's not yours anymore, and it can be used by anyone however they so choose, and you kind of have to like be
I love
okay with
that.
it. Like
I
you
love
have
that. Slow
to.
clap for that. That's
yeah,
a vibe.
because it's true. Once you
everything.
put it out,
there's-
it's not
yeah.
yours anymore.
Yeah.
And people can use it however they please. So in this
It's
painting,
so tricky. That
It's
right there
yours
is
until
such a
it's yours
tricky
until you
thing.
let go. It's like, and then it's
Yeah.
ours is so interesting.
so this painting is dealing with those
We've
complicated
talked- I'm
feelings
interested.
because it's a allegorical self-portrait where he is the palette, and so the palette is lighting that city on fire, but it's like inadvertent, like it's not the intention. It's just like
Oh.
like a unfortunate.
Like is it almost like he sees his role as as an artist in society to like he feels his role to be almost one of destruction?
It's like seeing the possibility for that. It's not like seeing himself as a source of destruction. It's like realizing that he could be kind of like used for destructive purposes, and there's nothing he can do about it. Like as an artist, you're a symbol. You become something other than yourself.
Or like even relating to the people in such a sense of like anyone can be used as a vehicle for war, whether they choose to or not. You know, like the draft is crazy. Like you have to kind of relinquish control at a certain point, especially when you're a creator, especially when you're putting things out there. And someone as an artist who's like the farthest from the draft, you know.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your position once you
like
create something
and
put it out there.
They have to comment on the thing that's happening.
Well, and we did a Patreon extra recently about this.
Shouts out Patreon extra.
Patreon. Patreon.com/arthistorybabe.
Check it out.
Quick plug.
Link in bio.
This guy who lived a very crazy life. What was his name? Stanislaus Sukowski.
There's a documentary about him on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. You can find it.
Stanislaus Sukowski.
But he dipped his toe into fascism, and it circled back, and now
shallow end of fascism.
For real.
He got caught up in it, and then came back and was like, no.
He caught himself.
Yeah,
before
exactly.
it got he caught himself and realized, no, that was fucked up, and led the rest of his life.
Is there something that he says that's like, you know, fascism got me at?
Well, okay,
I was in until.
Can I comment? Because for me, it's like I'm sure on paper, like you put the ideals of fascism down, how it's supposed to work. Like there's probably some good things.
For sure.
I'm sure there are.
Like any ideology.
And so maybe on a very conceptual level, like you're like, you know what, guys, we should listen to this. Like centralized power could be efficient.
And he was in his 20s, and he was in Poland. And
then when it starts to manifest as what it did, it literally becomes real. He's I don't fuck with that.
Exactly.
To localize it a little bit, you know, like we're always talking about how the trend is companies tend to be more efficient and more impactful with one person at the helm than with a group or two at the helm.
Like a Machiavellian.
Yeah, so there's something interesting for sure.
Would you rather be feared or loved?
Loved. I think loved.
Or you can pull the Michael Scott, both. I want people to fear how much they love me.
Oh, Michael Scott. I love that.
Wow, shouts out.
Was this something like it was like Abe Lincoln, Michael Scott?
Yep. Quoting famous quotes, and then quoting yourself quoting the quote. But yeah, so this documentary, we did a whole Patreon extra where we kind of get into it, but basically pre-World War II, he was getting caught up in nationalistic ideals, and that there is one very clear instance in which he gets fascist and kind of hateful. But then after that, then Poland gets bombed heavily. Everything changes, and then for the rest of his life, he was the opposite. He was preaching the opposite message. However, it doesn't change the fact that he said some fucked up shit.
And now
this is contentious.
You gotta forgive.
This is contentious because I think you're more than what you once thought, you know.
I agree,
but there's a benefit to playing devil's advocate, to thinking random shit out, because how do you know something is wrong? How do you know the enemy's wrong unless you put yourself in their shoes for a minute?
Well, and I mean, just so for the sake of growth, you literally can't grow unless you came from somewhere. So you have to come from a place of whatever to get to where you're going.
Life is just moving.
Natural, but his work now, regardless of how you feel about him or how he lived his life, is being used again for Polish nationalist ideology. So these people are picking it back up and using it because that's what it was created.
Exactly. People are taking his work from prior to the war and they're using it for similar
or post, but still imprinting those same ideas.
It becomes symbolism.
But
it just he abstracts from human to symbol. At that point,
I think as artists, it is a really important thing or something to realize that there's who you really are. At the end of the day, you go to sleep, you wake up, you make coffee, and then there's literally the image of you that people have. What's the symbol of you as an artist? Take a anyone, like a Post Malone or like any artist, right?
I'm
and
so glad you just posted
I don't know. I don't know why.
I
don't know
love
why.
it.
Shout
It
out
works.
Post. Shout out Post.
Shout out Posty.
Do it.
Big fan.
He it's like it's interesting because like let's say he all of a sudden one day was like, you know what, I really just do want to do country. I've always been like a singer songwriter. Like I love playing guitar.
It's my
like
dirty secret.
I could see it. I could low key see it.
I could see it too.
And so it's like there'd be a bunch of fans who'd be like, what the fuck, Austin? Like you never like this is bullshit. Like you go back to your roots. Like do what we all love you for. Like we support you. Like I bought a concert ticket and I want to hear the shit I want to hear. Like you aren't this. You're what I remember and love. And it's like
You're the
no,
symbol.
he's not what you remember and love.
Yeah.
He's this
He's a
really
person.
complex human
Yeah.
who literally is just along the way making a whole bunch of dope shit for you. So love it. And I don't know, on some level it's like anything. You have to like accept it when it's being given and appreciate the fuck out of it because it's not yours to control.
Which is, I just wonder if it's something that people who don't create don't think about, because we talk about this all the time, and the idea that people will come, find our podcast, listen to it, not connect to it, and then take the time to tell us that they don't like it and why it's like, and it's
Yeah.
always for reasons that are like, you guys laugh too much, or
I have an
like,
interesting question.
you know, it's always silly things, and it's like, well, that's what we're doing. So if you
Yeah.
don't like it, just move on. There's plenty of things I come across that I don't love,
Yeah.
and I just
Yeah.
move
So how do you
on.
fit into that dichotomy of like choosing that and then also like A/B testing for what the people want, to become more popular or more approachable, or
It's a delicate.
you have a product that's on some
Yeah.
level you're making choices for the people,
Yeah,
for the
you're right.
audience.
It's not
So
Yeah.
which choices fall into that category
It's
and which
a-
choices fall out?
That's a great question. It's a delicate balance a lot of the time. It consumes so much of my thoughts. Like so much of my life is thinking about this.
Yeah, I feel you heavy.
Yeah, I think about that a lot.
Lots of time to think about other things.
Yeah, like so it's complicated. While those people do exist, we do get emails and whatever from people that are just like,
Shouts out the haters.
yeah, they're just haters basically.
Yeah.
And I
For
actually,
real.
fun anecdote, remember that time I made that hater apologize to us?
Yeah, I do. I actually thought about that
So-
earlier when we were walking to Andrew.
So one time we got
Good for you.
a message.
Like I'm a real person. Like, I'm a real person.
Well, she
like
just
what? Who do you think
responded.
you're
No,
fucking
This is
sending
what
this
I
to?
said. Okay, so
Yeah.
we got a hater on Facebook, and she messaged us, and she was
What was
like,
she mad about? It was
she was like, this was the general vibe of the message. She
Okay.
messaged us and she was like, I found you guys and I was like really excited because I thought there needs to be more of this, like more of the arts, like more, and then she went on this rant about how she's like, but then I was listening to an episode and then you went on like all these different directions and all these rants about like, I don't know, whatever, because we go on rants
Whatever we
about
felt like
whatever.
talking
I think she mentioned.
Fuck you.
We went on a rant.
Yeah, and she was like, and you were like, you were talking for like 10 minutes before the podcast even started about like what was going on in your lives, and and she just like was mad.
this, as you're saying this is making me so sad for this person.
I know, and she was like mad about it,
Yeah.
and then
Right.
she was like, and then and she even tried to like make us feel bad because she was like, I was gonna donate, and then
My
like,
gosh,
and
dude.
yeah, so the hardcore hater, right?
We don't want your money.
This
Yeah,
one
this
was
person-
a hug.
This person on the cusp of like, I was gonna, fund your whole. I was gonna pay for you.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
were
too
about
bad
to
you said
make
that
it.
one thing.
This sugar mama out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Big talker. Why don't you
Yeah.
donate first?
And,
Yeah.
and so she goes on this.
Well, we listed to donator suggestions.
Yeah.
We take all donations as a suggestion.
As
Yeah.
a Patreon comment, please.
And so she did. She went on this whole thing. Yeah, she even like kind of tried to hold that over her head, and she was like all kind of. I don't know. I think she was like middle aged, which we have a lot of middle aged listeners. Like
Yeah.
no, but that was just kind of where she
Shouts
was.
out at the end of
Um,
ageism.
Exactly.
Like we
It's a number.
love that shit for sure. But like she was a little bit more. I think she just wanted something a little bit more kind of conservative in that way, and so she went on this whole rant, and then I just messaged her back really quick, really succinct. I was like, I'm sorry that you didn't like our approach to things.
I love
but
that you responded.
I
Shouts out to
don't-
the
We
responders.
I
had
don't
mixed
usually.
feelings about responding.
I don't
Yeah,
usually,
we-
but this one I felt like I was like, I
Yeah.
got
It's sort of like giving them what they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't always, but this one I was like, I have something to say.
Hey,
So I
you know,
responded.
I'm a little lonely, and I stumbled upon your podcast, and I just kind of reached out on this whim. Like, can you respond
That
to
was
me?
the undertone of the message. I need a friend right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
she's a friend.
And I responded, and I was like, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it, or I don't even know if I didn't apologize. Actually, no, I did not apologize. I said I was just like, that's too bad that you didn't enjoy it. But what a lot of our listeners love is the laid back, casual conversation, and that's part of like what our base really
The
enjoys.
brand you're bringing,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, that's part of the show. And then I said, there are many other art history podcasts out there that are more straightforward. Maybe we're just not for you. And then I was,
Shouts out to the competition.
We love them. We've
Yeah.
had some. We've made
had
some friends.
yeah, we've had some good
Amazing.
experiences.
You guys better watch out.
Fraternizing with
Shouts out.
Energy has
End
been
of the
fun for us.
competition. End of competition.
Yeah, exactly. We're here to
What is
promote
Right?
each other.
Promote.
And we were like,
Collab.
I was like, there's many art history podcasts that are more what you seem to be looking for. And then I was just like, and then I said peace, and I meant it as like peace, but she took it as like peace be with you.
Yeah, peace. And peace.
And she
Yeah.
responded again.
And she responded again.
Oh,
She
shit.
came back the next day and she was like, "You're right. I'm sorry."
Oh.
She apologized. to me.
Oh!
She was like,
You literally caught her like, okay, I had a way tangential but similar experience today of like someone, I was like driving home in traffic. Sorry, it took me 3 hours to get here, guys. But I was driving in traffic home from work, and there was this person that like, we were all stuck in traffic waiting for this one light, and there was like merging lanes, blah, blah, blah. And this one car like, vermed, like I see them coming from my rear view, like cutting out a line and then going forward, and then like sitting there right next to me to like try and get back in line, like 2 cars forward. And I just kind of gave them a look like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. It's like, okay, I forgive you. Now what? Like, are you going to go back in line? Or are you still going to try and get
Where
front
are
of
we
me?
now?
Like,
What are we?
Yeah.
what are we? What is this?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, she apologized and she was like, you're right. Like I shouldn't have gotten mad that you weren't what I expected you to be. And I was like, I didn't respond again, but I was like, yeah, exactly. Like
Wow.
we live in a space where there's just so much content out there that I don't understand the idea of coming to something, realizing this isn't for me, and being like, they're wrong.
I'll kind of answer
Yeah.
that question
For
though.
creating
here's,
that.
Here's the customer's perspective on that. Is like, how many of the things you own are exactly like what you were looking for and wanted, and
Yeah.
like, although there are, we have this choice overload. Like the soulmate is out there. Your soulmate water bottle, your soulmate drink, your soulmate wine, like it's all out there. But
we
there's
know.
so many choices in the way of getting there, So like, fuck it, like I don't have to go find that. What if I just make this what I want?
Yeah.
Like this is so close. This has 9 out of the 10 things. Like, what if I just let them know? Like, if they just change this one thing, I'll feel so much better about that
Yeah.
product. And so there's that weird relationship you have with the customer
Well,
where it's like,
and that scenario that you're describing, we get that, and that's totally different when we get people that come to us respectful, like, I really like what you guys are doing, but I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
We get that, and we're
Which, like,
very open
That's
to
the
that.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
the more
Suggestion is
supportive you
totally-
are, almost the more critical you are, because you're like, I know how sick you are, and I just wanted to come across.
And like
And we
suggestions
read those.
is
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we have no problem getting like an email that's like, I really dig this, I loved this episode.
Or-
just an idea.
yeah, even on a different level, I love inspiration. If
Yeah,
something done,
exactly.
like, oh, I wish you were more conservative. Like,
But if
Not-
you're gonna
No,
Hashtag not
I think the
inspired,
lesson
but, like-
here, is to take that moment and throw the appreciation that you almost feel like is like a duh. I mean, obviously it was great, but say that part, because it's super easy. Like, we work together on so much stuff. We collaborate all the time, like music, setting this up, and it'll be like, we'll spend 2 hours like figuring out all this stuff, and I got all the drums linked and all the sounds. I'm like so excited to show that, and I'm like, dude, check this out, like. And you're like, and it'll be like, like, okay, like, you're good about it. But like the theoretical bad way to respond would be like, oh, dude,
Keep
like,
going.
Can you change that sound? And you'd be
Yeah.
like, and all of a sudden it's just everything,
Yeah, just deflated.
So it's like, fuck that. It's like, come on, like, you gotta say the appreciation. You gotta say the thing that you feel,
say
and then
acknowledge the effort. Acknowledge the effort.
Well, that's the best way to give any sort of criticism is prove that you actually are invested and that you actually took the time to think about it. And that's how you do it. It's like complimenting something.
Prove awareness on some level.
True.
Be like,
and
I get
recognize
it. What's valuable.
Yeah,
exactly.
But if you're gonna come at me and be like, this isn't what I wanted it to be, I don't
100%.
care.
Like,
Yeah.
you're like,
What?
you took the time. Like, do you do this to literally every podcast that you don't like? You're
Yeah,
saying,
like,
you know.
I kind of want to be like, well, thousands of people say it is what they want it to be,
Yeah.
so you
Exactly.
can step back.
Shouts
Like,
out fans.
Step back.
Like,
Hashtag step back.
Take a step.
yeah,
funny.
but yeah, exactly. But 100%.
20%.
20%.
No, like constructive criticism that comes from a place of just genuine interest. That's a completely different thing,
Yeah,
and
for
we
sure.
welcome
Yeah,
that
for sure.
And
Yeah.
I think any creative, worth anything welcomes that. You know,
Yeah.
like
100%.
they
You know-
want to hear
you
what
know-
people think.
It's really kind of just I don't know. It feels like to me just a reflection of like how our minds work. Like it's so easy just to like walk around life like be like, this burger's not what I want, and not think to yourself like, oh, it's pretty lucky I can like
Gratitude.
I can just
It's
like roll
all
up,
gratitude.
Yeah, I can just and pay $1 and get a whole.
But you
Cheeseburger.
acclimate to it or whatever. And
Yeah.
they said they were gonna hang out. Now like fuck, they want to reschedule for 3 days. Like it's busy as fuck. It's like, come on, like that person's down to hang or whatever. Like it's like it's fine, you know.
That reminds
Just
me
hang.
of my boy John Mulaney. I'm kind of obsessed with John.
I
Mulaney.
love John Mulaney.
Shouts out John
I love
Mulaney.
John
John Mulaney, I
Mulaney.
love you, dude. Come
I love
hang
you,
out with
dude.
the art history bit.
Oh my God,
John
stop.
Come hang.
Shut up.
I love John
Come
Mulaney
hang.
so
No.
much, but he has a bit where he's talking about how everything is like more available than ever, and we're ruder than ever now. It's like because everything's so fast and we have
Yeah.
everything on our phones, so
Yeah.
we're just kind of assholes because we just like expect
Gosh,
everything
it's too
right
right.
away
Yeah.
when we need it.
Yeah.
And so when the simplest thing isn't what we want it to be, we're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And he's right. Yeah, like we as a society, as millennials, like we need to like step back and recognize, like, I don't know, breathe and like not get worked up over those like little inconveniences, because it's it's just we're so used to getting everything so quick and so much of the time, like, exactly what we want when we want it, that it creates an expectation.
Yeah, it's created some sort of narrative that if you're not getting exactly what you want all the time, you're like some sort of fool, like you're doing something wrong
Yeah.
or you're being slighted,
so
and people get so
true.
defensive
Yeah.
and just like
It's
like
so
the
easy to feel like you don't have enough.
Yeah.
It's so easy to feel like this isn't enough.
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
Where's everything I need?
Yeah, like exactly.
Where's all this stuff that would make this all okay?
Yeah.
Because it's not
But this
okay.
could be so much better
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah,
for
exactly.
real.
Okay,
for
but I
real.
can definitely resonate with like why that feels real on a little bit is like this podcast, like we like are making it better every single like there's like we are exacting positive change on the future of this through actionable change,
Yeah.
And so like there's definitely a level of control and manipulation that is powerful to us.
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's same here. I mean, every day we're trying to like grow and change and be better and be more and be something different than what we started as. Because if you're, it's so cheesy, like you're not
I'm with you.
growing, you're dying.
But also like
Whoa.
when we have
Whoa!
and just to give
I
credit
never
to
thought of
our thousands of listeners who like are super supportive
Right.
and who
So
have
dope.
let us grow and
Hey.
not said anything negative and have just like been along for the ride of us learning how
Let
to
me grow.
sound edit
Let me grow.
and,
Yeah.
because growing is living.
For all those people
Let me
on
live.
board.
and how to giggle outside of the microphone and all of those things. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's a good lesson to learn to just not be negative in any instance. And look for gratitude because it's always there.
Right.
Like, there's always something.
For
and
real.
it's so easy to be a critic and to be an asshole critic. And it's just not interesting ananymore.
And it's also
It's so
so
dumb.
much of the time those critics
Agreed.
aren't doing
Exactly. They're not
You know,
making anything.
because
They're not making shit.
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
like your ideas are worthless. Sorry about it.
Was this your
That's where
idea?
I was going.
Yeah,
But
like-
okay.
I don't know. It
Oh
just-
wait, this is your idea?
But I mean, it's just from the perspective of energy and like expenditure of energy. Like when we've had this conversation multiple times.
Yeah.
When I think about the concept of taking the time to write a negative iTunes review, like I don't like this, they don't know anything, like that takes time and energy that I don't have.
The first one
Like,
I got
I
was
don't-
so good. It was
I
like
don't have any I don't know, I would rather spend my time working on shit I do care about than
Yeah.
taking time to tear someone else down because I just don't like what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah. And they're always super uncreative, the negative.
Okay, but here's my devil's advocate here on this one.
Please,
is protest. Like protesting is a way to get people who aren't listening to you, who also disagree with you, to
Yeah.
listen to you.
Protesting, all on board. Negative,
that's
iTunes
Shouts
reviews.
out teacher strike.
Yeah, that's the next level shit though. That's like protesting for something important is way different than writing a negative iTunes review.
Define
Exactly.
important. I don't know.
It has more effect.
Because like the
But
the
like
protest,
the potential energy that your podcast holds is as great as a protest or revolt could hold. You know, like you could change. Like,
that's kind of you to say. I don't know.
but like yeah, you're welcome.
You're
It's
giving
true.
us a lot of.
what made you decide to become a revolutionary?
At what point?
Yeah.
All right, but like Andy Warhol, you know, is
Oh, we're
as
taking it to Andy.
is
all right.
as big as any protest
For sure.
I've been witness to.
Yeah.
That's
And,
fair.
and
yeah.
so
And
the
I
idea-
certainly would have torn him down on iTunes.
yeah, the idea of me being a little bit of the part of the message Andy Warhol brings is at least, you know, tantalizing to like reach out to him and be like, hey, like, what if, you know, you're missing this part of the puzzle? What if this is the
But what
the
you're
last variable
describing
of the
is
equation?
different than being a hater. What
Okay,
you're
but-
describing is
Right.
a suggestion.
I'm
Like-
saying hate is a misinformed suggestion or is a you know a
For sure.
Yeah.
miseducated suggestion.
But it's like
Okay.
misinformed from the source, which is the problem. It's like I always look at things like that as
Well,
such
right,
a
but
reflection
that
on the
could be-
person more so than whatever they're saying.
Yeah,
Usually when
big
I'll
someone's
take
coming
that. I'll
at
take
it,
that one more
Big
though. I'll say
time.
it's a reflection on the society because like you
It
know that
can
person
be.
didn't create
Definitely.
themselves like as much as we didn't create ourselves. Like there's so much to that person, you know, like and so it's weirdly our
Yeah, okay,
obligation as a society. If we're doing things for us as a we, then it's our obligation to take note of who we are and what we want, and that includes all of us, you know, on some
Stop
level.
putting the responsibility back on us.
Well, that's
No,
the
you're
thing, like,
right.
we
You're
are
convincing me.
to give ourselves this pedestal and this
Yeah.
chair.
We
of
love our
importance, like,
haters.
Accepting
You
responsibility.
have to love the haters,
Yeah.
and
all right, there
I
are
don't know if you have
haters,
to love them, but
but they
you don't
are
have to lo-
ours.
You don't have to
They're your
like
haters.
them,
Okay,
but you have to
facts.
love them.
Facts. I like that. They're your haters.
Yeah,
You know? Like
but-
that's
That's real,
Hey,
that's real,
hey,
that's
yeah.
real.
No, exactly. Like the most hate. Like, yo, we get the most hate. Like that's
Like,
almost
yeah,
like a
that's
brag.
like-
yeah, it kind of is.
That's like saying thank
Actually,
you.
I
That's
did.
a weird way to say
oh,
thank
man,
you.
I just had a flashback. I like got kind of stoked the first time we got hate. I did.
Our first one was funny though.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I've
like-
been sitting here
Still.
jealous.
Hate makes you
I've
feel
been sitting here jealous. I wish we had haters.
How much
Where
hate-
the fuck are our haters?
How does hate make you
Any
feel?
art history based
Good.
haters, please
Yeah,
hop over
please.
to the
We're
blog.
looking for haters. If you hate us, subscribe to the boys. Leave a comment.
We'll take
Hit that
we
dislike
take
button.
any and all suggestions. Please tell us
And-
what
and
we need to do.
To go a little farther with that, because I low key got excited the first time I got hate, and while it does have, you know, there's varying feelings, kind of going off of what you guys are saying, there is this element of feeling like going back to that idea of like, to take the time to write an iTunes review or whatever about something you don't like, that's an expenditure of energy. And the fact that anyone wanted to expend their energy
Yeah.
on me, even if
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was in a negative way,
Yeah,
is
exactly.
still powerful.
In the same way
Exactly.
that you're expecting appreciation first, you should give it first. You know.
Yeah, and it's so yeah. I mean, and like I don't know, we get a ton of really positive,
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
and that of course like
That's the
gets us
tough part too. Like
excited.
you gotta focus on the extreme, unfortunately, because
I'm so
Burn this
hungry.
For real, real.
Never wearing this
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
No, we've had endless streams of comments from people that are like, oh my god, like they're so intelligent and so smart and so funny. Like I'm an art historian and I learned so
Yeah.
much. Like so many comments like that. And then we get one, which is probably my favorite because it's funny. Someone literally said they know nothing.
Just straight up, like,
They know nothing.
next.
They didn't learn how to speak. Don't even know how to walk.
Like, they know
Feeds
nothing.
these girls.
Sitting there
Who
like,
feeds
they
these
know
girls?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Exactly.
And despite the fact that we have endless amounts of people
Despite the
talking
fact we're
about-
responding to you on email,
Yeah.
on keyboard, how we know how to type on.
it still sticks
We'll give way to
out.
this absolute statement of knowing nothing.
Knowing nothing,
Oh.
it still sticks out. And even though
So
we
funny.
joke, like we laugh about it, but it still sticks out. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
And
100%. Like
it's like, whatever.
Tammy, who's your biggest fan, you know, like is out there like sending you all the loves and hearts.
Tam
and
Tam?
she
Shout
just, like,
out, Tammy.
She
Tam
fades,
Tam.
you know, like Instagram Live. She's just one of the hearts floating up, and that's
Yeah.
it. But she cares, you know. Like,
Exactly.
why
We
don't
love
Why
our
don't the
Tammy.
lovers get their spotlight?
Exactly. Like,
They
Love
do.
them.
We should say we actually do
We're
have.
good about that.
We have listeners who are patrons or email us
Ooh,
or
okay,
whatever that
patrons
we
definitely
actually
deserve
like.
some
But we
spotlight.
call by like first names. Like
Yeah,
there are
we call
people that we
people out.
don't know.
Oh.
We absolutely do not know them. Don't know what they
Yeah.
look like. Couldn't pick them out. They're Tam Tams.
Tam.
Wow.
But we
We love
know and we talk about them.
Yeah.
That's so
Tons of
cool.
Tams.
And we
Yeah.
try to connect on social media as much as we can. We try to do, like, even just so, an example, we did a weekend in San Francisco, and a dope listener, Jessica, shout out Jessica,
Fuck yeah.
she hooked us up with, like, tickets to exhibitions, and we did
Like
a
a
vlog.
ton of free tickets.
Wow.
A ton of free
Wow.
shit.
This is
Wow.
crazy, like the Lady Gaga effect. Like all of her monsters, like she's
Yeah, it's
so
that.
good with her
it's
fans.
that,
Yeah.
and we did a vlog, and and also we met her, and she was sweet and awesome too.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like she was just a cool person
Yeah.
who wanted to hook us up, and we did
Hook
a
it up.
vlog, and like on the vlog we're like, shout out Jessica. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just like a constant, like if you take the time to really reach out to us and try to connect with us, we do our best.
Or
to
like
connect
even
back.
in as a funny like intro to a section we have is like, yeah, like the things that are paramount, like changing my life, like I do want to give a quick like shout out, like
Yeah.
dude, thank you, like
Yeah.
thank you so much for being a positive impact.
Because that's
on
the
my
truth.
life.
Like the truth is like you can have people not fuck with you all day, but the second you have like a Jennifer or something who comes out of the woodwork and goes
Tammy.
Tam
Tam.
the second you get a Tam who shows up and goes like, yo, like I fuck with this, like
Yeah.
I literally like this a lot, like I like you guys, like I watch this, I feel good, like I like look forward to the episodes,
Yeah.
like the idea that what you did, like the art that you made.
It's
yeah, exactly.
unbelievable. It's
Haters make
unbelievable.
you focus, like you're like, well, yeah, but I'm doing this right now, you know.
Yeah.
But like the lovers are like, we've come so far.
Yeah,
It's-
We've done
it's an
so
unbelievable
much.
feeling.
Yeah.
Well, and
It
we're
really is.
lovers and ingesters of podcasts, so we get it. Like we have
Yeah.
podcasts that we connect to and nerd out about. I have podcasts
You
that
reach
I've
out at all to
gone.
them?
I've
We
messaged
actually-
podcasters. I've written reviews for podcasts I
Wow.
love. Like
Shout some out.
Do you
We
feel?
got,
Do you feel the response?
yeah, and they've responded to me and
Wow,
like been
awesome.
very cool, and it's been a
Huge.
overall positive experience.
When they respond, it's like you're more invested in the podcast.
Totally,
Oh,
which is
definitely.
so. It's funny because like I could flip that. Like it is what we are doing. It's the same exact situation, but it feels different when I'm on the other side of it, and it
Yeah.
completely feels different.
Yeah.
We
It's-
we got
I
followed.
love so many musicians. Like I would be so crazy to see me in the room.
Yeah,
with them.
Yeah.
and then like someone fanning over you, you're like, oh, geez, like you
So
freak
weird.
out and you.
Yeah,
It's so
like,
great.
what's
like,
happening?
And weird
Yeah.
in the best way. Like,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
it's- for
exactly.
us, it's
I'm
like,
looking for that
what?
hit.
It's a good feeling.
Shouts out today.
But a
Yeah.
weird feeling. Like you're like, what? Like this means that much to you? Like it puts it all in perspective and makes all the work we do.
Exactly.
worth
Like it almost like all of a sudden
yeah.
like you want to know why does this mean so much to you?
Yeah.
Like fill me in on what parts matter.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing about podcasting is it's such a reflection of us and our personalities that more often than not, than when we meet people, it's easy and like quick. The chemistry happens fast
Yeah.
because
They
if
know
if they
about
get
us
us,
and
they
our
know
lives.
us. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
really
And like anyone who's gonna take a podcast on their shoulders likes to talk.
Exactly. And like anyone who's that invested in us knows what we like to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
And they're on board.
Yeah.
And they're ready to talk about
Yeah.
it too.
That's
So
so
like
fire.
it's
Talkers or
weirdly
listeners
easy.
though?
Yeah.
Do they like to
Yeah,
talk or
exactly.
do they like to listen?
Big time.
Definitely.
Shout Shouts
Yeah.
out fans.
How do you get
Okay.
something to talk about?
Oh, fans.
We love them.
Love
Yeah, we
'em.
love them.
Really love them.
All right, you guys. I want
You
to play.
got, first of all, shouts
wanna-
out some right here. Fans.
I want to play a small
Thanks,
game. I
guys.
want to play a small game called Brainchild.
Oh,
And
Are we
Man.
birthing?
the
Woo.
the
Brainchild, where birth happens.
yeah. So with Brainchild, the concept is you pick two artists that. Hold on, let me see how I wrote it down.
Ooh.
If you could have any two artists across space and time collaborate, who would it be, and what would that collaboration look like?
Oh my god, this is so
This
fun.
is so hard. Oh wow. Okay, two artists.
Yeah, you could have multiple brain children. So if you go, oh, these two would be funny. Oh, these two would be funny. That's fine.
Oh
But
man.
it's about the pairing.
But it's
Yeah.
it's really about the pairing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why they would collab together.
Mm-hmm.
Pairing's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, treat it like a wine and dinner. You know,
It's tricky though. I'm thinking about it myself. I'm like, God, it's a hard one.
That's a hard
It's
one.
incredibly hard.
Okay. Elon Musk.
Oh shit,
And,
I love it.
And Steve Jobs.
Oh, that would just be like tech. Go.
And
I feel like that'd be
Are
too
we
much
creating a
tech,
new
though.
dimension? What
Yeah.
are we
a lot of
inventing here?
exactly.
shouts out New
Yeah,
Dimensions.
the new invent. Yeah, exactly.
I
That's what
need-
they
I don't know,
invent.
I need
Fifth
some
dimension,
like
sixth
humanity
dimension.
in there. I need like there's
I
too much
agree.
tech.
I agree. That's like
Oh.
I'm gonna take a bunch of cheese and add more cheese to it.
okay.
Fair, fair. Yeah.
You got
But-
some
but here's-
macaroni.
Where's the macaroni?
You
at?
use the macaroni.
It's making me think of, It's Always Sunny.
Oh, the
Mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mac's famous mac and
Mac-
cheese.
Lil
Oh.
Uzi Vert
Okay.
Ooh, good
and
one.
And Elon Musk.
Tupac.
And Elon Musk. No,
Lil
I
Uzi
like
Vert
Lil Uzi Vert.
and-
And
Elon Musk.
and Elon Musk. That's like
Okay,
hilarious.
they would just invent a purple Tesla. That would be their brainchild.
yeah.
Because like if you go Uzi Vert and Tupac, you're still doing two rappers. Like, you
Yeah,
gotta do-
exactly.
you gotta
I'm with
do
you on the like
something.
contrast
Yeah,
vibe.
You need
okay,
to
okay.
juxtapose
You
Ben.
need to
Yeah, yeah,
juxtapose,
yeah.
I'm working on it. Okay.
No, I like
We're helping
Uzi
you
Vert
workshop.
and Elon Musk. Or no,
Bunch of
It's just a
haters.
funny
actually,
one.
I think Uzi Vert and Steve
Supporters.
Jobs I like better.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Elon Musk. Because the funny thing is, I think Elon Musk and Lil Uzi Vert could actually be friends. Like, is he
Yeah,
dating
dude.
Grimes or
Yeah.
whatever? It's like he fucks with Lil Uzi, and definitely Lil Uzi fucking drives a Tesla. Like, there's no
bro.
doubt. Like,
Okay, a little closer.
yo,
a
we
little
should have them
closer.
both on the podcast.
A little closer. Yeah, shouts out if you can get Elon and Lil Uzi.
Exactly.
On our
If any
podcast.
of our followers.
He's so
We'll be your
good.
biggest fans.
I had one friend who worked at SpaceX in the past.
Oh,
Maybe.
yeah.
So maybe I can
Possible
get
connection.
you.
Oh, okay.
Well, I can't wait to hear what you come back to us with.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see how that develops.
Tell him Wednesday works for us.
Wednesdays? I think Wednesdays are good for
Okay,
Elon,
all right,
too.
all right.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tell him 5:30 to 8's only what works for me.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
I'll
that's not-
pencil
that
him
doesn't work
in.
for him. No,
Oh,
that's,
God,
he's
that's
busy
so
at that
good.
time.
Ooh,
That's so good.
how could you?
Oh,
All right, let's get a few more. I think we got a few more in us.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're talking artists. It doesn't have to be visual.
And
artists, it
literally
can be
any
like-
two people.
All
Like,
right.
we're talking
Oh,
people,
oh,
brands.
shit.
That opens it.
That opens
Yeah.
it up so much. Oh,
Good luck.
you guys. This is overwhelming for me. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Wait, you guys. I'm gonna let you guys hang.
We're hanging. It's just us now. It's
So
just-
tell me,
what's up? What are you about? What's your deal?
what's my deal? What have I been up to?
Yeah. What have you been up to lately?
I've been up to this podcast as fuck
It's
for
dope.
sure. Like setting
Dope.
this up. Like a quick shout out to separating the desks for all those people at home trying to recreate this process. If you give yourself a little space, like a 1-inch crack in between the desk, it is gonna look immensely better than if you had all the cords on the side or all the cords like literally on top of the table or like running around. Like we tried both, they suck. Just open it up. Well, okay, you want to know what the inspiration for this was?
Yes, I would love to.
My ideal floor is one where it's like bamboo. Okay, it's like Japanese dojo inspired is kind of where this comes from because they have like slits of wood and then it's just like literally earth under. So I had like a slits of wood, holes in the ground, or like wood space, and then under it there was like this weird vacuum. So like your floor, you would never have to sweep your floor because it would all fall into those little crevices, and then at night it would close up and vacuum suck all of the dust or whatever from the floor. From
All
under the
right.
floor.
Is this your invention?
Give
This
me
is
some of whatever
this
that
is my inspiration. Okay, here's back to the Aperol. I think
Have we been
I
mixing?
did.
we
I
figure
mixed.
this
is it
out?
I
good?
tried it. I tried
Yeah.
it. I think I added a little bit too much. I say just a spritz of it.
Okay.
Fritz.
Sweetens it
Pretty
up,
good
kind of
straight,
nice.
too,
Fritz
so.
it.
All right, we'll
It is good straight.
We were talking about floors.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was actually talking about this table.
and then
And what
floors.
and having the space in between the table being anyone at home trying to do their own podcast, video podcast, you need everything. Don't forget you need everything.
You need a few things.
I mean, that's just solid
Or
advice.
if you ask
Yeah.
us, you need near
You
to
really
nothing.
can't argue with that.
If you're really interested, DM me. I'll make sure you get all the info. But
Slide
right
it
now,
in
I
those
think
DMs.
I've
Yeah.
got my brainchild.
Exactly.
okay, I'm ready.
Um,
I'm ready.
FK Twigs
Oh.
and
Okay.
Artemisia Gentileschi.
Oh.
All right. Who's the second one? Who's the second one? Who is that?
She is a Renaissance artist. Look her up. Look her up right now.
All right.
Okay.
Baroque?
I didn't
Yeah,
hear what you
Baroque.
said.
She's more Baroque. Okay.
Say it again.
A-R
We know
T-
how to spell this really well.
E-M-I-S-I.
Some pictures
Yeah,
or
go to images.
Wikipedia?
Judas slaying Holofernes would be good.
Let me make sure the fans at home are getting this.
Yeah, get him Judas slaying Holofernes. I always pronounce it right. Holofernes?
It's the
Holofernes?
second line on the far
Hella
left.
Fernies.
Holofernes.
That reminds me of like Feenies.
420.
yeah.
Hella Feenies?
Getting some images in there. So just badass artists from the Baroque where like there was like almost no women artists and she was just killing it. And was a badass business babe. She did amazing work and a lot of it's really dark and dope. Like
So that one, the second row, far left. Hit that one, Ben.
yeah, that one right there.
Okay, I think I've seen this one.
That's
This
such
one's
a
intense.
classic,
This is-
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
yeah. This is
Yeah, the
Judas
the-
beheading Holofernes.
Yeah, the rape, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Isn't that something to do with that
yeah,
or something
it
like
does.
that?
It does.
That's the thing about paintings like this is past a certain point in time.
I mean, could you
they're
guys
made up?
Could
the
you guys?
titles.
Okay, I feel you. But okay, I used to think about this. I used to think about like, okay, why is so much like classical art? Like, why does it have this huge history of these like, Brutus and like all of these like famous like paintings of
Like
like,
the violence?
a death, like the assassination of this person, whatever. And I was thinking, you know, how crazy would that be? Like, let's say, like, God forbid, something happened to a really public figure. Everyone would make
I get
art
what
about
you're
it.
saying,
Yeah.
A lot of it, you know.
yeah, for real.
And do,
for
and
real.
it has happened actually. Like whatever, like
Yeah.
the amount of Lil Peep art or whatever.
Wow, yeah.
Rest in peace.
Oh,
It's like the modern equivalent, you could argue.
that's a really interesting example.
Or
that
even
I
like
never would've
even
thought
even
about.
not in like mortality, like Obama, like the change poster was like super like art, you know,
Just,
like
like,
an art.
You're right. That's
Yeah.
definitely like gonna be a sort of timeless piece. It's gonna be in a
for sure,
museum.
for sure.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so I don't know. It's just a badass. We have a whole episode about her. Y'all should go listen to it.
Yeah.
Shouts out.
Shouts out.
Well, and the whole idea too of like classical paintings and classical themes is like themes that are universal and that can come up again and again and fit different scenarios. So I don't want to go too far into her story, but like this storyline and scene comes up a lot in her work for apparent reasons. Like
She was raped.
Yeah.
Like so she a lot of times her work is read in relation to the story of her life and like what she experienced and this is and that's not necessarily the right way to always go about it. but
Exactly.
That's what
For
happens.
sure.
Yeah.
People respond to the same influence differently.
When we talk
yeah.
about like, well, first of all, at this point in time, the conception of like what rape wasn't the same as it is now for
Yeah.
us. Like
It's
people
just
just didn't
different.
think
Yeah.
about sex. Like it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
They had no way to
I
think
love that
about
art
the
gives
self.
us this context for
and-
understanding.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is that the art doesn't, but like it's like responsible art historianism. I just made up that word.
Art historianism.
Choose to make up
Responsible
words.
art historian.
Yeah.
but-
Listen close, Webster.
But realizing that like
Are we
there's
conservative enough
historical
for you yet?
differences and like you can't put your 2019 view on a 17th century artists didn't expect it to align or expect to understand how they felt.
Yeah.
Or any, it's just not the same.
You
And
can't.
you're not
You
doing a
can't.
service to do that.
Yeah.
You're not, there's been a lot of like feminism art history that's been placed on it, and while some of it is valuable, a lot of it's just
I think
missing
it's a
the
mix
mark.
of both. Like, I feel like I've always felt like because this image has become really popular in really like mainstream feminism.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like, I don't think it's wrong to read this image in that way. Like, it was an experience she had, and she probably had contentious issues with men, and like, it's not wrong to read it that way, but it's wrong to read it only that way, and to not take a step back
Or-
and think about.
It's wrong to read it that way, like you think you're coming from Artemisia's
Yeah,
perspective.
exactly,
It's okay to read it
exactly.
that way from your perspective.
Yeah, I also think it's wrong to just assume that like this represents everything the artist felt and thought. Like
Exactly.
it doesn't.
And
It's
They
not
painted
fair to
it.
expect from art.
From
Like,
Yeah,
artists,
it's not.
exactly.
That's why we were talking about earlier. Like the long form's nice because like fuck it, I say wrong shit all the time. Like
Yeah.
I wish like every word out of my mouth was like exactly what I thought, but it's
No.
not. Let alone the music I make or the shit.
yeah.
I'm
No.
not a painter, but I assume it's the same thing.
Yeah,
No, it
definitely,
is.
definitely. So yeah, this image, but regardless, it's a badass image of
Yeah,
a
amazing.
for
scene
sure.
of a badass woman like getting shit done and like protecting people by murdering this dude.
And just like the way he's like pushing up at her, and she's like still, and like the force of the like in the expression.
Once again,
it's so good.
yeah,
It's so good.
Once
she
again,
does
the
not
expression.
give a fuck.
Yeah!
She does not give a fuck.
No.
Except they're like slightly inconvenienced by the
It
amount
almost
of,
looks like she's literally like
strength this is taking.
Yeah.
like the woman on top literally is not even looking.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like,
She's
just fucking let it happen, man.
Just fucking do it. Yeah. So the
This was
amount.
the original Just Let It Happen.
Yeah, the amount of I don't give a fuck in this painting
Yeah.
is incredible. Like, and it's dark, and yeah, once again we have that like darkness versus lightness, that contrast, that chiaroscuro. I can never pronounce that word.
Chiaroscuro.
Right. Yeah, there we go. In
Chiaroscuro.
Italian, chiaroscuro. There we go. That's better. Yeah, like so you have. Very similar to what I was talking about, I think, with Lucretia. Like, you have this intense, badass thing that's happening. And, like, if you know the whole story, like, it's for the protection of people, too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a heroic
Holofernes
act.
was a dick.
Yeah, Holofernes is an asshole. So it's like, this is a great scene. This is awesome. It's like lady power all the way. And then, and Artemisia is just an absolute badass. If you don't know her, you need to look into her, listen to her podcast episode. But yeah, and then I'd pair that with the contemporary, like, my number one, like, girl crush, FKA Twigs. Like, I think they could come up with some weird, cool shit together. Like, dark, weird, cool shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, FK Twigs is so lit.
I love her so
So
much.
cool.
So that's my answer. Now you gotta come up
I
with
know,
one,
right?
Nat.
Well, I got my first part because I got to go with my classic Bobby D.
That's good. That's
And
a
now
good
I'm
move.
just trying to decide who
Bobby
I
D.
want to.
Bobby Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Ooh, Bobby D.
My
Bobby D.
boy.
That's good.
A quick BD.
He's my boy. I think.
I feel like anything you're gonna say is gonna be good. He's a good one to match
Exactly,
people with.
like-
Yeah.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, I want to go visual, but I keep kind of like thinking. I don't know what.
It's hard to escape like the genre or whatever. Like, Joni Mitchell. It's like
just personally, you saying that, it'd be a fun one. Bob Dylan and Tom Kiefer.
I thought
no,
about
it's
it.
like,
Oh,
I
trust
think
me,
like,
I
it's
went
like,
over
it's
it.
like Bob Dylan, Jackson Pollock.
Oh yeah,
They're
Jackson
both
Pollock,
kind of at their prime at the
and-
same time.
Yeah.
So there's
20th
something about that, I
century,
guess. Yeah.
There's definitely overlap in timeline there.
Okay.
I don't know though.
Bobby D and who else? Who you gonna give us?
I
Who you gonna
I
call?
would rather go Bobby D like Robert Smithson and go something more earthen and do like.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I was thinking about Robert Smithson.
I
I'm
think
glad
Robert
you brought him
Smithson.
up.
Okay,
Okay,
so you guys
okay,
are
who
super
is he?
telepathic.
Let's
This
pull
is
him
awesome.
up.
We are. We have been on the
You guys are
same
both
page,
like,
though.
we're like, what superpower do you want? And you're like, mind reading.
We
Same
look at each other
time.
just
It's
like,
like,
what?
yeah, exactly. I was like,
What powers do we already have?
Yeah, exactly. Which one would we hate to lose?
So look up. This is also
This
like
stuff's
one of
cool.
my favorite works ever. Look up
Okay.
Spiral Jetty. It's in Utah.
Ooh, dude, I feel like Bob Dylan, MC Escher.
Ooh, that's
Kind
kind
of
of
an
fun.
interesting one, maybe?
That's kind
Bob
of
Dylan
fun.
to anyone.
Because they're
is
both
deep
kind of
fun.
rebellious, like sort of fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spiral
what you need.
Jetty.
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 Yep. TTY. It's in Utah.
You guys will like this.
It's like
Okay,
one of my
okay.
favorite things
How
on
sick
the
are you
planet.
guys of me telling you you're gonna like things?
Not
at all.
Not at all. Definitely.
20 times. Like,
Just-
you're
just-
gonna like this.
Just settling in.
So we did an episode. It was just me and Nat. We did an episode on Spiral Jetty. I legit cried during it.
God,
Okay, wait.
give us some highlights.
Robert
Come on,
Smithson.
take us there.
I love this work. And yeah, Robert Smithson's legit. I'm so glad he's getting recognition on this podcast.
Tell us a little bit about him leading into the work. Do you know much?
Holy shit. He
They
reminds
know
me,
nothing.
He reminds me
like,
of another.
They
He
know
reminds me of another like.
They know nothing.
They know nothing.
That's so good.
So, like,
we can
this-
we could title the episode of this podcast.
They are
Boys
history
Know
babes.
Nothing.
They know nothing.
They know nothing. That should be like a new hashtag. We should
Well,
make
it's like the whole
merch.
Jon
Like,
Snow.
they know
I like that
nothing.
merch. I would definitely wear that merch.
They
Like,
know
they know
nothing.
nothing.
We
Wait, what's our
should.
new merch that we're gonna do? Jeff Koons can suck my butt.
I'd be okay with Jeff Koons licking my butt.
Yeah.
I like suck my butt. That's hilarious.
Our friend commented that on the Broads, some sort of social media,
Oh, that's
and they deleted
hilarious.
it. And
They
so she
deleted
posted
it.
it,
They
being like, they
deleted
deleted
it.
my comment, and so now
Oh.
that's our joke. Is she?
I can't believe they deleted
I
it.
know.
Which
That is
Jeff
no
Koons
bueno,
can suck my
broad.
butt.
It's like, come on, like we're all about freedom of expression, like
Yeah.
except for you.
Exactly. And
What,
she
like-
said, "Suck my butt." Like it's the
Yeah,
most like PG
exactly.
insult.
This isn't art. This is art, not commentary on life.
Yeah.
How dare you have an opinion?
But what if
Gosh,
we did
this
start to take our
shot-
haters shit and put it on merch? Like I feel like that'd, be such a
really
baller
funny.
move.
For
They
sure.
know
Like,
nothing.
that would be legit.
It's so
Wait,
badass.
they would
It's
hate
like,
the merch.
it's like
What was the one we got?
Or would they love the merch? Like, I
Jenna-
made it.
I
no,
did
like
it.
they would
I did
hate
too.
it a lot.
Yeah, they would
Word.
hate it
And they
so
would
much.
hate your show, and they'd hate you at backstage passes.
And then we should send them a free merch shirt with whatever they
Yeah.
said
Oh,
as
so
their
good.
gift.
Yeah.
Okay,
Worthy.
Spiral Jetty though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we-
Spiral Jetty.
Okay, thank you.
So this work is in Utah. I have an affinity for Utah. I lived there for a minute, so I'm like very
That's a really cool
Connected
picture you
with
found.
That's
it.
beautiful.
Damn.
I know, like, is this, you're talking about this one?
yeah.
I like how like the land sort of clearly just ends.
It moves into the Salt Lake, Great Salt Lake in Utah.
Wow.
It was made in the 70s. And interestingly, so it was made in the 70s, 2 years after it was made. The water levels rose, so they increased so much that the entire work was covered by water for 30 years. It was covered by water for 30 years, and then it started to recede again in like 2003.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And
That's
is it back?
cool.
Now we can,
Yes.
is it there? We can
Yes,
see
I
it.
saw
30
it
years it was
in-
gone. Resurrection.
Yeah, it came back through. I
Oh
want to
my
in 2003.
gosh, that is
The
crazy.
comeback tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Spiral
in,
Jetty returns.
Hashtag global warming is real.
For real. I saw it in 2015. I went out there. It's in the middle of nowhere. You have to like drive down like some shady ass roads and shit to get there. But it's like at a.
This road is shady.
We like almost got stuck in like some weird rocks and shit. So like
Are we in Utah?
it's like it takes a minute
Didn't
to
you
get out
say
there.
it's like a 45-minute drive?
Yeah,
too?
it's like an hour outside of Salt Lake City. And yeah, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It was chosen specifically in an area that was kind of a deserted like industrial landscape. So there's all this like old like kind of like industrial shit around, which makes it even weirder and cooler. But yeah, it's this huge landform.
That's
You
interesting.
can go out
This
on
aesthetic, you don't see that. You don't see the
yeah. It's
wasteland
It's a
or-
little
or
farther off.
the barrenness
to
of it.
the left, my left.
And
It kind of just looks like it's off the freeway.
if you keep looking, like it looks so different from all the different angles.
Every
and, like,
angle
yeah.
looks so different.
Is
And it
there
looks
one we can
different.
find? Yeah, there's where someone's standing on it. That one's
Wow.
good down there.
It's like living.
To give you an idea of like how big the rocks
Yeah.
actually are.
I have some pictures from.
It's like
Oh, look,
so
a little like
strange.
engagement shoot.
Aw.
Yeah, you
Like, I'm
can-
surprised they're not doing like the holding hand like
Yeah.
photo.
Oh yeah, the from behind.
If I probably will never get engagement photos, but if I did, I'd
Is
do
that
it
a
at
dog
fucking Spiral
Where?
Jetty.
Where?
Is that a-
yes.
Yeah. Hey, that's where he
Shouts
put
out-
his knee down.
Where'd he go?
There he is.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh, he looks super uncomfortable.
Those are the haters.
This art
Right there.
is shit. That's
So
probably.
I don't like
Yeah.
this. How do
Yeah.
I show you? Literally shit all over it.
I
He's
don't
just
like,
like he
I
can't
don't
even
like
see
this
it.
because I have to shit.
Yeah.
It's exactly the thought process of a
Just
hater.
convenience.
Of the hater.
But yeah, so like it's out in the middle of nowhere. You can walk out on it. You can walk out into it, and it changes. It has changed throughout time depending on the level of water. When we were out there in 2015, the water was so far receded, and it was in the middle of winter. So we went out there, and like for a long ass time afterwards, it's just salt flats because
Wow.
it's the Salt Lake, you know. So like salt flats, and they the Salt Lake, the Great Salt Lake is known for it has a certain algae that creates like a red effect in the salt flats. So there's this dope ass thing like jetting out, and then for a long ass time afterwards, you just have these salt flats with this like red tint to them. It's just the dopest place. It's so sick, dude, and it's creepy and weird, but like beautiful.
Interesting.
It's so cool. It's so cool. One of my favorite things on the planet, like
Wow.
no doubt.
Okay, just real quick, this little spiral jetty race game is kind of interesting.
Is that like a board game?
All you
Yeah.
need is a dice and 2 players.
We gotta play this sometime.
This is hilarious.
100%.
I have a Bob Ross board game we can play
Oh,
too. We
nice.
could just do Art History Babes game
I'll
night.
just take a quick screenshot and send
We'll
it to you
vlog
guys.
that shit.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's live. You can check the stream.
There
if
we
you need
go.
to-
Didn't we do the Bob Ross drinking game?
Yeah, but didn't we lose all of that footage?
I think
you
we
still
still
have that footage.
We probably still have it. We just didn't do anything.
You need to
with
give it to me. I am
know.
gonna
I'll
make a
look.
video out
I
of
know.
that.
If I still have it, I will for sure give it to you.
Where's the footage? Footage that didn't happen.
Yeah, we got wasted. Like,
We
got
did.
really drunk playing that game, and I really want to watch that footage. That was
Cheers.
goofy. Word. Cheers.
Being Bob Ross's hype man.
Yeah, we
Hype
are.
women.
It's another episode I cried during. With Bob Ross.
I've yet to cry during an episode.
I'm an emotional person.
Tonight could be the night.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and make you cry.
Yeah.
That's what
I
you
get
want to hear
this?
before every podcast.
Can I get this dude I just meant to cry?
Challenge
Triggers.
accepted.
He can already tell I'm on the hate train.
dip into some deep high school wounds?
Oh.
No.
Remember when you
Go
sucked?
Let's go deep. Let's go deep.
You mean all of them?
Yeah. No, I'm just a very emotional person, and I'm like,
What?
I like to express it, like, so I'm a super emotional person, but I'm only comfortable in expressing it in certain ways, and expressing it through my appreciation for art is a way I'm very comfortable being
Yeah.
emotional. Like,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable
out.
crying about art because
You're right. That's so important. Like I can get so passionate about art, and it's not weird. I feel like
Yeah.
all about like
Yeah,
I
what
love
a-
you so much. You
Yeah.
represent
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
What
Like,
a comfortable way for me to be vulnerable is so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's what that's 100% what it is for me, because there's definitely ways I'm not comfortable being vulnerable, and I will fucking push that shit down. But that is a way that I'm very comfortable.
And,
Yeah.
and there's overcoming too, you know, like with being on a mic was so uncomfortable for me at first, you
Yep.
know, and then now it's
All
like
of it.
so like all of a sudden I can't wait to tell the world what I can't tell anyone around me.
yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
tell everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I'd way rather tell everyone
Yeah.
than anyone.
Then you.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel you. I totally get that. That's so real.
Yeah, it
Like,
hurts.
yeah, it speaks to my soul. That's so real.
It's weirdly liberating
It
talking
is.
to
True.
thousands of strangers.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
That's where the expression came from.
But yeah, going back to the fear of getting on a mic, we had to be real drunk before we started
Oh,
recording.
yeah.
Oh, it's a good time
This is
to go
interesting.
back
Like
and
drinking
listen.
and being on the mic or on camera are, you know, this liquid
Yeah.
courage is real. Like
It
multiple
is
guests
real.
have like commented on like, thank God you had drinks here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how it was for us for a minute. Like, we can do it sober now, no problem. But for a minute, we
Shouts out sobriety.
we had
Sobriety
to,
is cool.
We
Just
respect
want to let
it.
everyone know.
Yeah, we totally, and we do episodes sober as well. Like,
Yeah.
we're not tanked on all of them, but like,
Good to know. Good to know. I
Yeah,
think that's important information.
I mean, well, sometimes we're doing them in the middle of the day, and we have to work. We have busy days. We can't like get drunk just to like record every episode. But
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
Yeah, totally. I get it.
yeah. But definitely in the beginning, we were we were nervous. We didn't know what we were doing, and it was like that first year, like there were tons of times where we would have like a bottle of wine a person. Like,
Our first
Send
episode,
it.
I called a painting a photograph.
Yeah, we would do. Like,
And like we were like dealing with
That's
the
how you got your first
17th
1,000 fans.
century,
Yeah.
and I'm like that
divulge.
photo.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's just like Instagram, post Instagram. Like we're just so used to just photo.
Yeah.
Like, do you see that photo? Like, oh, that photo.
It's all photos. They're
Yeah.
all photos. Every image is a photo.
Yeah, for real.
Oh.
Every image is a photo.
I can say, you guys, I think we successfully mixed these drinks. Like, I think we did do it.
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah,
tastes
yeah.
great.
This
A
is
splash is
A,
the
a
call.
splash of Aperol.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Me too.
A splash
Aperol
of
is
Aperol.
a really
You could use it at home.
threatening name.
It sounds like it's
Yeah,
a
it is.
cleaning product.
It does.
Or a poison, or it's nothing that you want to put in your body.
No.
No, never would
I like
be
I like
I want
clean like
Aperol.
It'd be-
Aperol.
It would be a good name for
Like
an album, like a
Oh.
music album.
Or else like an app, like the app that does it all. Like, Aperol.
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 See, I was thinking like
Or Adderall in app formation.
for real.
Again,
An apple.
does it all.
Adderall.
The
We've got this
phrase-
and this and this and this and that and this and this and this.
Do you want to do it all? Aperol.
That's real good. The phrase, I think the phrase "a splash of Aperol" would be a good album name.
Oh.
Just dropping that.
Yeah.
That's a little salt there.
Yeah. If anyone out there wants it,
Goddamn.
that one's free.
Yeah, you can have it. A splash of Aperol.
The next one will cost you.
Oh man, this is fun. This is a good time.
Okay.
I'm glad you guys are liking it. I'm glad you guys are liking
God.
it.
Good time.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Let's just keep
Yeah.
let's keep
Pressure's
pushing.
off.
Let's keep pushing through some.
Hey, I've got some
Yeah.
questions. I
Yeah,
can
keep it
take this.
coming.
I can take this slightly different direction.
Let's do it.
Do you guys advertise?
We
How? Where?
Mostly the free versions, social media. Like we just try and rock the social media game to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
Instagram's our biggest one. I spend a lot of time trying to optimize Instagram and shit like that.
Yeah.
So using social media as advertisement, obviously. We do paid advertisements occasionally through like Facebook and Instagram, just
Yeah.
like get shit going.
Does that like tend to work?
A little. It always brings attention. Like it always brings some new followers
Okay,
and stuff.
yeah.
Like it, it's not like insane or anything. But
Mhm.
anytime we run like an ad, like we see there's a noticeable
It's like a
quick
bump.
spike. Yeah,
Yeah.
you notice it.
Okay.
And also just kind of going back to some of the things we were talking about earlier, existing in the space and taking advantage of community is advertisement in itself. Because
Yeah.
when you have other podcasts or our cool friends at the LA Art Show right now, or just like anyone putting you on their story.
Word
Yeah.
of mouth
Yeah.
is
It's huge.
for sure our
Every-
biggest.
Yeah, every time we get visual artists, like established contemporary artists that like our stuff, and they'll post, and that day we'll get a huge spike in followers.
Wow.
So like creating those relationships and trying to make it a symbiotic thing, like
Yeah.
reposting their shit.
So
as
what did
well.
what did it take to earn the respect of these artists or
That's
of this?
a good question.
We don't know. We don't know what we did.
I guess.
We've just been doing what we're doing.
Yeah, we're just doing what we're doing. I mean, what did it take to earn their respect? Like.
not,
we
not
don't-
wanting things from people, I think, goes
Yeah.
a long way for
We
And,
don't-
us.
and just subtle
Shouts
things,
out.
like even like just literally like knowing you and like seeing like, oh, like this art history babes, like the four of you guys, it's like it's lit.
Yeah,
It's like I fuck with this
try to
for
make it
sure.
fun.
You know,
We
like
try to make it
and it's-
approachable.
It's art history, and like I don't know. I think it's something that like you don't think to yourself like there's 100 art history podcasts. Like there might be. I'm sure there's
yeah,
like
a
100.
handful, yeah.
But and you guys know better than I do. But it's the kind of thing where you go, oh, they're doing that because they fuck with art history.
Yeah.
Not like they're like it's the newest trendiest
Yeah.
thing. Like
And
that.
what people should know is like you were using the word organic earlier, but that is truly like our word. Like everything that we've done has kind of just spawned organically.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the podcast, the first episode was like kind of the recreation of a conversation we had at a bar. Like we met each other so organically, like we got along so
Yeah.
well, like
We balance each other well.
Yeah.
We each bring something unique to the table, definitely. Like
Yeah.
all four of us bring something unique to the table, and when it comes together,
yeah. Should we mention there's two other babes?
I know.
Like an hour and a half in.
I was-
Oh, Jesus.
We're assholes.
No, we're not. We were just excited to talk
no,
about
we're-
art.
You'll get it when you check out the Art History Babes. There's four of us. It's me.
There's four art history babes.
Don't forget the other two. You can give them a shout. shout out if you want to.
Your Ringo and your
here's a quick
Paul and
question.
Ringo.
What?
Paul and
All right,
Ringo.
I want
Shout out
you
Paul
both
and
to
Ringo.
answer this.
Yeah.
At the same time.
What do the other team members? What's their most valuable asset? What do they bring to
Ooh,
the
like
table?
each one.
That's fun.
Jen's humor
Jen's
for sure.
the funniest.
Okay.
We're all funny. Like, we all have a good sense of humor. Jen is just on point with, like,
She's so
she
funny.
just, oh,
Why?
she just
What
got the
makes
lines.
her like she's just like the quick wit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
quick wit.
responding to
Fucking
anything. She
Smart
always-
humor.
hilarious.
Smart
Yeah.
humor.
Smart. I
And
love that.
it's quick. It's quick.
I assume you guys are
It's
all like pretty
contextual.
versed on art history, or is it
Oh,
like an
Pretty
outlier?
versed in quick humor.
We all we met in this we went to grad school together. We were all
Okay.
in the same program. So we're all
Wow.
studying art history at a master's level.
So that's a level of
And then
respect
actually
that you've
liked each
garnished
other.
before entering the whole ecosystem.
For sure. It's like, what kind of podcast should we do?
And then we sat around for like 3 hours and debated.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we
Fencing.
got
We all- we don't know
We
anything
almost
about
landed
that.
on cheese balls.
yeah.
Yeah, so
tough contender.
we were all
Contender.
in a graduate level program for art history.
Where?
UC Davis.
Oh wow, I didn't even realize that.
Shouts out UC Davis.
Did
Ben
you
went
go to
to
Davis?
He did.
I went to Davis.
Do you remember that time at picnic day when I ran into you on?
I don't at all.
Okay.
Can you
So-
tell this story?
Oh yes, I can.
Okay, then go ahead.
So it would have been our first year, which would have been what 2015,
15.
but 16 because it was picnic day, so it would have been the next year.
It would have
Spring.
been.
That's
So
literally
day of
that's
16.
literally the picnic day after I graduated. You know,
Oh, yeah,
after I
you were
didn't
graduate.
graduate. After I didn't graduate.
Yeah, you were back. You were
After I left.
You were revisiting.
After I removed myself.
After I said thank you next.
You were with Joe, and you guys were
What?
Shout out
Yeah.
Joe.
Shout out
Shout out Joe.
Joey.
Joey.
He goes, I think, still by
Joey.
Joey now.
okay, Joey. Sorry, I'm sorry for aging
He
you.
changed.
Yeah.
He
We're living
changed
in
his name.
2008.
Yeah.
He changed his
My
name.
B, my
He added a
B.
Y. It's changed.
I saw him recently, so I can apologize and feel personal about it.
Okay.
I
hope he's doing fantastic.
he seemed well. Yes, I will. I'll give him that.
He's so professional these days. I hang
I
out with him. I'm like,
know.
I'm voting for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shake my hand.
Yeah.
Shake my baby.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I
Okay.
felt like such a nerd because I saw him and it was like a random, like we ran into each other at something we both shouldn't have been at, and I was like, hey, like good to see you, and I was like, we were talking about what we're doing, and he's like, yeah, I'm in DC, and I was like,
was this
dang.
one of those like 18 and up clubs like that?
shouldn't have
You
been
know
at.
that I frequent all the time.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been at. What do you mean? That's
Yeah, what kind of place shouldn't I have been at? I'm gonna leave that for you guys to wonder about.
Tantalizing.
Anyway.
wow.
Anyway, what happened at picnic day? I'm dying to know what happened at picnic
We're still
day.
dying to know so many
Oh,
things.
it's really, oh man,
This
I've been keeping
noir novel we're writing.
for no reason. Literally, it was exactly what happened when you got here today. Is you ran up to me and hugged me and lifted me off the ground,
Oh my
and
gosh.
we said hi to each other,
Signature
and then that was
move.
it.
Yeah.
That's Ben's
Secret
move.
handshake.
Yeah, every time I see Ben, my feet leave the floor.
I'll let you know. I don't do that to everyone.
Oh, makes me feel
That's
special.
Sweet.
Appreciate that. But yeah, no, that was exactly, and it was funny because it was the street I lived on. Like we were right outside of my house, and you just
Oh my
happened to be
gosh.
like a block from my house.
Wow.
And I had a bunch of drunk
This is
friends.
coming back
Was it
to
coming
me.
back?
This is coming back to
Yeah.
me. It's like
Yeah, it was a very just like aw moment. We're like, hey,
because
Ben.
I had the moment earlier of like Connor. I don't think I've seen Natalie since high school, but that was a lie.
That was,
happened.
but that time. But I think that's the only,
only time.
other time we've seen each other.
Shouts out,
and
BB.
I hadn't seen Connor since high school. I'm pretty sure.
I know. I was thinking about it. I was trying to think. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
like, I ran into her like the
You feel
store or
like
something.
you
it's
have.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy
Yeah.
how like
Well, and we, like,
parallel
see each
or,
other on
like,
social media and
converging
stuff,
we
so
are
it's
right
For
now,
sure.
which is crazy.
You know,
Yeah.
the funny thing about it is low
You've
key.
come a long way, Natalie. We're really
Yeah.
proud of you.
Thanks, guys. I know it was rough there for a few years, and
We didn't think you were gonna make it, but
Yeah.
hey, I had all the makings of a tool.
Disagree. Hard disagree.
Oh, that's so cute.
no. I'm glad
we
you're
all
using
we
it.
all made it out, guys.
We
Well done.
did.
We all became cool people. I think. I don't know. I'm not gonna make assumptions.
I mean, outside
I don't know, you guys. It's pretty
Yeah.
weird.
You guys seem legit.
Corey said it. We don't
Cool.
have to say
I'm
it.
into
Corey
it.
said it.
Strangers are in.
Yes.
I'm on board.
But,
I'm on
but
board.
yeah, no, that was my last memory seeing Ben.
She's on board.
Oh. This is so fun.
This is so fun.
We need all of this.
Yeah,
we need to just
this
bring
is
you guys
so
back.
You guys,
to
we
our
were
recordings.
honestly ready for all 4 of you. That's what we
I
kind of
They're
thought.
coming later.
We got these
this
mics.
week.
Okay.
I know.
If we could have like a weird before and after
Yeah, the
this
part 2.
LA art show, that could be interesting. If you got like, when do you guys leave? All leave.
We leave Sunday early afternoon.
And you're like probably busy up until then.
I mean, there's a chance.
I was gonna say there's
If we get,
chance.
there's
a
a Sunday,
chance.
There's a
there's a
window.
Sunday early afternoon that works for me.
Sunday probably
leave,
won't
yeah, we
work.
both leave before, like noonish.
There,
on
I mean, there's
Sunday,
a
but
chance. I'm
Like
not
Sunday
promising.
morning, like Saturday night.
Yeah, there's a chance Saturday night after we do our ship. Chance.
Okay.
No, but like
We'll keep it.
we
Like a
could.
Saturday night podcast.
We'll leave the cliffhanger.
the shitty
That's
part
fine.
is, I would say we would make you guys come to us, but we can't because this
Oh,
is
no.
too.
Oh,
cool.
We'll bring it to you.
If you guys want to go to the LA Art Show, though, we can. hit you
Oh,
up.
yeah. Do you
Oh,
guys want to go to the LA Art
really?
Show? Yeah.
Yes.
I could. Yeah, I'm down.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
we'll
have a
say
hookup.
yes.
For sure.
We have
got
a
it.
hookup
We
that
got
gives
you.
For
us
sure.
You can come see us podcast live.
Yes. Like we gotta bring like a sign.
Yeah. No. And we're gonna come like vlog
Yeah, do
the art
it.
history
Yeah.
babes.
So we podcast
Live.
live.
Hey, do you guys mind if we podcast right here while you guys are podcasting?
We're just talking
Tuning in is gonna hook into your.
It'd be so fucking meta.
Tuning in live to the Art History Babes performing live.
Wait,
Be
we
so
could
fucking
spin
meta.
this.
So we're just, I mean, for the people
We're gonna
watching
bring like
and
a
for
little
you guys,
hand mic with
Yeah.
like the thing.
Oh,
and,
I
like,
love
the little,
it.
like,
We're podcasting live.
what's your take on what's happening right now?
Wait, that's like the whole Kyle Mooney.
Yeah.
interview.
Hashtag inspo. Hashtag inspo.
Yeah, that's so good. I love Kyle,
Kyle
Mooney.
Mooney,
Oh, I
angel
love him
face.
so much.
Beauty.
We are podcasting live at the LA Art Show Friday at 5 p.m. and Saturday at
Okay,
5 p.m.
link in bio. Hopefully, remember to add this. Like, that's great. Like,
Yeah, so come find us if you're around. You guys will get you passes. You should come
Super cool.
watch us.
That'd be super cool.
Five,
Thank you.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock Friday and Saturday. It'll be me
Okay.
and Nat on
The
Friday.
same show.
No. So on Friday, me and Nat are interviewing the director of the
LA Art Show.
LA Art Show, but we're
Wow.
doing it like as a podcast, like as our podcast.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we're doing that in like their lecture hall, and
That's so
then Saturday it'll be all 4 of us
In their
and-
lecture hall, are people gonna be there like watching?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. We're like
That's super
trying not
cool.
to freak out internally.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I get it. I get
Yeah,
Are you
it.
it's
handling
like-
the pod? Like,
That's
who's
cool.
recording? Who's
I mean,
posting
we're-
it live?
We're recording it
Okay,
for
yeah.
our platform, but
So not-
they're also like
Video
Not
and
live
everything.
like this. Like live, like
okay.
live in front of actual people.
Yeah.
live in
Yeah,
front
And
of
yeah,
an
then
audience.
we're recording it and we'll post
Record
it
it in
later.
front of a live audience.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Yeah.
there it
There we
is.
go.
You
That's
got
the
it.
professional air we need.
You got it. So that's on Friday where we're interviewing the director of the LA Art Show. Saturday we are hanging out with
The curator of the LA-based curator of the show, because it's a huge show, so it's like they're bringing people from all over, but she's the one who like was located here and curated.
She's the contemporary curator.
And how did you get
Wow.
involved? How did you book
Our
these?
boy Andrew. Shout out Andrew.
Shout out her.
Andrew Bridges, you angel human.
From heaven.
People in the art world, look him up. He's
a
amazing.
legit.
He does it all.
He's
Instagram
lovely.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's like Andrew Bridges.
I think it's yeah. I want to say
Yeah,
it's
look
that.
up his Instagram handle. He's legit. He works for a gallery that's at the show, and he contacted us and was like, "Would you guys be interested? I can make this happen."
Out of the blue, do you know him?
No.
No, now we do.
Now we do. He's like, "I love your show. Would you be interested?" And we were like, 100%. And he made it happen. For us.
Organic.
Yeah.
It's Andrew.
Gotta love organic followers.
That's our word
It
tonight.
is organic.
Andrew.bridges.583.
Ooh,
If you're in the art world, he's a good dude. He's
an amazing
He's a
dude.
good dude.
that's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and-
we actually had like a 2-hour breakfast with him this morning, just hanging out. He's so
oh
legit.
no way.
I love breakfast meetings. Like
Yeah.
meetings.
Best meal.
Oh,
Best
so
time.
good.
Everyone's like,
Most important meal of the day.
everyone's like,
love
can we
breakfast.
stretch this one an hour? And everyone else at the table is like, yes.
Exactly. It's the only meal where it's like, if you're really on schedule, it's breakfast. But like, if you're really chilling, like, we got a different name for that.
Brunch.
Yeah. So once again, we got just like we feel very lucky, very grateful to be here. That he reached out to us, and that since then, everyone that he's talking, like people have come like to us, and like people are just like excited, like about like
Wow.
what we're doing, like. we owe it to Andrew. Like Andrew has gotten the word around, and people are like, oh, I want to check that out, and like it's just been really exciting for us and awesome. And then we have listeners that are planning on coming out, so hopefully we'll get like a good crowd.
Wow. Yeah.
You got
Our people.
Oh, it's gonna be a good time.
jealous.
And you guys are gonna be podcasting live, us podcasting.
Yeah, we're gonna interview all of your fans.
Yeah. How was it being on the podcast? Theirs, of course.
This sounds amazing.
That sounds
and like a
amazing.
plan.
Yeah,
and like it's set in stone.
Yeah. So it should be really exciting.
Everyone's on board.
If you're in the LA area, please come check it out. Overall it should just be a fun time, and like, I don't know, we get to hang out, we get to look at dope art from so many artists and so many galleries from all around the world.
Is there any art of dope you think gonna be there?
For sure. I don't know where.
So
it's kind of like the Ferdinand of today's, it would be the pop culture thing to comment on.
Yeah, that would definitely, I'm sure there's plenty.
Oh,
yeah.
There's
do you think weed
everybody.
art has blown up in the last year?
I suggested this like a year ago, that we should do a episode on 420 about art in dispensaries.
Okay, wait.
Wow. Like a whole segment on Cheech and Chong.
I'm gonna okay.
Like the
here's
weird,
my ask.
kitschy.
Snoop Dogg is like a subject. He's like the Virgin Mary of weed.
Oh no, not Snoop Dogg. Let's Bob Marley.
Oh,
with the
he's
red and
like
green
Jesus. That's Jesus.
You mean Bob Marley?
Yeah, straight up.
He's the savior.
All right,
that might
here's my
happen.
ask. Here's my ask.
Yeah.
Straight up.
We can do that either here or there. If you want to do it there, we'll bring the setup. We'll do it live. I want to do the live 420. And in preparation for that, I am going to take a bunch of pictures of all the art I see in dispensaries.
Oh my god! Like, if you guys
that's
this
so
would be
fire.
So fun.
I'm going to
down.
come prepped
We
with
could come back here and do
because
it.
that's so what I don't know. I have never thought about what. There's definitely art. I know there's something.
Oh
on
yeah,
display
there's
there.
good art. That's
There's
fun.
like, okay, it's like, I'm telling you, it's like Banksy. it's like celebrities with like a soft 90s like
All
focus.
right, okay. Let's play. What are the odds? Okay, let's play
Reggae art.
Let's play the spread. I want to take notes. Let's see. I want to do like percent.
I swear, I was like trying to look for. I didn't have the word, but you're right.
Also, that would be a great band name, the Soft 90s.
Oh, wait, yeah, a splash of Aperol by the Soft 90s.
Thanks for tuning in. The boys over and out.
That's it.
You got it. It's like the brand is already there. Like,
if you came to me and was like, can you make some can you make like a press kit for that? I was like, yeah,
Done.
I got
definitely.
it.
I've
The
got
whole
a
vibe.
million ideas.
for sure.
Say no more.
Oh, that's good. That's good. But 100%, I love the idea of doing a 420 collab with you guys. I think that could be so fun.
I do too. I love
I'm
that
in.
idea.
I'm so in.
I think it wrote itself.
I think it
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
I think it's so perfect. It's so perfect. Because we've been wanting to do an episode, because like there are episodes where we get really drunk. We've wanted to do an episode where we get really high. And like
actually talk about it.
Yeah.
Not just have it happen and we don't mention
guys-
it.
Yeah, like super low key.
You guys, okay. Also, as a weird flip, like I would love to get like
Super high.
no. On a definitely tangent there.
Raise
It's like
your hand.
you guys doing a live, art history babes. Like just use our setup. Just like if you guys wanted to come in. And
Yeah,
just,
no,
like,
for real.
Anytime.
sit down
Like-
and.
yeah, we'd love to do
Maybe
that.
our 420 can be our first live, and we can.
Oh, dang,
This will
that's
be
an
our
idea.
kickoff.
Oh, you guys gonna wait
can-
that long to go live?
Well,
I
we
couldn't.
live in different states, Ben.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Time passes a lot faster when we don't
And we
see
also
each other.
just
for
have like
months.
Yeah.
we have
Wow.
a lot of
What? Okay, so how
backlog.
often do you see each other? What's
So I just a couple months ago. It's temporary, but I moved back home to the Midwest in November. So so that has changed.
But you'll be
things.
back for 420.
I'll make it happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
One way or another.
Like the more we plan, like I will make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we're planning. Like,
and that's kind of the idea. I live in
It's
South
planned.
Dakota, where every like cost of living is, it would probably like make you cry, like how cheap it is out
Damn.
there. Like,
You don't need to go into it. I've heard enough.
Natalie's like, I cried. I literally cried.
Let you guys know you're
But the positive is with planning, even though like I'm, working a bunch of side gigs while we're getting this business off the ground, I still like it allows me more freedom to travel, to do dope shit, like the LA Art Show and recording on 420 with you guys.
Yeah.
So
It's locked in.
So we're trying to like make that
Locked
happen.
in.
Also, we need to make at some point a trip where you guys come out to me because I need to teach y'all about the Midwest.
We'll go
Okay,
out to
wait.
Indiana and see
Fuck,
Andrew.
you guys, I'm so on board for all of these things for some reason.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm so down to like road trip to Iowa.
Oh yeah,
for a
we going to the
fucking-
Midwest with us?
I would love
so
to do
There we
a
go.
podcast collab cross country.
There we go.
Fuck yeah, dude.
We just record as we go.
Yeah.
I'm envisioning like a I just watched the movie Radio Pirates. Is that what it's called? Pirate Radio? Pirate
Yeah,
Radio.
yeah.
I just
Radio
watched that
Pirates,
movie
Radio
Pirates.
Pirates.
Like, oh,
I
wait,
was
that
like,
didn't
I
feel
think
right.
I know it. You're like, Pirate Radio. I was like,
Pirate Radio. Anyway, great movie. And I'm picking up on those vibes from everything we're saying right now.
Yeah.
Of just kind of like
Send it.
fun anarchist feeling,
Wow.
but not that extreme.
There's a little full circle.
you're accurate.
There's a little full
That was
circle
accurate.
moment
Don't
happening
oversell
inside
it.
myself with
Yeah.
like I just started watching the show on Netflix called People Who Do Nothing, like People Do Nothing or something. It's like
Sounds
this,
intriguing.
yeah.
yeah, it's this old it's like 2011 I think.
The year we graduated high school.
So old.
British television show, which is like a modern pirate radio, not like the
Ooh.
first pirate radio where they're on the ship or anything, but just like they're in a little warehouse and they just like get up and they like pretty much what Connor and I do is like effectively like they have like they go on air, they play their favorite music and then they like jam out, they do freestyles and they have their whole thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not new, I'm so old, like I'm 7 years late on this whole like I'm more than 7 years late because this thing came out because it was so mainstream for people to
Yeah.
be doing this. Like, but people who do nothing, like, well, how do you take care of them?
But also, you're just hearing about it now, and you're someone who's not out of touch. So that has to say something too. Like it's nebulous the way
Yeah.
that
For
people
real.
receive
It's really
things
tough.
and the way you
Facts.
find things you
The
like.
internet, we
It's
talked
so
about
complicated.
this earlier. The internet is surprisingly segregated.
Yes.
Like, it
Yep.
really is. And
Yeah.
the way shit comes
Okay.
through.
Yes.
Ooh,
and
the
to give
information
and-
bubble
and-
is a great book.
but things
readers
but
out there.
viral
Interesting.
viral is more available than it ever has
Yeah,
been
yeah,
before, so you can
definitely.
be extremely compartmentalized, never see the light of day, or middle of nowhere all of a sudden you're everywhere.
But
You
it's
know,
weird how little
which has
control you
never
can have
happened
over it.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
No, it's definitely
Yeah.
weird. But we had a conversation because I've been like a huge percentage of the population. In the past week, I've been obsessed with Fire Festival since the documentaries
Oh
came
my
out.
gosh. You don't
we
even
did-
know.
I did Fire Feud back-to-back viewings of the Hulu and Netflix stuff.
Nice. Oh,
Can we
I
talk
think
about
I'm
it for
the
a-
only one.
I would love.
Yo,
I would
you
love
haven't seen them?
It's okay. I can
We're
still. I'll
gonna,
hold
our
my
next
own. I'll hold
segment's
my own.
called
so much to
Spoiler
say.
Alert.
Spoiler alert.
dude, I have so much to say.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
She
let's,
You gotta
really,
start.
really
talk.
does.
I'll let you start.
I've been talking about this.
But I'm gonna interject a
nonstop.
lot, so
Please
go
do.
ahead.
Please do.
a lot.
A lot. Okay, so yeah, been obsessed with it. I watched Netflix first. Which one did you watch first?
I watched Hulu first.
I
watched.
watched the Netflix one.
Oh.
And
okay.
little
Which is-
asterisk,
okay.
little asterisk, not all of the Hulu one.
But
You didn't watch the whole
now,
thing?
I've,
He didn't.
I've
He
now
didn't.
seen the whole thing.
Okay.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Okay.
I
take it back.
What I want to just throw out there. This isn't. I don't mean to guess your preference, but it's very strange to me. This is just totally separate thing that keeps happening. Is people who watch the Netflix one first like the Netflix one better. People who like the Hulu one first like the Hulu one better, and I haven't found an exception yet.
That's amazing.
And I've asked a dozen people.
That's amazing because I prefer the Netflix one.
Interesting.
think it's
I
a
don't
lot about
know. I don't
bias.
know.
Yeah,
I don't
I do
know.
too.
I don't know if I would say I prefer the Hulu one more.
But you did in the past.
I play devil's advocate a lot. I don't know if I explicitly said.
All right.
Wait,
That is your
You're an
definite
Aquarius.
official role.
Is that what you're doing right now? By
the devil's
Yes.
advocate?
You're
Yeah.
an Aquarius, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You are.
Or is like,
Such a-
yeah.
You're
okay.
telling me.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Like,
So okay, wait. Sorry,
I
let's
get
go.
meta with
Let's
my
go.
devil's advocate.
Let's
I'm
go.
playing
Wait,
devil's advocate to myself
I
right
forgot what
here.
you guys are. Come on, we have a Capricorn, which makes all the sense in the world, and then what do we have?
Scorpio.
Oh yeah,
on the
for
verge.
sure.
Oh wait, we never said
Valerie,
Edge Capricorn. Edge Capricorn.
Edge. Yes, I'm a cusper. So
Cusp.
I'm
Cusper.
Yeah, I'm
Cusper.
Capricorn,
Yeah,
Aquarius,
it's Earth
cusp.
signs. Yeah, Earth signs.
And
Let's go.
Aquarius is my moon, or not my moon, my rising sign.
Right.
Oh,
I gotta
wait,
check
it's
real
my
quick.
rising.
It's your rising?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it
And
all of our
Hold
risings?
on, stop.
I'm
Everybody stop.
so into
We're
this.
gonna come back to Fire Festival because I got shit to say, but like we're doing astrology right now.
Okay, I'm into it.
Okay.
Yes,
Real-
yes.
Get it, bro.
I deleted it.
Get it.
Oh,
Okay, pull
I'm
it
getting
up.
back.
Pull it
I'm
up,
getting
fam.
back.
I
I'm
know
getting
mine.
back.
I don't have to pull it up.
Co-star. If you're on Co-star, add me. Corey Allison.
For real.
Spell it.
Let me make sure
Here.
it's the right one. Because yeah, I think it's.
Oh my
Corey
gosh, you
Allison.
guys.
Okay, so I think I'm Aquarius, and then Gemini, right? Gemini moon and Sagittarius rising.
Holy shit, you're an Aquarius. That's
Yeah,
a lot.
Gemini.
Aquarius, Gemini, and then oh my god,
Hold
that's
on.
a lot.
No. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
like, and I mean that in the best way.
A
But that's
Sagittarius
like,
rising too is like so ready for the challenge.
you are wild, bro. You are
Yeah. Big
That's
time.
a lot of emotion.
Explain me to me, please, real quick.
Tell me about me.
So what do those
The
three
Aquarius
things,
is
what do those three things mean to me?
Okay,
to
so
you?
you're Aquarius. Aquarius are like the fundamental, like everyone attributes them as being just like the weirdest people in the best way, like the just most like interesting weird.
Yeah,
you know?
interesting
like,
weird.
Totally.
like
Okay.
a good weird, but like weird, you know,
Creative.
creative, kind of out there.
They're almost
kinda,
like a really wacky Pisces.
Yeah, that's actually a very good way.
Yeah.
So you're like wacky, definitely wacky,
Like a surreal Pisces.
Yeah, exactly.
You're wacky, and you're different from Pisces because so Pisces are water signs, and so they're very emotionally charged. Aquarius are air signs, so they're more like up in the air and wacky.
Yeah.
But Pisces are kind of like more emotionally wacky.
Yeah.
I like the word
Deep.
wacky.
Yeah.
Wacky's great.
So you're kind of you're up
I
in the
vibe
air.
with wacky,
You're
okay.
kind of wacky. You're kind of like but super interesting. Like Aquarians are very interesting. Very like
Yeah,
both
like,
Capricorns
the
and
way-
Aquariuses play devil's advocate all
Wait,
the time.
really? You Capricorns too?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
I
Does
feel
Taurus
like
have any devil's advocate? Because I do feel like you fall into the devil's
they're so
advocate.
stubborn. They're
no,
bold.
but it's
Stubborn.
not. It's
They're
not devil's
stubborn.
advocate. I think Taurus is more like.
This is where we align. So Scorpio and Taurus are exact
Well,
opposites.
you know what's
and
fu-
like so we're like, but we're also very similar.
They're
in, like-
powerful signs.
Yeah.
But because the thing is funny is my mom's a Scorpio, my brother's a Scorpio, my roommate who lived here was a Scorpio.
Damn.
Like
So you're
it's like
attracting
Scorpio
Scorpios
City.
left
It's
and
like
right.
Scorpio.
I'm like everywhere I look, I'm
mom
like
is
you're
also
so
a
intense.
Scorpio.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently, I wouldn't know. I'm not a mom, but apparently Scorpios make really good parents. I don't know if you had a good experience with your
Shout out
Scorpio
my mom.
Shout out to mom.
I'll definitely give a shout out to mom. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard Scorpios make really good parents. But so Taurus, like kind of going off what you're saying though,
Yeah.
and that I think is something that Scorpios deal with a lot, and I've also heard from my Taurus friends is
Yeah.
that not necessarily devil's advocate, but we believe shit and we're stubborn about it and we believe it wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Like there's this meme that both me and my Taurus friend Faith, both like attached to like really hardcore,
Yeah.
and it was do you remember the is this a butterfly
Yeah,
meme?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the is this a butterfly, and it's Scorpio, and then the butterfly is like a differing opinion from a loved one, and then the thing is like the caption is this an attack on my very soul? And I think that's so
Exactly.
Scorpio and Taurus.
Exactly.
Oh my
when-
gosh, that's my mom to a T.
When we
Yeah.
care about something, like it feels like an attack on our soul. If we care about you, like if we don't care about you, I don't give a shit what you
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But if I like you and care about you, and you disagree with me about something I care about, it is an attack on my soul. Like,
Okay.
It's
Wow.
like, and
Okay.
I think that's a very like
Yeah.
Scorpio,
Good to know.
Taurus, like
Agreed.
Tell me more.
stubborn. And so in that sense, we will argue something we feel very passionate about
Yeah.
because of that feeling. It
so interesting.
comes through as like, I need to argue this.
See, I'm curious because do you feel like you have to argue? Because the Tauruses that I know well, like my brother's a Taurus
Yeah.
and I know a few other people aren't arguers. They're more the type of people that like if you don't agree with what they're saying, they're like they'll walk away.
Shut down.
Yeah, or just don't care, like, or just like shut off. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly just think the common quality is a stubbornness, and the way people deal with it's different. Like, because it totally depends. Like, there are some scenarios where like I'm not in the mood to like explain it to someone who's not going to get it at the end of the day.
But is that like sometimes, or is that kind of always your mood? Like, if you know the person isn't going to get it, you're not going to expend energy,
I'll
right?
interject here.
Yeah,
I get both. Definitely both.
Yeah.
There are times where Connor is willing to, hear it out, argue it out. Even if he never gives up the other side, he's still willing to have the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times where he's not at all. Like, he's just like, I don't need, like, there's nothing you're going to say to change my opinion.
Yeah.
And I do not have I don't want to change your opinion. I just want to have my opinion. This conversation.
That sounds more Taurus to me, whereas what you're
Definitely.
describing is a little different. The Scorpio response is different than that.
No, well, it wasn't.
And
the Scorpio
I
on
will
the email, it was
agree with
Taurus
that. I
too.
will agree with that.
So it was because it was.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I get what you're saying, but I'm kind of like calling them different
agree.
between the two, because knowing you and knowing Taurus, like I feel like it's still
to differentiate my mom and Connor, it would definitely be like, my mom is emotional,
and she'd be invested, and she would try and convince you, and she would be there to
like
explain.
If I say,
whereas you would probably just walk away.
If I say like these
but feel
potatoes
stubborn,
are
like
a
your
little
opinion
salty,
wouldn't change. You
then
wouldn't feel
it's like
exactly. I definitely
you don't care what I do for the
but you
family.
wouldn't feel the need to like.
You don't realize what I do for you.
change. No, exactly.
It's like, I
convince
realize
that
what you do
person.
for me. I'm just
Exactly,
commenting on the
That's much
experience.
more
It's
Taurus.
salty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess.
Whereas Connor is definitely like shrugs it off way more. Shrugs it off like.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Whether even if he's in like a heated moment, like he'll shrug it off way more than my mom.
Yeah.
Like my mom will
Well,
carry it with her for months to forever.
I mean, you're just like hitting on the difference between earth signs and water
Moms
signs.
and friends.
Yes, moms and friends. Exactly.
They're different.
I can't differentiate.
Yeah.
There's...
No, but yeah, Taurus is an earth sign and Scorpio is a water sign. And so while we are polars and we like kind of interact in a lot of ways, everything we do is very emotional. Taurus is earthbound, so it's a little more like pragmatic.
And a little tangential, Connor. We both have Scorpio moms, so that comment is hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
But anyways, where were like I don't even know what.
Okay, moons. What moons are we working with?
Yes, let's talk to moons. Okay, so going back to everything we've been saying through this whole thing about like why we're on the same level.
Oh yeah.
I am a Scorpio Sun, Capricorn Moon, and she
is a Capricorn Moon, Scorpio Sun.
Oh,
or other way. Sorry, Capricorn Sun,
Yeah.
Scorpio Moon.
Yeah.
So we are, and the thing about, so if you don't know much about astrology, what your moon sign means is like, so your sun sign's your main sign. It's the sign that the sun was in when you were born, and it kind of expresses like who you are to a core.
Yeah.
But your moon sign expresses basically what you find comfort in.
Your innermost self.
Yeah, it's very inner. It's what you find comfort in. It's where you feel safe. It's where, and so like the idea that you would understand people that are like have the sun sign that is your moon sign makes a lot of sense. Like I have crazy Capricorns in my life, like a lot of them, and it's just
I resonate so much with the Gemini in me, so like I feel it almost even more than I feel the
me
Aquarius.
too. Sometimes I feel.
I think that's kind of like that. Like
more.
CoStar kind of paints it as like the moon is like the personality you think you are, and
It's what you feel.
and the
in
sun
Yeah,
is like
it's
the
what you
personality you
feel.
present.
Yeah, how you feel like you
I'm-
are, even if that's not how people see you, because it's not how you're projecting, it's how you feel.
Yeah. I'm a Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon.
Oh, see, that's always
I
interesting.
know.
That is always
So I'm just
interesting.
like
So those are like the-
stubborn as it gets.
But also like comfortable. Like you have to like that's good because
Yeah,
it means that you don't have that kind of like dissonance where
Would you
feel
describe yourself
separated.
as comfortable?
Yeah, for sure.
Just for devil's
100%.
advocate's sake.
Well, I learned too. This is something I've been trying to come to terms with myself astrologically. So like my moon's in Capricorn, and I learned recently that Capricorn is the least comfortable place for the moon to be. Like because the moon,
like 8th house.
yeah, the moon is typically like it's most
I think it's
comfortable.
true.
It belongs in Cancer, and that's where it's most comfortable.
Oh, so
and the mother
literally the opposite.
Yeah, literally the opposite. So when it's in Capricorn, it's not comfy. And so like the moon, which represents comfort and being taken care of, like that's what the moon represents. Is like being taken
It's
care
almost
of.
like your mother's
It
personality.
is. No, it's motherly.
Which in the Cancer is the mother of the sign.
Yeah,
and
facts.
Capricorn is the father of the sign.
So where
Capricorn's
Shout out Clark.
Whoa.
You guys are, you know Clark.
Yo, shout out Clark. Yo.
Wait, Clark?
What's
Clark's
his
my-
shit? What's his shit? Do
Clark's
we
my-
know it?
Clark's up
Yeah,
to?
Clark's my Cancer boy.
He's a Cancer?
He's a Cancer.
He's my mother of my zodiac sign.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Have you seen him recently?
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
Awesome. I saw him like
so amazing.
maybe a year ago.
Yeah, I see him like usually every 6 months or so. He
That's
stayed
so
with me
great.
for a little bit a few years ago.
Oh,
So.
amazing.
Outsiders'
He's
perspective.
gotta come. We need him on the. We need him.
Oh, of course. We need him all the time for everything.
We
We
do.
need Clark.
For all you
Everyone
listeners
needs
out
that.
there, I met Clark a couple times. He's great.
Hey, yo, fuck yeah.
Clark is a
4
good
out
guy.
of 4. Clark.
Look up Clark.
Shouts out his Instagram.
What is Clark's Instagram?
I don't think he wants it.
Biz Clarky.
I'm gonna
Biz
speak.
Clarky.
It is. It actually is. It's really funny. It is Biz Clarky.
I think it's Biz Clarky _ after the name. It's
Now he's
technically-
Try
mad at
them
us.
both. Try them both.
Now he's like, guys, I was trying to be incognito.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway.
If
That's
Clark-
interesting.
if
I've
Clark
never
gets
thought-
a giant up boosted followers.
You're like, what just happened?
That's yeah,
Never
exactly.
gonna know why. He's
Yeah.
never gonna put it together.
Influencers.
So yeah.
Influencer
Where did these
mindset.
8 likes come from?
Oh, those people I was friends with in high school.
8 likes?
All right, I'll go like
good.
I'll go like a thing on Clark.
Yeah.
That's
Biz
so
Clarky.
good.
Wait,
Everyone
okay,
go like
okay,
a Biz
okay.
Clarky.
I honestly am though. I love this idea of the Capricorn as the father.
Yeah.
For some reason, I know like 3 girls, including you, who are Capricorns. They're the
Yeah.
only Capricorns I know.
Yeah.
So for some reason, like
seems
I
more
never,
feminine.
barely. No, it doesn't. Now that you say the father, I'm like, oh my god, like the military,
Yeah.
like everything needs to be in order. Like
Yeah. No,
it's
that's-
like it's
Total
like
Capricorn.
the like the moment, you know.
Yeah, total Capricorn.
Yeah, but only knowing girls, I just of course sort of had like a very subconscious sort of
Yeah.
just thinking about it in feminine terms. So it's interesting.
But it is, I mean, it's often considered like the most masculine sign.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's super
that's-
masculine. It is represented as the father, whereas Cancer is represented as like the motherly.
Yeah.
So like what I was saying, like having a moon in Capricorn is kind of
What's
in-
Aquarius, the child?
Yeah,
the
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's not
The
a,
baby.
It's like the least
The baby.
comfortable
Yeah.
place for it to be,
Take
and so
care
it's
of me.
basically like it's basically
Hey baby.
it's basically like saying like, and it's something like I said I've been recently coming to terms with, like you are never safe. Like you are like never comfortable because
Interesting.
moon is like security and like safety
Yeah.
and feeling mothered in some way, and Capricorn, it does not give a fuck about that. Capricorn's like, no, we're like, it's very and not in a bad way.
I was
not
gonna
in a
say
bad
that's
So
way.
interesting
what's a
because
Gemini
it's
moon
not
feeling?
because
I
Capricorns
feel you on
are
that so
kind
heavyweight.
of comforting. It's just not quite. It's not like a
It's
motherly
in a
comfort.
pragmatic
Yeah,
way.
they're
But it
comforting.
is,
They're
but they're
comforting to
loyal.
those around
They're-
them.
they're-
Not
Yeah,
they're
it's like
steady.
they are fundamentally comforting, but when they walk out the room, they're not like
Yeah.
taking you with them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They're comforting for their stability that they
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
bring.
yeah.
Capricorn brings like stability
And
and,
it craves
comfort in
stability,
that.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
It brings,
Yeah.
Wow.
no,
That's a
totally.
better
This
word
is
than comfort. It's
super
stability.
crazy.
Stability.
Exactly, and that's so yeah. It brings and it craves stability.
Yeah.
But that is super valuable and like, but like it also it's different than being comforted, being like coddled and anything.
Yeah.
Capricorn's not
Like
here
Moon
to
and
coddle
Cancer.
you.
Like what? There's that Joni Mitchell song. I keep
Yo,
thinking
I'm
of.
so-
What was that?
I'm a big fan of the coddled. So
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Capricorn Moon or Capricorn in general is not here to coddle anyone. They're just like very.
But I'm here to
Because you're
say also
intense as
wants to be
fuck.
coddled all the time.
yeah.
Because you're
But we'll
you're
never
a
say it.
Scorpio Capricorn. Like you're
Okay.
like you're like the opposite of him. You're like the
that-
opposite of his vibe.
I,
that
all
was both
your-
like
all-
honey for cancers.
all-
for
You're like the
different
weird
reasons.
wa-
That were both
grounded
like
water
cancers
version, and
for
he's like the
different
air
reasons,
air
Exactly.
version.
I need a nurturer.
Exactly. All
I
his
need, like,
You're
all his
Earth.
air
I need to be
energy-
You're Earth, and he's
I
like
need a
the
parent.
sky.
You need a provider.
No, exactly. Like
I need that
all-
motherly energy.
All of his like air energy is like very juxtaposing like what
Yeah.
I'm like depths and grounding, and you're like way up here.
Right, like you're almost like you've been ready for eons to catch me. You're like, here it comes.
Yes.
You know, like so, and I'm just like,
that's how so like I love air signs. Like I love Libras so much. I love and I love Aquarius,
especially those political millennial ones.
All right, here's a quick.
I love air signs, but it's like that. I feel like
tangent.
I have to catch you.
Has the zodiac like pairing, you know, mindset ever been wrong? Like, I like I like air signs. I like these things. Like,
yeah.
Like, when does it
if you
wrong?
both speak English, like turns out you're great for each other.
Are you talking like compatibility?
Yeah, I guess
or
I'm trying to
like...
verge on compatibility.
So the co-star is good for that because I like how it shows the whole spectrum of your chart and how everything has an effect. Like I can speak for myself. My boyfriend and I, it's basically like we're really compatible on like two things and everything else.
Where are you compatible? Come on, I want to hear it.
Spill the beans.
I want to hear I want to hear it.
Pull it up.
Sex and pleasure and
so you're Jupiter, right?
Oh shoot.
You're Mars. Just
kind of like aside from this while she's looking it up. Also, we did co-star and like we're business partners.
Yeah.
We're like super tight in like a million different ways.
Yeah.
We are super compatible in everything but sex.
Yeah. We were like solid.
All right, that works. That's good. That's probably
we
good.
can work on that.
Business.
Yeah.
Like everything else,
Strictly
friendship,
business.
They're like,
and we looked at each other and we were like, okay.
We don't need to be like.
I've seen enough.
Yeah. We don't need to.
But
be
you haven't done
crossing.
enough.
We're intimate in other ways.
We don't need to cross that line. It'd probably fuck up the business.
good.
It's not necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, okay. I'm
Stick together
I'm
for the
adding
kids.
both of you.
Yeah.
We're
come
doing
on.
compatibility tests.
What is it?
We're doing compatibility tests.
For all the fans, take out your co-star app right now
Everybody.
and take
This
our
is the moment.
co-stars.
Co-star along.
Where is my co-star?
But yeah, just the idea that it's basically like you're really compatible on these things and everything else you just have to work really fucking hard at.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
And
that
it's facts.
exactly
No.
like and it's like you're not so far off that you won't get along, but you just have to talk. Like you have to work through it and like hear each other and like
I was talking.
Yeah.
I was like, I have this friend of mine. Her name's Kat, and she was telling me like she was on a date with this girl, and like they were like half vibing, and like they got on this conversation, and they checked their co-star, and it was like just tragedy, like no matches
Not
at all.
compatible at
And they both
all.
were like, "Hi, yeah, like I'm kind of tired. I'll see you later." And like the date fell apart.
and they just like fizzled.
Yeah, and like never talked again.
And that's
It's
like a certain level of compatibility because
Yeah.
they were both
It's
like,
Exactly.
wink, like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
not willing to do that.
Yeah. Wow.
And the thing about
You're right. The opposites. It's because that's how I feel with me and Ben. Low key is like the Taurus Aquarius thing is like, for the most part, like I don't fuck with him, but like when we get so close, it's like we're locked, you know?
Yeah.
no.
100%.
It's like you guys aren't made out to be
We have the
acquaintances.
strongest.
Yeah.
You're made out to be like
What
tight
Either
or
s-
nothing.
What's
Yeah,
your co-star?
We have
exactly.
the strongest yin yang acquaintance.
I need to
ever.
add you
Yeah.
guys. What are your
Facts.
co-stars?
Which is kind of how we are. I think that's how we are. If
yeah.
we weren't connected, we would probably fall
Okay,
away
ready?
from each other immediately.
Lazy
Scorpio
B,
though is
the
like
letter
momish.
B.
Yeah.
lazy. We don't give up on anything.
Lazy
Yeah.
B.
We
one-
give a shit.
Lazy
We're not
B.
going anywhere.
Lazy B.
Yeah.
One
She
word.
said that with
I know.
so much emphasis.
I know. She was like, it's like she didn't hear it, and then all of a sudden she
Wait,
heard it.
wait.
It was like,
Add me back.
That's-
add me
Yeah.
back.
Dude,
Add me back,
it's
add me
real.
back.
Like if we're like,
Add
so
me back.
we're so extreme. Like if we don't give a fuck, we really do not give a fuck. Like I
Yeah.
could not care
Unworried.
less.
Unworried is the new vibe. It's
Like I could not care less, but when we give a fuck, it's like
yeah,
absurd how
Yeah.
much we care.
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah.
both ends. It's
Wow.
like if I'm into it, I'm going nowhere.
Wow.
Like I am committed to you.
Wow, yeah.
And like like I'm committed to her. Like the people who I really care about. Like I will. be here
Scorpios are
for.
like
Yeah,
that. Like
100%.
Scorpios, like it's like they're not fucking up right now. Like they're on, like they're like legitimately doing like what they're supposed to be doing, and like mad people come in like, is this my vibe? And you're like, no.
That is the best thing you can do. Just say
Wow.
no.
That's one thing we're good at is we can kind of jump into a situation and we can just like see to your soul.
Yeah,
like, we
I'll
can
say
just kind of
time.
like.
I've never resonated with anyone else in my life as much as I do with Connor, who is my opposite.
Yeah.
You know? I've
Yeah.
never felt like
Okay, I added
the
you.
closest.
It's totally a thing.
I added you. What's yours?
Okay, mine. Oh shit, I gotta look up what it is. I thought. Okay, you can. I think it's my last name. So type in.
added you back.
P-
Let's check it out.
Let's see here. Okay. Oh, PUHALA.
Oh wait, shoot.
Wait, you ready, Nat?
No.
Pahala at me.
Yes.
Wait.
All right. I
Yes.
just
Corey
added you.
Allison.
That's me.
Oh, you found me.
Oh my gosh, Natalie, we don't have any uncompatibilities.
We don't.
Ooh.
We got a lot.
Wait, but Corey, we do.
Well, we already do all that.
Yeah, I had a
Oh,
feeling.
the Scorpio stuff. I definitely like.
Scorpios and Aquarius. Like, I love Aquariuses. Like, we get.
My mom loves me too.
Like, where's my? How do I see my friends?
Our philosophies of life. Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, what are our philosophy? I'm curious.
Hey, Corey.
Wait, we should read
Check
these, 'cause
the
people can't see
chart.
them. We're
Where
being
are my
dicks.
friends?
We need to read
Where
them.
are my friends?
Yeah, okay, we are.
No, I like this noir effect. Like, keep them guessing.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, there they are. Okay, where? Okay, I'm going to.
Nah, we're so responsible.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Are you
Natalie,
ready
I'm
right now?
curious. I'm so curious. I feel like I don't know.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I forgot.
We
that
don't
our
have any
birthdays-
either.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Taurus, Capricorn.
But we're like the exact
okay,
opposite of.
I want to run it
Ours
down.
are like the opposite. Like, what's this face for
Same-
you
yeah.
is smiley for you, and vice versa.
Yeah,
Oh,
interesting.
interesting.
I almost think it's the same way with you guys too.
Yeah. But which makes a lot of sense because it's the whole opposites attract idea of like we definitely connect for what we have in common, but also
Yeah.
like
I
what's
also
different
think
about us.
the
And
thing-
some signs connect with themselves and some signs don't.
That's true.
I also think we have just a thing where like what I find frustrating about you and you find frustrating about me, we fundamentally understand.
Because we
We're- it's
hate it in
Oh,
ourselves.
yeah.
Things that we don't like about
wow.
ourselves.
That's what I was,
Dude,
that's what I was
that's
just
like-
thinking about this chart.
that's
We
Like,
like
so
put like
fast.
we're so the same.
For sure.
We're so the guy. We have like
Yeah.
the only thing
Is that
different
it?
is
Is that
like
what it's
one
saying?
sign.
Yeah. So
And
that's
so of course, like
Yeah.
our birthdays are like maybe 20 days apart or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like we just like we get it.
we get it.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Good
yeah,
call.
exactly. It's like
But we're
almost-
different.
In so many
We
ways.
get it, but we're different.
We provide each other things.
I see that.
but
Wait.
we
So
get it.
Scorpio is like November? When is that?
My birthday's
Yeah.
November 12th.
February.
Okay.
February. like,
October, end of October. Into
Scorpios are
November.
Okay.
notorious Valentine's Day babies.
Yes, we are.
Ooh,
You-
yeah, there you go.
I saw a tweet the other day that was like,
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
Valentine's Day is a conspiracy started by Scorpios to create more Scorpios.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Wow.
Or I saw something that was like boycott Valentine's Day this year. We don't need more Scorpios. Which I was like, that's mean.
I'm
Yeah.
also over the Scorpio hate because the only people who hate on Scorpios are people who just can't handle us. Like
Yeah,
Scorpios.
I'm not
bring
down with
so
the
much
Scorpio
to the
hate,
table.
but I'm definitely down with the Scorpio
Facts.
advertising.
Yeah.
Like Scorpios out there, like, come be a Scorpio.
Because the Scorpios like
Like,
I'm gonna
love day.
treat you
Go
the way
ahead.
you are, like, and I'll
Yeah.
judge you if you suck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, and like, I
exactly.
won't fuck with you if you like fuck my shit up.
Yeah.
We all just-
authenticity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we're
big
like.
time.
We just want you to be who you are, and like that's another nice thing about Scorpios is like they get a lot of hate because we are comfortable and like to exist in spaces of difficult subjects like sex, death, taboo shit. We're
Yeah.
like really into that.
Yeah.
What makes that cool is that
Especially as
we
a
are
millennial.
comfortable with the shit that you find taboo about yourself. You know what I mean? Like so like when we
Oh,
meet
Samwise.
somebody like the shit that they find taboo or like that they're like we're into that like
Yeah.
aspect of people and like
Yeah.
New
Everyone
friend.
say, hey Sam, join us. Just
Yeah.
hop on the mic.
Pop over. Pop over.
Is there a chair to grab you can pull up next to me? Take your time though.
Yeah, over there.
Chair next to you, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
we're
Please
talking about
join us.
astrology.
Everyone's favorite
I wore
conversation.
an astrology shirt last time.
He literally wore it yesterday.
Oh, he
on
did.
The podcast.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Wait, it was
That's
funny.
hilarious.
You
Can
like
you
this?
describe it to
It
us?
was it was sex positions by your star sign. So it was like
way.
Sagittarius,
Damn
like
That's
yeah,
good.
it was
I
funny.
love that.
It was funny.
Yeah, mine's a reverse cowgirl for Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Sagittarius.
What's
Hey, dude,
Sag.
mine's a regular cowgirl.
What was Scorpio?
What's your sex? What's your
What's your
position,
what's your
guys?
position?
Tell me your position.
Write
On the
in.
position.
Comment below.
What?
Connor, can you make sure that camera is centered on Sam and I?
Oh yeah.
It feels pretty good, I guess.
Are we gonna keep going with astrology, or are we
Yeah,
gonna...
I'm into.
Okay.
Or should we go Firefest? Or should we
I
wrap?
could talk
What
about
do you
astrology
think?
Let's just
forever.
wrap.
I'm down to move to the next. So let's go back to Firefest.
Oh God,
Oh
yeah.
my God, yes.
Got so much to say.
Hold on, let's make sure you're live.
Billy McFarland, douchebag of the century.
Welcome.
Welcome,
Everyone, this is Sam, my uncle, Uncle Sam.
Hi,
Uncle
Uncle
Sam.
Sam.
Uncle Sam, coming here for your tax dollars.
He made it.
He made it.
I skated here.
Wonderful.
He skated.
All right. All the more
All
impressive.
right, so
Firefest.
Firefest.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you have gone?
No. So that's the thing.
How'd you had the money?
No. So like I'm pretty like
Wait, is this a debate? Like, are there people?
I was
I-
just joking.
Oh, wait, for a second, I haven't watched the video, so I
Oh,
was like, wait,
yeah.
is this actually something?
Oh,
you
that's
would
funny.
do?
Yeah, you haven't seen it. No.
Yeah, I
It's
was
not.
like,
It's
oh,
like
no.
so not that joke couldn't even, you know.
Yeah, I just don't get it because I'm not there.
I feel like
Firefest had to be there.
had to be there.
Hit
But
it.
no, I mean like even just like in terms of like the like crowd that was interested in going, like the social media frenzy around Firefest, like that was where our conversation earlier started. It really illustrated how segregated the internet is.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it. Like I'm pretty dialed into the festival scene. I had no idea what Firefest was until it fell apart.
Yeah.
Right? Because like I don't follow Kendall Jenner. I
Yeah.
don't like follow these people that
Kendall
were.
Jenner went?
She didn't go, but she
was
repped
a-
She was, like,
it.
involved with,
She
like,
repped. She made it
Yeah.
a thing. The promotion of it all is where it took off. And the thing is, all these Kendall Jenner, Bella Hadid, Hailey Bieber, or whatever, like they were all.
I know. They kept tagging her like that. I was like,
They all posted about it before it was a thing, and that's what got people like, oh, I need to be there. I need to go to this. And so it was like this thing that like everyone needed to go to. And the thing is, like I didn't when that all went down, I heard nothing.
Yeah.
Crickets and like
Really? It didn't enter your sphere at all?
At all,
Like
not
you
once.
you haven't heard about Firefest until now?
Until it failed. When
Oh,
it
okay.
failed, I was like,
everyone heard about it when it
But no,
failed.
when it
I
was-
don't
Okay,
think it
okay.
was marketed to people like us, though. To be honest, I was talking about this yesterday. Like, it was for super rich people, you know.
Yeah,
Like-
and that's
Yeah.
what we were talking about. Like, and that's
Super
why
duper.
we didn't
But it
know
was-
about it until
And
it
I
was
feel like
literally on
only a
fire.
It was for
Oh, no,
super rich people, and it was for people who wanted to feel like they were super rich.
Exactly,
people.
and I feel like the
yeah.
only people who would buy into going because of the way they marketed it and the images and the aesthetic were people who were either rich and naive and ignorant, or people who wanted to be rich.
If you
Yeah.
and
pay
naive
if
and
you
ignorant.
pay
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
pay
yeah.
enough,
Yeah.
you can hang out with
Ex-
Bella Hadid.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And
If
that's
If you
100%
pay enough,
what it
you'll
was.
be here with M. Rada.
So many
Yeah.
influencers, people trying to push their branding.
Yeah.
How much
yeah.
does it cost?
Exactly. And it
What's
was
the price?
and that's the crazy part is like insane amounts of people bought into it. Like so many.
Okay, that's
people
an
bought
interesting
into
like
it.
little
So
tangent though.
sad.
Is that these people are as important to rich people as they are to you? Or like
What?
Who?
like
Oh, celebrities.
Celebrities are as
Oh.
important to hyper rich people.
I think they're more important. I don't give a shit what Kendall Jenner's doing. Like,
All right,
I feel like
I'll agree with you on that statement, but like just like celebrities exist because of their broad fandom, you know. So the idea of certain subsets not being all on the hype train, I would think of people who have it all as not as interested with fame as people. who
I
don't.
mean, that's an interesting point, but I think I don't know if you
That would be
grew
my
up-
guess.
If you grew up crazy rich and like in this like bubble, like probably
Wow, the only thing you don't have is fame.
like yeah, exactly,
True.
exactly.
And you try and buy it.
Yeah, so then you're
Wow.
like, I need to hang out with Kendall Jenner. I need to hang
How
out with Bella
insightful.
Hadid, and then I'm a Kardashian. You know,
Yeah.
like so it's like you have it all already. Like that's just that one thing, and they almost
The best
are
way to hang out with
so-
rich people
so
is to be famous.
So you're
but they're
saying
they're
that-
almost so far removed from real life that that's all they can like.
Yeah,
That's
like
the only
only
goal
thing
they
can
have,
contextualize.
You know, they don't know what the rest of the
Or, like,
world
That's
is like.
true.
business
Like, what else are you
tycoon.
shooting
I mean,
for?
Yeah.
if
I don't
that's
know.
Your world?
I want to play devil's advocate a little
Industry.
bit on this side, which is like,
Devil.
I-
He's the devil.
which is just like like okay, like it's like if someone was like, yo, you want to go to Firefest, and I did it, like I looked it up online at all, I'd have been like, yeah, let's send it, like let's go. And like for me, that's not a possibility. Like it would be like months of saving. Like, oh, it's such a big deal. Like you must have loved them so much to pay. Like, but for some
To
people,
see
it was
Blink
probably like,
182.
oh, like you got anything? You got anything in 3 weeks? Like, no, like I had nothing planned. It's like
or
let's send
rather,
it.
like on a different level, is like instead of spending $3,000 to go to Cancun, let's spend $5,000 and go to Firefest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be something we remember for. It will be so much cooler.
And what you were saying earlier, Cor, that is like kind of the tragedy of it is the people that are in that in-between space where they have enough money to do it technically, but they don't have enough money to do
They
it as
like
disposable
emptied their
income.
savings
Yeah.
to
They
go to
like
Firefest, you
they
know?
value being
Yeah.
around these people so much that they're willing to like
Exactly.
empty
What
their
they
bank
get
borders
accounts to
into,
they
do
like,
get one
it.
person to spend
addiction, yeah.
$800,000,
Which is sad in its own right,
Yeah.
but then when it falls through, it's so much
be
more
a
sad.
guest.
Yeah, agreed.
not to invest, to guess,
Yes,
to
yeah,
be
it's
to go there.
Absurd the
Yeah.
amount of money that was like, oh.
It is, yeah.
But on some level, I know at least in the beginning. So I started with the Netflix documentary,
Yes.
as they said, and I preferred that one, but I liked them both. I think they both brought interesting shit to the
For
table,
sure.
Yeah.
and did something different. So I think they're both good. But I prefer the Netflix one because my big thing was it showed the humanity of like the people like the Bahamians,
Yeah.
and how they got fucked over,
Yeah.
and that makes me want to like murder that dude. Like it makes me so
Yeah.
fucking mad.
His
You're
like
right,
his
100%.
you know what
Like-
you know what it is for me is like the term I'm looking for okay, like when you do something
Accountability?
when you do something wrong and you don't feel that bad about it, like it's like a Catholic term almost, not like rebuke, but like
Catholic term.
shit, what am I like? You have this
Repent?
yes, unrepenting.
Yeah.
Why he's so devilish to me is his unrepenting nature. Like that's why, like when he's on bail and all these people he still owes have been hurt by it and everything, he doesn't give a single fuck. And like that
He's
is
a
the moment
sociopath.
when you
Like,
He's
right.
a sociopath.
he's
Psychopath.
actually
Boom.
psychopath.
Sociopath.
We looked it up. Psychopath.
You
He-
think psychopaths?
Yes.
What?
okay. So
Both?
Both maybe.
I was gonna say I would have guessed socio. So
yeah. The
Yeah.
thing
Got
is,
a
he's
combo
almost
here.
we almost do have a combo here because psychopath is like the idea is lack of empathy,
Yeah.
which is what he's displaying that I hate so much.
Yeah.
Sociopath is more like I think the idea is it's a little bit like I guess I don't really understand sociopath quite as much.
I thought
Well, okay, we
sociopath
looked
was
it
a
up. We
lack
looked
of
it up.
empathy.
No, we
A
looked it up.
sociopath has no remorse for their actions when they do wrong. They just don't
Hold on, you got-
understand.
I'm
Yeah,
pulling- I'm
they
pulling
like
it.
Hurting
can't-
people
Here,
is
yeah.
I should
harmful.
pull it up.
They
Because
don't
it's a
understand-
lack of empathy. You can't
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
it
yeah,
with
yeah,
them,
They
so
don't
you
understand
can't
that their
feel
actions have consequences
Yeah.
on others.
Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
you can't envision what they're feeling.
It's just like basically every millennial, you know.
which is our generation.
I would actually disagree. I think we're very empathetic.
I agree.
generation.
Yeah.
That was very much.
But we're also
a
funny,
sarcastic
which is why you made that joke.
pertaining to the satire on millennials
All right.
by you know.
I'm sorry I didn't catch that. Way to go.
It's all good. Very
Sam, you're
smooth.
new to the table. We're
Okay,
catching up to
okay,
this
okay,
style of
okay.
humor.
Okay, here we go. So yeah, lack of empathy or
Hold on.
concept.
I
For
don't thi- I don't
psychopath.
think the guests have seen it yet. Hold on.
Oh no, this
guess-
is not how
I keep forgetting.
No, because we
have
just
guests.
researched it. I
Yeah.
thought the same thing. I
Yeah.
thought the same thing.
No, I'm interested.
I haven't been able to forget about it at all.
Ben's been thinking about it 24/7.
That's you're a Gemini moon.
Yes.
It's Gemini moon right there.
I verge on sociopath for sure. Definitely.
But a lot of
Shouts out.
Geminis, I think, do.
Well, that's because you're an
I would
Aquarius, which
generalize.
doesn't exist, and you're a Gemini, which over exists.
See, because I definitely see some of this in the guy. I do see some of this, but also at the
Oh,
same time.
100%.
The thing is, like, okay, like
It's- yeah,
I think the
100%.
idea, maybe a sociopath like has power over crowds type thing, like Wild West Country or whatever that.
Which is Billy
see-
McFarland.
I know, but he's
So, like,
also
the idea-
the
like, the
reason I hate
control-
it.
Criminal
No, no.
opportunism,
No.
fraud.
No. While those words do stick out to me, I still see him as a psychopath.
I see him as both.
Because, okay,
Maybe,
but I don't think he quite makes it to sociopath.
I disagree.
I guess because I don't think there's. I don't know how much premeditation. I think he.
What do you mean? The whole planning of
overall. The over.
You're right. He's a sociopath. Okay, he's more empathetic than anti-personality, right? His impulsiveness, I think, is high. Behavior though starts to get to
I think the
control.
impulsiveness. Well, okay, I haven't
Okay.
watched a documentary,
No, no,
so
no.
I need
I
to
think-
shut up.
I think erratic.
No,
I
but
think erratic
by
behavior.
the time we get to social relationships, he's in the sociopath
Yeah.
category.
Listeners, what do you think? Is
Please
Billy
comment below.
McFarland
Sociopath or
psychopath
psychopath?
or sociopath?
Okay, it is interesting. It is interesting because
Should this
you're
just
right.
be a new
You are right.
segment?
Psychopath.
No, no. Here,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna give you my quick rundown of where she falls in. Lack of empathy, high impulsivity, erratic behavior, tendency to participate in schemes,
Yeah,
tendency for impulsive or opportunistic criminal behavior.
but fraud is in the other one.
Well, fraud is like
Fraud is what it was about.
you're right. You're right.
See,
I
this
guess
one right here.
is fraud the only word that's
That's
different?
me.
No, I just I don't fuck with premeditated that hard. I think he's dealing.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he's dealing way harder from a post perspective than a pre perspective.
Agreed.
I think he's leveraging all like means to an end losses or something. Like he's like he's asymptoting towards failure.
I get what you're
Alright,
saying. So
alright,
that's why you're
fair.
saying he's highly impulsive and he is more on the psychopath criminal
Yeah, exactly.
predisposition.
But he definitely is able
Okay.
to a
I'm
tendency
following.
to appear superficially.
Wait, is this going to be
normal.
a list of people who fall in either category?
Oh, that would
Damn
be
it.
great.
Oh my god.
All right.
Do you guys ever listen to like true crime
Okay,
podcasts?
but
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
here's a great
Of
thing. Ready?
course.
So
He's
good.
definitely a sociopath in his career.
Yeah, definitely.
Although steady jobs.
Because he's not though. Because the second he went out on bail, he immediately went back to doing the selling fraudulent
immediately
ticket
on
things.
bail. He was immediately in
And
debt.
he was
Yeah,
filming. He
yeah,
was.
That's
filming.
crazy. That going to jail doesn't take away the
I
world.
bet you there's a
Yeah, that
correlation
can
between
still fuck with
sociopathy
people.
and
He had a
psychopathy.
fence
Oh,
to
of
do
course,
all
yeah.
Of course,
to
of
do all
course.
his business for him, but he was filming his fence in the same room as him, thus incriminating himself while on bail. So that's psychopathic right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
okay, so I will
but
say-
sociopathic for sure. For like literally having
Yeah.
no filter for going. Yeah, let's record. Let's get a documentary of the illegal. Shit
He
I'm
would
doing.
love to fuck the pig in
There's
Black
a
Mirror.
yes, and there's a sociopathic trait that's like can't be
Oh, shit,
wrong.
dude.
I think he would.
I agree. Can't be wrong. Okay, that's
That's
in the
a
Hulu.
big thing
That's in
about
the-
sociopaths.
Shouts out Hulu documentary for catching this boy never repenting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you don't
Sociopaths
get that.
can't
You don't
be
get that in the
wrong, and
Netflix
that's
doc.
the thing,
In
like-
the Hulu
No.
one, you get him not even giving an inch.
Yeah.
No inch to committing
Hulu-
wrongdoing.
The Hulu got his delusion. They
Yes,
got his
Yes.
big time.
Yes, and Netflix got who he
Who he fucked over.
brainwashed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like, yeah, who he
exactly.
fucked over.
The reason I liked the Netflix one more, or like had more of an experience, like more of an emotional experience with the Netflix one, was that from the people who attended to the people who were involved in the organization to definitely the people that got screwed over, like the locals in the Bahamas, like all those people, I could feel their emotions. Like
Yeah.
I could feel the guilt and the stress of the people
Yeah.
who were working for McFarlane
Yeah.
and who were trying to be like, this is not gonna fucking
Yeah,
happen.
yeah,
like
agreed.
I could feel that. And
100%,
I could feel
100%.
the pain of the locals in the Bahamas that got screwed over.
Yeah.
Like it broke my heart.
The
Like
Yeah,
Hulu one,
agreed.
I'll say, touched on that. They had some guys who were like, "It's not gonna happen, bro."
Yeah,
but it was not. It was not the sob story. of
Exactly.
all the people, like the hundreds of thousands of dollars of savings that this
Okay, so
random
question.
manager at a hotel,
Yeah.
not even the owner, like this random person that got stuck with the bill.
Breaks
So
my
the
heart.
Netflix
Yeah, me
one,
too.
exactly. The Netflix one made you feel something about how people were really affected by this
Yeah.
guy.
100%.
Where the Hulu one,
It was like the storm
also-
of Firefest coming
even,
down.
But the Hulu one, I'll point out one character who differentiates that story is the ex Jerry Media guy who's in the Hulu
oh yeah,
doc,
yeah,
who-
yeah, he's good.
fuck
who,
Jerry.
who
No, stop. Sorry.
whatever, is a big part of the guy who got fucked over in the Hulu documentary, but who isn't even mentioned once in the Jerry Media documentary, And at the end of the Hulu documentary, they're like, Jerry Media is coming out blaming explicitly, you're the down guy. You're the fall guy for this whole thing. How do you feel about that? he's like, well, it fucking sucks. Like, I was assigned this. I didn't bring this to the team. Nothing. It was just like he was randomly the fall guy for Jerry Media, and for Jerry Media to not mention him at all.
Which guy was the fall guy for Jerry Media?
One of the guy on the advertisement design team. I don't remember exactly.
There's
what
always
his
a
role
fall
was.
guy, and that's like I feel like it's like a running joke in media that we see in shows that center around Hollywood and stuff. They joke about the fall guy and whatnot, but like it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And now we're just in a time where people are going to call it out when it happens because it's always unfair. The fall guy always makes no sense. It's stupid. No one pays for whatever act.
Why did you kill the messenger?
Yeah, exactly. It's a flawed system. You can't punish someone and expect everything to go back to normal. And we're at a point in time where people aren't accepting it anymore. So yeah, it's gonna start to not be a thing. But there's gonna be some
prison reform.
disrupt.
That's happening now
true.
in a way that it hasn't happened in a long time.
Thank God. Fuck
Yeah.
privatization of prison.
Jesus
Sure.
fucking Christ, man.
Let's stop that.
Yeah. That's
I mean, the only
bullshit.
thing is, like, I could kind of imagine, like, a super, really altruistic private prison, like,
You could.
taking. Well, like, right now, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah,
but,
Nate-
but
Nate-
Good,
I like
If
the
men
idea.
were good.
Yeah, girl.
Hey, I believe.
She said it.
Men suck.
I didn't even mean that as like a gender thing, really. I kind of just thought people suck. But
You literally said two
But I'll
things:
own
men and suck.
I
You
know.
didn't mean
I
that as a
did
gender
say
thing.
it.
It's okay.
I did say it.
I was good.
I did say it.
No.
No, but I mean humans suck. Like we do shitty things
that's
all
true.
the time.
Facts.
We're fallible.
It's not all
like,
bad.
yeah.
But we
And
do
you
cool
create a
stuff.
private
We do cool
system.
stuff.
Yeah, we do cool stuff.
But like the prison thing, you create a system like that, and of course the people benefiting off it aren't going to stop. Why would they? Why would they
Yeah.
want to? And why would they want to see those
Well-
people as actual human beings? Because as soon as they start seeing them as human
But
beings,
I think
it's
so. Here's
all-
my solution to it, because it's a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm not fine with it, and I think a lot of people aren't
Not
fine
chill
with
with
it.
it. I'm
You know,
not okay with
and
it.
like it's not like the kind of thing I feel powerless to. Like I think to myself, you know what? Like people, I think would support like a really fair private prison, like a prison that was run by people who understood.
Are you gonna open it?
I am starting a prison.
Connor's private pee.
Yeah, my private.
I mean, yeah, I agree. That sounds great. but
send
that
your
has
bad
not
guys
been the
here.
All right,
situation.
you're right.
Wait,
I'm not,
so let me get this
I'm
straight
just
real quick.
making shit up, but I believe
You are
it's
I
not-
have a dream.
you're for or against private prison?
He's for positive private prisons.
Yeah,
But that doesn't exist.
private
I'm
prison.
against
Yeah,
the
He's gonna
private
invent
prison.
it.
Yeah.
He's for a private prison that literally has never existed. Like,
It's coming
Which
to be
believe
right in this very moment.
Businesses tend to not have existed before.
No, exactly. I'm all for the
I mean,
optimism.
I love the idea. I would love for good, morally upstanding people to maybe like.
We're
come
only
in.
laughing because we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to maybe make a good situation
'Cause
where people can be reformed and like actually like it can be a positive thing. That would be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not the reality right now.
Yeah.
And like, so I mean, that's a big thing to take on. You
Oh,
know?
for sure. Like I
But
don't really
love
know
the
much about the
optimism.
Shout out
the
Nancy.
politics of it, to be honest. But I obviously know that the idea of a prison has a financial incentive to incarcerate
My life
and
is a
to
prison.
maltreat.
Exactly.
is
It's a
fucking
flawed
stupid.
system.
It's
You
terrible.
can't
Yeah.
you can't reward people for people going to prison, otherwise you're creating a system that eats itself, that
Yeah.
wants people to go to prison.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not what we should want.
And
No.
also, like, prisons are supposed to be spaces for reformation, for like
Yeah,
reform,
agreed.
and
Which
and
is what I
they-
was starting to get
They
at.
don't
Yeah.
do a good job
It-
of that at all.
yeah.
Like they don't do a good
No, they
job
don't.
of like.
If you haven't listened to the most recent series, or the most recent series of Serial, it felt wrong
Ooh.
because it sounded repetitive. Series of Serial. Anyway, you guys know Serial. You
Yeah.
know that
Yes.
show.
Of
Shouts
course.
out.
Have you guys listened to the recent episode?
No.
So they
The
jumped
third
into
season?
the third
Okay.
season. So they went from what it was like a criminal case to like war case to now they're at a courthouse in like Ohio. And they just stayed at the same courthouse for like a year and just followed different cases and then
Oh,
just
wow.
like basically were like following the criminal justice system and being like, does this work?
Yeah.
On every level, like on the most base levels to like complicated things and just like getting to know.
That's so great because
and,
like the biggest ding in the armor of Serial is like, that's just one story.
Yeah, and so they flipped it right
on
its head, and they were like,
F how do I know it's
we
like
can
that
still
always?
do it, and they did 20 cases.
What
and
were
it's
their
so
findings
Wow.
for Ohio?
Yeah. Do you know?
They used Ohio because they thought it was like a pretty good demographic for like the country as a whole. Just they like chose it for that reason.
Represent.
But flawed for sure. Like, and they brought light to a lot of things, and they're not trying to like point the finger at any one
Are there
person.
any key flaws that stick with you without
the same things that we're talking about now? Racism and just prejudice and how
do they offer like
police
solutions
brutality.
or just more like it's just like a look at the
Is
truth?
it an expose or a
more of an expose? Like they're not trying to like start a riot and get people to come out with pitchforks.
Yeah.
It's more just like presenting it. Like like people should have a more clear view of what this is so we can better learn how to approach it. Because if we can all see what we're dealing with, right now it's like the whole like Black Lives Matter. People feel disconnected to certain movements, and so they don't know how to like connect it all.
Yeah,
they don't know how they fit into it if they don't naturally fit into a certain movement. If you're not of color, then you maybe don't know how to incorporate into Black Lives Matter. You don't know how to support or be involved at all. Yeah. So it's like the way that that Serial laid it out is just everything. They deal with people from all walks of life, all different situations. They produce it so well. So yeah, I don't know. It's just so open-ended.
Where do you watch it at?
Empowering. I just got it through podcasts. On
Okay,
iTunes.
I was gonna say something while you're talking. You were talking about how just it's a more clear view of the system. That's you watch like Making a Murderer. The most striking thing is that you're just literally like, what? The police like interviewed this like kid with like a mental disability and like forced him to say all this shit and you just think to yourself like, oh my god, like this is just one random leg of this whole thing that like there just must be so much.
And the sad part, like in those
people like doing their job.
Exactly, and they think they're doing their job. They don't think they're doing something wrong. They're not trying to hide it
out of someone.
Yeah, they're not embarrassed about their behavior.
They've always been that way.
It's a means to an end. They think that they're doing what they should be because that's what they're taught. And it's like, I don't know. Being an optimist, I think our generation is kind of getting to the root of like addressing problems and then just being like, we don't maybe have an answer, but like, how do we fix it? Let's just put it out there.
I think it's almost like the millennial thing.
I think our generation is
we're just going to devolve this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
there's not.
Exactly.
We are not nearly as decisive as we ever have been.
No.
We want other. We are down to collab.
Yeah.
Fucking anyone.
Yes. No, we just like
put me in a room with Steve Jobs. Put me in a room with Bob Dylan. I don't care.
Lil Uzi Vert.
Elon Musk.
Yo, Uzi and I are gonna, make some shit.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I am.
Exactly, like that's the vibe. Like everyone's so down to work with someone else.
But it is
more than they've ever have before.
Yeah, it's collaboration is huge. I totally agree. We think of things more communally. We think of things from that perspective. And yeah, I also think we're just really interested.
I think really with like the birth of the internet, we think of things more locally too.
Yeah,
you know, totally like.
And I think we think of things like we want to just kind of excavate and like not necessarily be like we have the answers to these problems, but we're gonna fucking shine lights on them.
Yeah, and we understand the problem.
Yeah,
and we see all of it.
Everybody look at this
corners,
and like here we are, and we'll do our best to like, but we need to be looking and thinking about it.
Exactly. Like we can't just blindly like show up and be like, so which way do I go? And then everyone's like that way.
Or like this is the right way. This is the moral path. This is the right path. It's like no. Let's look at what's in front of us and then let's sit on it for a second.
Instead, we all sit around a table with alcohol and weed and just hash it out for hours.
How would this benefit me? Or like how does this benefit them is like the way to think about it. Like it's not the first thing to think about is like would this fit into my lifestyle? Yay or nay? Then my approval of it corresponds like yay or nay. It's more like does this like work for their life? It's seeming like yay, or like still with like drug addictions or something. Like, is this working for them?
The revolutionary idea of tolerance.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely. Like, it feels like so like.
I'm with you.
It sounds so simple when I say it.
No, it's just the understanding of like there's a lot of ways to live a life, and just because you've been taught something is wrong in a certain way.
I thought you were going to pull out the straws, Des. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat. I hate that expression so much.
Me too.
I'll
never say it. Let's kill that one.
Actually reminds me, before we kill it, there's a line from Parks and Rec, and it's when they're at the animal control, and someone says like, "There's a lot of ways to skin a cat," and one of the animal control dudes is like, 5. There's 5 ways to skin a cat.
Jesus Christ. No.
But now
shouts out Parks and Rec for having that smack, that moment of like, there's so many ways to skin a cat. Wasn't so. How many ways are there?
They did so many
Parks
things.
and Rec is
it's the best.
They're gold on that,
It's
like
the best.
setting up a lofty expectation and then giving a concrete answer.
Yeah.
Wherever it is.
Like answering a rhetorical question.
Oh, yeah.
Answering a rhetorical question is
definitely.
shouts out Park.
That show is, oh god, it's like, it's ingrained in my
The amount of
bones.
hours that we've spent watching that show or talking
stupid
about that show.
How much time I've spent watching that show. Love it so much. Parks forever.
Yeah.
Gang.
Pawnee forever.
Pawnee forever, literally.
All right, guys, we've made it 3 hours into this podcast.
What? No.
We've been live for 3 hours.
This has been fun.
You guys look great. Look at you guys.
I know, right?
Aw. Look at you, art history babes.
I know. Okay, I can't wait till we get everyone here.
All right, yeah.
We'll make it
So
happen.
shouts
We're
Saturday
definitely down to
night.
do that.
Jen and Ginny, love you, babes.
We'll see
Shout
you
out.
guys
Love the
shortly.
babes.
See you so soon. I'm so excited to see you guys.
I know.
miss you.
We don't see each other all very often.
Yeah.
They're almost here.
Yeah. 3 hours in, how committed are you? You listening?
Jen, Ginny, where you at?
How are you with us?
Have you done your research? Did you do your homework?
Yeah, I know.
Did you do your homework?
Oh,
All right. So, do we have any last seconds?
Yeah, we do. You guys are down in LA for a couple reasons. Tell the people.
Mostly for the LA Art Show, which is happening right now. It's a hoppin' event. It's pretty cool. Like artists, galleries from all over are in LA being presented right now. We have the pleasure of performing live on Friday and Saturday night at 5 p.m. We're going to interview the director. We're going to interview the curator of contemporary, like LA-based art. And we're going to, make some YouTube videos. We're going to try and get as much content as possible. And just soak in all the LA art scene as much as we can.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Woo.
Pretty much it.
Wonderful.
Very cool. Very cool.
All right. I would like to give a quick, I forget. We just changed the name of the section. What's the new name of the section?
Brand love.
Brand love.
Hey.
Brand love. Yeah, this is like where I really want to get to know, like, what are some things in your
Shout out.
That definitely enhanced my night.
You did, right?
It was a good bottle of wine.
Things that have enhanced my life. God, that's such a big question. But the first thing that popped in my head is actually a brand we're sponsored by, but I legitimately love.
Oh,
Shout
I love
out.
them. Care of.
You're
They're
totally
so
allowed to be
good.
sponsored by things you love.
No,
Yeah.
and
You should be.
You should be.
When they overlap, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Care of is this company that does like personalized vitamins. Like you go on, you take a quiz,
Yeah.
and they like give you suggestions for like your nutrient needs or like what
It's really
vitamins
cool.
and
Is-
supplements.
Do they have
I
like
like
a
that.
pretty like minimalist, like
Yes.
yellow
Yes.
kind of?
White,
Yellow
white and
vibe?
pink are their main colors.
Okay.
White,
Because
pink,
I've seen
gray.
some billboards around that have like
maybe,
this
but
super
maybe.
minimal, like
It's very minimal.
4 vitamins.
Maybe that's their marketing campaign right now. Their actual packaging's pink, but that could still be
Okay.
them because they're like definitely the big
Yellow,
brand.
yellow's definitely coming to mind for whatever reason. I
They're the
think
big
probably
brand
color.
in vitamin specialization.
So you take a
Interesting.
fun quiz. It doesn't take very long, and then they give you suggestions for vitamins and supplements for your lifestyle, and then you can you can alter it how you see fit, and then you get these personalized. You have yours. They get
yes,
sent
bring
a
'em out.
month's supply of vitamins, and that you get daily personalized packages that have like your name and like little inspirational quotes and
Yeah.
shit on them, and then you have like all your vitamins for the day.
That's
And I've been taking mine for 2 weeks, and I
So
feel
it comes.
great.
Does it come in literally like a 7 like Sunday, Monday,
No,
Tuesday?
it comes in like a long thing, like a long package,
box.
a box, and then you just take your package out every day.
Should I pull it up? I guess I'll
Pull it up.
Why
But yeah, we
not?
got sponsored by them, and we just got so excited.
What vitamins? What are they called?
Care of.
I mean, how did that happen? Did they just reach out or what?
Well, we're part of a podcast network.
Hey, Brian.
Oh, cool.
What's up, Brian? Recorded history.
Podcast network.
And
Good to
so-
know.
Yeah.
They
What's the secret password?
Yeah.
they hook us up with ads, and they do all that business side of it. Basically,
Oh, cool.
they make those partnerships happen. And
Yeah.
they're like, hey, we have this this
FYI, we
potential
click the ad
sponsorship.
version.
Are you interested? And
Yeah.
we say yes or
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And
That's
then,
them.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is them.
Care of.
I
Use the-
think this is the company I've seen advertised.
Yep.
This
If
unless there's a couple vitamin companies
This
in this
Futura
exact-
minimalist WordPress
in this
website.
exact, like in this WordPress
In LA,
brand.
this has to be the company.
Yeah.
I think so.
If you're into it, if you check it out and you're into it, be sure to use our code, Art History Babes.
Okay, so
Is
Ben,
it 50? Art History Babes
I think
50?
I think so. But Ben,
How
hit
do-
personalize up in the corner
Okay.
there.
Ooh,
Far
let's,
left.
let's figure out what vitamins
Watch.
you
I want you
need.
guys to see like
Okay, let's
because
go
it's
through
so
it.
well designed. It's just like their quiz is really well done.
We love that.
I
Hi,
know.
Care of. Care of is a kind of a weird name though. I'm gonna give like a
Yeah.
little quick like.
Yeah.
It's different, but it could be cool. I don't know yet. Jury's still out.
Yeah.
All right,
Could be cool.
we'll do this for Sam.
Sam.
Sam,
What's up, guys?
Nice to meet you, Sam.
it's winking at you.
Sam,
Yes.
are you informed or are you
Skeptical.
skeptical?
I like how
Or
all
curious.
these.
three
I like these
choices.
3 choices so much
Yeah,
because they're like
right?
It's really well done.
they're
I'm
like
not
they're all
kidding.
smart.
Like,
they're all smart.
Let's
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
skeptical.
There-
I
Let's go
feel like let's
skeptical.
put it
Yeah.
to the test.
come on, Sam.
Yeah, put it to the
Keep-
test.
Put it to your test, bro. You seem skeptical of this test.
It will be less than 5 minutes.
These
That's what they
interesting
always
like
say.
okay
4 parts.
basics.
I feel like it's already been 5 minutes.
Sam's like, I'm done.
At the end of it, they're gonna be like, turns out you need all of them.
You're right. this
You
is
are very
this is me.
nutrient
This is me.
deficient.
Taking,
Yeah.
This is me taking like the
Let's
food
do on and
handlers
off.
test or like the DMV like quiz before, where it gives you like you have to run through the timer before you can click on the next slide.
There we
That's
go.
how-
That's what we're
exactly.
at right
Not right now. They're in my car. Are you? Nope, not that.
Progressive company. I'm into it.
now. Non-binary, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Not
I'm about
today.
it. It's dope.
All right, this is where I reveal how old I am. Dinosaur man over here. Oh, what does that have to do with anything?
How much sun you're getting?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
Weather.
It's that D.
Ohio.
Oh,
Your genetics, maybe.
But he's Ohioan.
Oh, he's an Ohio.
let's go.
You know.
Let's go general
Yes.
health.
General health. Let's do it.
Okay.
What should we explore? Digestion. I have stress and digestion problems.
Okay.
Those would be
Those
the
are
two.
two good ones.
Send it.
Because I feel that.
But which one's the top one?
Stress.
Oh, you said that on
back,
purpose.
back.
No, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Let's go.
Should we go back? We
I
can
think
go
we'll
back.
Oh, go back. Go
We
back.
can
Go
go
back.
back. Do you want to go back?
Oh no.
Oh wait, hold on.
We'll go
Yeah,
back.
go back. You can go
The-
back. There
I
you
chose.
go.
Oh.
I
like
chose the
that.
wrong one.
I like digestion now.
Almost so
Simple.
bad.
Now
No,
that
but it
we're-
wasn't your first choice.
Okay,
We've
fine.
affected that choice.
Should
Try
I give
again,
it?
try again, try
Oh no, yeah, for real. Try again.
If anyone wants to DM, here, now's your chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it.
Send nudes. It's Sam's email.
Tell me about your stress.
Neither.
Just stress, bro.
Most of the time.
Dude, that picture's so sad. You're missing an eye.
Ooh.
We got cramps
Okay,
floating.
I want to know everyone's answer to
Okay,
this
this is
real
gonna-
quick.
this is gonna get-
From chest
Sam, I'm curious, dude.
What's your digestion like?
Yeah,
to throat.
Chest to throat.
That's me, baby.
Okay, I'm a
Interesting.
middle. I'm a middle.
I'm a middle too.
I'm a middle.
Oh wow.
It's getting personal,
Sam.
Sam.
What is this?
For all those at homework away.
Yeah, exactly.
Never should have picked digestion.
Bad move. Bad
No, but
move.
I'm actually
Stress.
so interested because like,
Stress one's got to be worse. It's like,
This is
How many
making me
people
more
like you?
stressed.
who do you blame?
You
supposed to
gotta
help
pick
with the
one. What
stress.
do you
all right,
think?
do you have any self-control at all?
We'll just go with just right for now.
All right, he's feeling okay about it.
Feeling okay. Lifestyle.
Really dedicated.
Really
addicted.
really dedicated to smoking weed.
Dude,
for
these
sure.
are 3 weird options, kind of.
Yeah.
On a kick right now, ready to get started. So
Because it's like the same thing applied to a different question that deserves like a different thing.
Do you work at like how often do you work out a lot? Are you like?
Are you? Yeah, exactly. Are you?
I do.
Are you feeling in a phase?
I'm a very
Have you
active
been at
person.
this, or are you
Are
like
you,
thinking
like,
about it?
Active.
How
Like yeah, are you like working towards?
Is this
physical
a resolution?
goals? Like
Is this a, habit change,
This is
or is
not-
this a curiosity?
This is.
this.
We'll go with curiosity. Let's do
I
that.
go middle. I would say middle for myself. Like.
He seems ready to get started.
Ready to get
Wait,
started.
Wait, you said you're active. Though. Do you go to the gym?
You
Go to the gym.
skateboard,
I just skateboarded here.
but healthy is
A
different than
mile.
active.
Honestly, active's a huge part of being healthy.
Active
Okay,
is,
let's go with
active
really
is
dedicated.
one leg of the wellness wheel. I'll give it to you for sure.
It is.
Facts.
I mean, I
He's on a kick. He's
I
on a
would say
kick.
medium.
Well, let's get
Raw
through
power.
this. We're 3.5 hours in, wasting a bunch of time. All right,
fish
we've
or
got
seafood?
you and 2, Sam. Here we go. Rapid fire.
I love these graphics.
Never.
I know.
2
Never.
fish or 4 fish?
Meat.
Oh, once or twice. Three or more times. 3 more times. That's okay.
Okay, no. 3 more times. Here we go. 3 more times.
Oh wait, that was vegetables.
This is
Whoa.
really fun.
Whoa.
Whoa.
No, you just did
Whoa.
vegetables and dairy.
3 more times.
No.
Okay, but we gotta go back one more.
There we go.
Alright.
3 more times.
3 more times. 3 more times.
Oh, you eat it
Same.
all, bro.
Wow, bro.
Okay, here's the exercise
Almost.
question.
Wait. Hold on. Yeah, almost daily for sure.
Man, I don't like those pictures.
Sam, relax.
I don't fuck with those pictures.
You don't need to lie to us, Sam. You can tell
Muscle
us how much you work
recovery.
out.
I mean, up here I'm nothing, but down here I'm just like brute
Jack.
force.
Rock solid.
Yeah, raw.
I think the answer to this question should be yes.
I mean,
right?
people
Like,
call me an absolute
are
unit.
you down to
Said
it?
no one ever.
Are you down to improve
Absolute
one part of your
unit.
health? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll work on
I think
any
that
part of my
9
health.
times
to
out
be
of 10,
honest.
the answer is gonna be
Let's
Yeah.
work on it. Here we
Let's
go.
say yes.
Dude, that's like when you go to
Ooh,
like
I
LA
hate
Fitness.
this question.
When you
Depends
Often.
on what day.
you
Often
Actually-
is like so weird, right there in the middle. Like,
this question
Yeah.
is: Are you an alcoholic?
Yeah.
See,
And
actually,
are you
what I
aware?
love about them though is that I feel like they're not judgy about it because I did like I put in my alcohol use or whatever and I got a certain vitamin that's supposed to be good for like recovery from drinking
Oh,
and they're
I
like,
like
oh,
that.
this vitamin's good like if
Yeah.
you drink fairly often. They were like, turns out like drinking depletes whatever the vitamin was.
Yeah.
Bummer, huh? Like
The
it's very like non-judgmental.
cute. Okay.
I like that. I like that. That's what we're here for.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what we're here
Fact
for.
of the matter
Non-judgmental,
is, just
vulnerable.
to
Yeah.
reveal a little bit, I do like to drink every day. However, I drink really light beer, and I don't drink very many of them. I drink like 4
Yeah.
beers because I have trouble sleeping, and alcohol really helps for some reason.
Yeah.
So does smoking weed.
It's
so.
a depressant.
Exactly.
Love
we're gonna
that
put
the-
no. We're gonna put no. We're gonna put you
Yeah,
on
no,
the
for
moderate
sure,
scale.
no.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
I'm
a
too
five's
active
a
to.
5 is
We'll
Okay,
say yes.
different question.
We'll
different
say yes.
question.
We'll say
We'll give
yes.
that one a yes. No, because I don't think they're talking
I
about
think they're
weed.
talking about cigarettes.
I'm so
Yeah.
curious about.
This question is changing.
I know.
Time
This
to
is-
This is a pretty. This
You
is a
can't
pretty
just say
modern
smoke.
website. You're not allowed to just ask
No,
this
I
question
went. I
anymore.
went to the doctor. She's like, "Do you smoke?" And I was like, "Weed."
Depends.
And she was like, "Oh, that's not what we're asking about."
cool.
Fuck you.
Exactly. They
No.
like the
Cool.
same.
So
thing
I
happens to the
haven't been
doctor
lying
like
to my
that.
doctor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Good
even
to
want
know.
this website to know that I smoke weed.
So we're gonna say.
No, I always ask.
You
I
wanted
always-
to know everything. You need the vitamins.
Whenever I get
No.
asked that question, I always go cigarettes, and they always say yeah,
Oh.
and like I'm
The
like
whole
no.
computer screen thing freaks
I
me
want
out.
to take the huge horse pill.
Wait, what?
Be the horse.
I said that. I did the horse pill.
I did the one pill.
I did the large
I
pill.
did the one pill.
I want to
Shouts-
like
shouts out
swallow.
horse
A,
pill.
I want to swallow a Red Bull. Can.
I
Just to say
no,
you did
dude.
it.
I'm definitely against all of this. I'm definitely a too many pill guy. Like,
Big time.
Say it
chance.
loud,
Give
say
me
it
a
proud.
chance.
Yeah.
That's the thing about this. You get like 8 vitamins, and I have to like spread them out.
I would
No.
say everyone needs
Like-
more iron.
Like I'm
But
gonna
I'm
take
gonna
2,
say no.
and I'll come
Okay.
back.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Once in
I
my
answered.
life.
I answered
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. Because they're little. They're real. Like they're really doing something.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Sam is the only person on this planet who has enough iron. He's got so much energy.
Ragweed.
He never
Maybe.
needs to sleep.
Ragweed.
Ragweed.
Ragweed. I get a lot of iron. I do naturally.
You can
What's
tell.
up, baby?
I can tell.
Are you on the any of the fuck no? Hell no.
That's a big hell
I
no.
don't diet. Look at me.
Who they think you are?
Yeah. This is crazy.
Oh, you gotta be.
Values. Wow.
We got 3 more questions. Here we go.
Open.
Ayurveda.
What is? Can I just ask? What the fuck does this have to do
You
with?
should just talk about it today.
I'm reading a book right now that's literally called The Idiot's Guide to Ayurveda, and it's super fucking interesting.
Okay, so
if you're interested in like
Give us the
traditional
15-second elevator.
or it's a traditional Indian.
I mean, to
like,
be straight up, I'm a philosophy major, so I do really love Eastern.
Yeah.
You're in the middle. You're open then.
Yeah, open. Like you don't have to follow it verbatim.
Yeah, we'll go open
but
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
If you're
trust me,
into
it's
Eastern,
not.
Open.
Eastern philosophy.
It's really not anything crazy.
Are you
It's very
super
basic.
closed-minded?
no.
Do you believe in magic? Pick the middle one.
That should be super
What?
close-minded.
Stay away.
Okay,
Do
this
you
is
the
it.
ultimate
believe in
skeptic.
magic?
Do you believe in?
So good.
That's our next shirt.
That's so
Okay,
fucking
wait.
good,
This question,
man.
real quick. This question is super interesting because it totally depends on the product. Like a product, when we're talking about vitamins, I'm for sure picking like slightly cautious. But if it's like a product that's gonna revolutionize my bike locking experience, then I'm definitely down to be cutting edge. You
Yeah.
know,
You
like,
say you'd
Here's
be
where I'm at
available
with
to
it.
learn more.
Well, you're thinking about vitamins.
Exactly. I would go
Vitamins
go
and
middle of the road.
supplements.
for that.
this is vitamins.
Yeah.
This is
Think
vitamins.
vitamins and supplements.
Sam's
What do you
first
think?
answer was stay away.
Stay away.
Like I'm scared of the
If
people
it's the
picking
new
these
season of Rick and
streams.
Morty, fuck yeah. If it's a new skin cream that's gonna make me like sexually like pervasive,
makes
I
me
don't fucking
right.
know.
Sexually
Hell, I get like, no,
pervasive.
I don't
What are
know.
you selling? Are you selling me writing Rick
I
and
hear
Morty,
shit
or are
like
you
this
selling
all the-
skincare?
Yeah,
See where your
exactly.
priorities.
I don't want sex. I want comedy.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Give me comedy. Leave your
Connor, that
sex
struck
at
a
the
deep
door.
chord.
I know. I don't know why it felt like a real comment. It was like
Yeah.
literally just a joke. It was like a full-on joke.
Never
I don't even know what it means.
That's good though.
So yeah,
I live to laugh.
Fuck you, or should I say, don't fuck you?
All right.
Which
what
one?
did we
What are we
decide?
doing? Did
Learn
we,
more,
Did we
learn
scare you
more.
away?
Stay away.
He's
Stay
still
away.
he's sticking to stay away.
Oh,
Care
yes.
of should be giving us so much money.
I know.
Oh my god.
Art History Babes 50 is the promo
Podcast. Come on, let's go.
It literally has to be podcast.
Where did
You
you
don't get it off.
Podcast.
Okay.
Let's
here
see
we
what
go.
vitamins you got. I'm excited.
That's
Me
your
too.
that's your unique QR code.
Yep.
Here we go.
Getting finalized.
Sam.
Daily pick or quick sticks?
Quick sticks.
Oh, I didn't
Quick
even notice
Powder.
that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Daily pack. Daily
Oh my
pack.
gosh.
Daily
These
packs
guys-
are fine.
View
We
We get the
recommendations.
packs. We get the vitamin.
The
pack.
choices are so unique.
What are the
They didn't
powders
even
for?
know.
Who wants to drink their vitamins? That sounds unpleasant.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm being really judgy right
Yeah,
now.
wow.
No, I'm
like,
into it because
smoothies
like
are
on,
fire.
on the
Love smoothies.
Shouts out smoothies.
But I don't like supplements in my smoothies.
I'll just
really.
pour it in one of
Shouts
the
out
15 beers I have
vitamin
a
D
week.
charged orange juice.
Of course.
It's the way to do it, man.
As we
Yeah.
end every show.
Oh, okay. Shouts out vitamin D.
okay.
We
Everyone
got
your
some
bones.
fish oil,
D.
some magnesium.
Your bones need some work,
Ooh,
bro.
magnesium's good. I
We
take
can
that.
tell.
Fish oil.
What's gut check?
Oh no, I don't get that one.
Oh, get your gut checked, maybe.
Yeah. It sounds like a punch to the gut. Yeah.
Like you better
This is what I
rethink your
need
Yeah,
for
you
the
want a
D
gut check?
complex.
Watch out.
Wow.
I think I
Definitely
got
glad.
the B complex. I think I'm taking
You
the
did.
B complex.
Yeah, we talked about
Will you
that.
go back to the magnesium
Okay.
one? Just for a quick sec.
I think I have vitamin D too.
You told us.
Okay,
Oh.
do you
Okay.
you
So
say you
that's the
feel
alcohol
great.
one.
Set the gut
Do you
check.
feel like a specific and like
That's alcohol.
inarguable difference? Like, does it really help in the way that I kind
Dude,
of
I
wanted to?
Supplements for sure help me.
I
And I'm not-
legitimately, so I've been taking them
Yeah.
for probably 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and I have felt better, markedly better.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not like I can do everything, or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but I feel better.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the only way I can really describe it. It's
Interesting.
Like I don't know, just less weird things with, I don't know, headaches or nausea, like a lot, like less of that. I just
Interesting.
feel better.
You know,
like,
I almost feel like, for me, it seems like taking a vitamin every day seems like a little intense. No offense.
But it's way more fun when you have a
But-
cute package with a
The
cold
package
True.
helps a lot.
But what about
it's
like
really exciting.
what about taking
fun.
them like twice a week.
So
I think I don't know that they like if you miss a day, it's not a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
I think
but there
like,
are certain supplements, like the supplements I actually will endorse are the ones that if I don't take them, I notice a difference, which aren't
Really?
a lot.
Oh
So
my- I can't
say,
wait to take them.
I wouldn't say that like across the board, I'm like every supplement makes me feel great, but
Yeah.
there are a few, like 2 or 3 that when I take them, I can tell a difference for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Which ones are those?
magnesium.
Okay.
Magnesium,
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a big
take
fan.
that one.
Can you like
Take
pinpoint the
magnesium, too.
difference?
Yeah, for sure.
What would it be?
I don't know. I just feel like I have more energy and I sleep better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sleep,
Like,
energy.
Melatonin. I shout out to melatonin.
Melatonin
helps
I
me sleep a
love.
bunch.
Shoot, that is what I wanted to get at Ralph's and I forgot.
You forgot it.
Damn it.
I
I
think,
slept so
I think
bad
I have
last
a
night.
bunch
you
of
guys.
Aw.
extra in my car.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that'd make me so happy. If
Sleepy.
that's-
Got you.
Oh, God. I slept
Sleepy
so bad.
B.
But anyway, no, magnesium for sure. I notice a difference. Vitamin D also. I take like a joint supplement because I had, you guys know ganglion cysts? Have you heard of those?
I have heard of those, but I have no idea what they
No.
are.
I got one recently. It's just weird. It's like a bump. You
And
remember
then I
that?
got a matching one.
Yeah.
It's gone now, but
Yeah,
I
mine
got
is
a
too.
matching one.
Is
right
it
after
like-
she
It
got
probably has to do
It
with your
has to be
telepathy.
contagious.
No,
It was
it's
weird.
It's not. It's
It's not, but
How do
she
you guys
got
both
it.
get one on the same?
I don't know, because she got it, she brought it up to me, and then I was like, that's weird, and just for fun, I looked at my wrist, and I had one, and
Yeah.
now it's gone.
I think it was, honestly, I think it was a
It's so
season.
weird.
I think it was
common?
seasonal. I think it was
What the fuck is
seasonal.
this?
Oh,
Well,
okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Because
okay.
we got it at the same
Seasonal?
time. I think it
That's
was
ridiculous.
seasonal, and well, exactly. Not. I don't mean like it was just the season,
Mhm.
but
Okay,
I
okay.
think it was partially the time of year. Like
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of between seasons when it happened.
Oh yeah, I mean like
And,
flus are seasonal, so like other things could be seasonal.
And we were doing yard work together, so we were doing a lot
We
of
were
the
in
same
garden
work.
A lot.
Yeah.
probably sharing gloves and weird.
No,
gross
because
stuff.
what
It's not on the outside. It's inside.
it's your joint.
It's inside.
freaky. It's you can
Interesting.
get it on any joint in your body, and what it is
Can you feel
underneath.
it?
So sometimes
it
it can be
didn't
painful.
hurt.
Mine didn't hurt.
Mine didn't either.
Okay,
but
but
they
what
can.
is it?
It's the so underneath your joints are a fluid that like just sits there in sacs, and so a cyst, the ganglion cyst, is like when rubbing happens and it tears, and then that fluid
Like
leaks
rebuilds.
Yeah.
into a part that it's not supposed to
So
be.
you get a
So it
little
was
cyst
like
under the
yeah.
pin.
So it was like I was
Interesting.
overworking my wrist, and this is my wrist that gets sore. Like I knew this was my bad wrist. It
Yeah.
made sense that something happened with
Yeah.
it, but it was like
Yeah,
a
I
wear
bet you
and
guys it was a
tear.
tool that you guys
Yeah.
were both using,
or
like
yeah,
a,
or just
a
the
type
same
of work.
movements,
Yeah.
just, yeah, and not
I have
stretching.
issues,
Like
I have issues with my wrist, like when I do yoga and stuff.
Yeah.
Too, so.
and same
yeah.
thing,
But it
Pilates.
happened at the exact same time. It was kind of
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
it went away, and which they do.
Yeah.
They can just
They
go
just
away.
disappear.
Yeah.
The fluid like leaks back in.
All right, real quick. Any
Cool.
last
Human
close?
body.
Last
you
statements
don't wanna
on
end- you
Kara.
wanna-
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Last
did-
I
statements on
actually
Kara.
feel really weird ending on my cyst.
Yeah. Exactly.
I said this a few times, but just to reiterate, if you are interested in Care of, use our promo code to get a discount.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's actually a really good discount.
Yeah, Art History Babes 50.
I'm using it.
Use
Art
it,
History Babes 50.
and you
50%
get
off.
Is it 50% off?
I don't know why why else would it be 50?
Yeah. Right?
Whoa.
Isn't that much?
I don't know. I'm
That would be awesome.
Don't be promising things.
you did the call to action, but why else would it be 50?
I don't know. That's just what the number they put
All right,
on it.
well, they're fact checking.
No, but I agree.
I'm
But why
50 is
else
a
would
little
they-
too specific.
I'm looking it up right now.
If you weren't gonna
oh,
like,
it is. It's 50%.
I was gonna say, yeah, you
50.
don't put 50. Oh my god, I got
Nice.
uncomfortable.
no, I was straight with you. I was straight up with you.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, like,
They're like
if
50,
it was
but
like
it's
40, if it was like
15%.
art history babe 7, and you were like 7%
Yeah.
off.
No,
Yeah.
okay,
I'd
so
be
it's,
like,
it's
no.
Art History Babes
Anyway.
50 for 50% off your first month. Is what it is.
Very cool.
So if you're interested,
Very
please
cool.
use our promo code. We really love
50.
this brand.
We
We've gotten
started
really
out
excited about
being
it.
like,
Yeah.
we're not going to renew this. We're not going to pay for this out of pocket. And now we're both reconsidering that heavily. So
Wow.
just as a testament, like
Yeah.
it's a cool company.
It's a cool company, and like I
Yeah.
said, I feel good.
Yeah.
Like, what else
I'm
can
with
you
it.
And when
I'm
you-
seriously
when you
with
do
it.
the
I'm into
math-
vitamins.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're into vitamins already,
Yeah.
you do the math, it is cost effective if you
Yeah.
believe in supplements.
Yes.
So
Yes.
So yeah,
on board.
Very cool.
So
This turned into the longest ad we've ever done.
I'm with it though. It's barely an ad. It's just like okay. You know what? It gets the same part of me that's like was vibing on our astrology conversation is going. It's like people just don't realize.
Wait, we were talking about ads, right? Or brands? Isn't that how we got here?
Yeah,
Oh, so okay, yeah. So, all right, Natalie, do you what?
Yeah, I for sure have brands. I'm kind of a brand whore.
All right, guys, look, I just want to give a quick shout out to fucking OBS.
Love it. That's perfect. And yeah, smiley face. He's so happy.
It's cute.
I'm excited to take my care of vitamins.
Yeah, me too. Me
So
too.
fun. I'm bummed I don't have one in my purse. I took them. That's why they're not there.
Like magnesium sounds like it's gonna change my life.
I really like
I've
magnesium.
been
Yeah, I'm super excited.
So it's not like melatonin. It's like it helps with regulation. So it doesn't
And I think
make
it's
you
longer
fall
term.
asleep. It's like it helps your body know when to wake up and when to fall asleep. So it helps you with that like
circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It like supports your circadian rhythm is kind of the idea of magnesium. So it's like the long-term accompaniment to melatonin in my mind. I believe in them both.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you worry with melatonin
has
like
a cool pair in magnesium is really exciting for me.
Yeah.
Like
They're like the hottest
exciting.
duo
the hottest duo.
wow.
of this year.
M gang.
We're calling it right now.
Yeah. That's not a bad shirt either, you know,
Yeah,
magnesium and what's it called?
Melatonin.
So magnesium and melatonin walk into a bar.
And what
And
happens?
everyone
And you
falls
fall
asleep.
Yeah.
No, that's the shirt. Yeah, that's it.
That's
You
the
know they're good
concept.
guys because
I feel like I feel like the main characters in jokes tend to like
And
it doesn't really fly. Like you start with 3 priests or something, like they're all making it off the plane.
also, 2 guys walking into a room, everyone falling asleep, does not sound like good guys. Sounds
Yeah.
very suspect.
everyone falling asleep.
Sounds suspicious.
Exactly. It's like
That does not sound chill. Yeah.
Don't want to be one of those.
Melatonin and
no, you
magnesium walk
don't.
into a
You don't.
bar and immediately leave to go to sleep.
Yeah, there we go.
There you
That's
go.
more family
Wholesome.
friendly.
That's it's cute.
yeah.
We fixed it.
That's
Cool.
cute.
Ben fixed it.
All right.
Way to go, Ben.
Yeah, good work. All right, you guys.
Should we call it?
I think maybe we should.
Let's call it.
Ben.
Yeah.
All right,
Something.
guys,
You guys.
let's do a quick little jam. You guys have your keyboards in front of you.
no.
Black keys.
Let's hook them up with some auto tune. We're playing Black Key.
Just pick one.
Pick any key.
Ooh.
Thank you so much for coming. It's a podcast.
It's a podcast.
It's a podcast with the art history babes.
It's a collab. We got together and it was fabulous. We got together, it was magnificent. We share a lot in common, even though it's been a minute. You can join in if you want to. You've got auto tune.
It's actually kind of fun. You really
So
can't
it's
pause it.
okay. There's no mistake.
All right, you guys. Office hours 1:15. Huge success. really, really, really huge success.
All right, real quick.
That was amazing. Can I get like a copy of that track? That was great.
Oh yeah.
That was
Check
legit.
check it out on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora.
Art history, baby.
I really enjoyed that. That was great.
Cool, man.
Any closing statements for your fans? At
Oh,
home?
I have a funny question for you guys. As a closing statement, I thought it might be cool. Like, if there's anything you just want to say too, obviously. But I thought if nothing came to mind, I was curious. Like, what advice would you give yourselves at the like very start of your podcast? Like, if you were like day oneing and you could like go back and be like, just do like a little bit like this. Would you change anything? And if so, what?
Like what it? Okay, so those are two separate questions.
You're right. I meant the first one.
So what would I say to myself if I could go back to right like before?
Yeah, exactly.
I would say, why we're still auto tuning, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
I would say, yeah.
What would you say?
What are you saying?
You can say.
All right. I got it turned off.
I kind of like it.
You want it back?
Leave it on, please.
Okay.
If I could go, back and talk to myself like right before I started the podcast, I would probably just say, we're still auto tuning. All right.
Tell them what you'd say.
I would say, don't worry, be yourself, and everyone's gonna love it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Great.
That was very optimistic.
Fuck
I would
Drake.
shit on myself from 3 years ago. They need to know what's coming. They need the hard truth now.
Exactly. So don't fuck it up.
Don't. You better not fuck it up. But I say that because me at that time was already thinking that. Like,
Yeah.
like I say that as like a... Because me at that time was thinking, you better not fuck this
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
saying it more as like a me from the future.
Yes,
coming to
exactly.
comfort
I-
me from the past.
Because you know how you felt.
Yeah, exactly. What do you got, Natty?
Stop procrastinating and just go do your work.
Yeah, I like that one.
Very
I
simple.
like it.
I was a simple woman.
Yeah.
It was a simple solution.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
'Cause
I learned.
Yeah.
I got
What's the easiest
Growing
way
up.
to stop procrastinating?
Go to sleep early.
I don't know. Because I don't know because I just
Magnesium.
grew out of magnesium.
Yeah, honestly,
And this episode is brought to you by magnesium.
honestly though, getting enough sleep is huge.
Big on it.
Sleep is
I
good.
got so.
I
Like,
swear,
was-
you guys, the secret
Okay,
is...
and then coupled with that, waking up early.
Yeah,
I wanna
I'm an
give
early
shouts out-
riser. I'm an early riser.
Getting-
She's not.
Waking
Well, I can
up.
be.
I know,
I
but-
mean, I get up at 4:45 most days.
No, I know you do, but
That's not early.
I don't think it's a bad thing to not be a natural early riser. I think people on different rhythms.
All right,
Because you
guys.
and Kyle were talking about how you guys get bursts. Anyway, we're going off. Anyway,
We're getting off it again.
No,
Stop.
I agree with being an early riser because I'm more productive in the mornings.
Mm-hmm.
However, I believe in being an early riser if you're consistently getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
If you try to get up early every day and you're not getting enough sleep, it's gonna fuck you over in the long run.
Big time.
Right, but
That's
where do you
kind
make the changes in your life?
Go to
Do you make
sleep
it in-
earlier.
Do you make it in go to sleep earlier, or do you make it in
You have
make
to.
sure you get enough
What are you
sleep?
getting done at 11 p.m.?
It's simple math.
I think you make it in learning your own rhythms and not being afraid to take naps when you need them. That's huge.
Brought to you by now.
For real. Or taking advantages of days when you can sleep in.
I'm a little anti-nap lately. I've been a big napper in my life.
But it's
I
because...
think it's a huge coping mechanism to my lifestyle.
Big nap guy.
I think napping allows me to blur the lines of routine too much
sure.
to where I lose routine.
And that is knowing your own rhythm.
Unless you build it into a routine. Because if you're just like getting off your day and you're like, I just get a nap.
Right, but the extreme of that is like the extreme of that is the Uberman cycle or whatever, right? Like where you take 6 20-minute naps.
We're talking.
Thank you. That is the most unappreciated show.
Unappreciated.
I love that show so much. I'm so excited for
Have you
There's
seen
a
the
new
episode I'm talking
No!
about?
Wait.
The one where they show the artist who lives on the Uberman cycle.
Yes, I have.
And
I've seen
it's
all of them.
so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. But at the end of it,
and the actor does it really well.
The art he creates is fucking sublime.
Yeah.
And you can tell it takes a lot of time. You know, it takes maximum amount of time per day to produce.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
As you're saying this, I'm like thinking back through the episode, and now I have a context for the Uberman cycle. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So taken to the extreme, there is a way to functionalize naps. But
then you can't function in society. So then what's the point?
And who's doing
Unless
it?
you live in
How many
Spain.
people are actually Ubermanning? I don't think so.
Probably
think
not
that
a lot.
I don't
Yeah.
think a lot.
No.
I mean, it also does depend on your daily routine and like how
Does
you
it?
want. Yeah.
Really? Naps.
I mean, like, and,
Naps are important.
and just like how you want to function and like the extent to want like everyone, you know, some like the extent to which you want to be social and you want to do independent activity. Like if you're trying to set up more of a lifestyle for yourself that is more independent and focused on independent creativity, then you can play with those things. But if you want to set up a lifestyle where you're more on the schedule of other people, it's more difficult. So
That's
think
interesting because I separate it. I don't think the schedule of other people is necessary. Like there's a way to argue the opposite is true in my life. Like
Closing in on hour 4.
Facts. Thank you. Real quick though, but
Sam,
like
too, to
in
keep
my
us in
life,
line
I
now.
have the opposite happening. I have. If I was gonna focus my time on other people, then in like the weird music world, like everyone's up from the main hours are midnight to 4 a.m.
Yeah, definitely.
And so for me to tailor my lifestyle to other people would be
doing that.
Forego the go to sleep early routine.
And people in Hollywood do it all the time. You know, people have crazy sleep schedules. I don't think we need to talk about it any much longer. You know, we got to all figure it out.
Everyone knows it's tough to sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep's a thing.
Everyone knows getting more sleep will help.
If you're having sleep's
good, not sleeping is
problems,
bad.
please DM us. We will
all right, to get it more explicit,
we will handle it personally.
Quit like
case by case.
Yeah.
Try and stop yourself from going on Instagram before you go to sleep.
Yeah. That's
I actually am pretty good about that now.
If you get into your bed, don't turn on your phone.
Yeah. Reading before bed is brilliant.
Reading before bed.
Yeah.
A real
like a book.
Or put it on that mode.
Not Twitter.
Yeah. Reading a book is perfect. Like, yeah.
No, but I think I would save myself
morning
from
bed,
a lot
not
of
the night bed.
random time.
Yeah. So
If I was going to go on Instagram for research, it's not when I should be going to sleep.
Yeah. For sure.
just get enough sleep, guys.
Anyway, fuck Instagram.
It's
It's all about YouTube. Live.
What if like Casey Neistat tuned into this podcast right now? That'd be crazy.
That'd be fire. All right, we're gonna do a quick outro song. We would love for everyone to jam along.
I thought we already did the outro.
No, that was the auto tune of the
Yeah.
day.
That was great. I loved it. Like, I really do want a copy of that.
Okay.
She's not kidding.
I'm not
Okay.
joking.
You're gonna want a copy of
She
this
doesn't
too.
kid.
Then.
Yeah, exactly.
You heard it at Chief. Cut her a clip and send it to her. Thanks. Hey, thanks. Outro. This is art and history together on podcast. This is art and history together. Like the boys and the babes and the boys and the babes and the boys and the babes and the boys and the babes. We're together on podcast. Office Hours Live. Tune in next time.